This is the weirdest fight I've ever seen. Chinese sword cultivator versus American superhero. Even CCTV journalists were stunned. We can see the Superman starts with a verbal rant. My principle is to avoid fighting unless necessary. Be my pet, then. Is a pet what Lu Ding means? Sorry about that. I'm not interested in the Dragon Yang alias. Superman's face fell upon hearing this. You little brat, daring to make such boasts? Then he transformed into Iron Arm Tetsuo and suddenly attacked. Looking at the sudden attack from the puppy-like assailant, Yan Sen is not at all flustered. One technique, self-forgetful and ethereal, is fully unleashed. The superhuman instantly flipped his eyes back. His nose dripped uncontrollably. It even affected the TV station's helicopter. Truly the most professional reporter. Live streaming while parachute equipped. At this moment, a top 10 ranked senior in the world rankings, Superman also arrived at the scene. Fighting is to avenge Big Force Superman. Only his head is visible. A huge airship is floating. This is the internal team of Old Age Superman. Currently, all functions are good. Can transmit armor. Old Age Superman received the message and immediately began transforming. A brilliant red light also shone from the rabbit belt. Then he raised the divine light rod high. The next moment, he transformed into the legendary armor hero. Seeing the situation, Yan Sen sighed helplessly. Since my lord is so insistent, I accept your challenge. Just as Yan Sen flashed behind, Ultraman gently stroked his head. A dog-eating dirt move thrust his head into the ground. The middle-aged Superman, now fully awake, was furious beyond measure. To protect the honor of the superhero, he immediately boosted the power of his armor to maximum, then activated the super transformation mode. Mechanical arms also changed into Italian cannons, followed by a loud shout. However, it seems to have shocking power. One strike caused 0 damage. It was easily struck down by Ye Sen's sword energy. Then Yan Sen pointed with both hands. Superman, in his 60s from 100 meters away, struck so hard it instantly tore his clothes apart, completely lost the ability to fight. This scene, it could scare the girl who was peeking badly, but Yan Sen ignored her as if nothing happened. Then he turned around and left. Evening, the guy with yellow hair initiated the conversation, wondering what kind of powerful person this was actually from. After some persistent questioning, Yan Sen finally revealed the truth. Turned out Yan Sen was originally the strongest cultivator in Xuanzhou continent, yet inexplicably arrived in a world full of supermen. Can't find the way back? That's just fine. Still need. Every day being live-streamed as an entertainment project, Meng Qi asked him what his plans were for the future. Yan Sen stated, I want to rebuild a sect in this world. One feels there's nothing to be proud of, because he once saw the people of this world with his own eyes. No need to meet to fly in the air. Meng Qi listened as Amala stood, dumbstruck. Thought to himself, isn't this just riding in a plane? Then he handed out a business card. She claims to be the principal of the Chinese Superpowers Academy. She can help arrange a teaching position for him. Yan Sen looks utterly confused. What is the Superpowers Academy? What even is that? But in the next second, he decides to reforge his cultivation glory. He'll report tomorrow, to fit in locally. Even when he went over, he took the subway. This is a girl with 2 pigtails getting into the carriage. Yan Sen. Ding Jin saw and truly thought he had found a good prospect. Such a cute little girl. If you were my student, that would be nice. Suddenly, a perverted old man lecherously circled around the twin horses behind Tail's back. Then he used his hands that hadn't been washed in over 2.5 years, grabbed the thigh, attempting inappropriate actions. Yan Sen was greatly surprised by the sight. He never thought there would be a light slaughterer in this world. But his years of experience in the Zhenghu told him he shouldn't meddle in other people's affairs. Yet, who could resist the Porsche of a twin-tailed Lolita? So he immediately emitted a terrifying aura. He walked straight up to the pervert in front. Then he spat directly onto the other person's face. The damage wasn't high, but it was extremely insulting. Next, he quickly got off the subway, leaving behind 2 people standing there with blank expressions. Who would have thought that as soon as Yan Sen left, Chi Han started crying. Clearly, she's a girl. Why is he treating me like this? Turns out, this was all part of the script designed by the Superpower Academy, just to test Yan Sen's character. In the control room, witnessing all of this, the Blue Flag Riders were furious. Rolled up his sleeves and was about to rush out, give Yan Sen a good beating. After a series of elegant movements, Lan Chi transformed into Pretty Soldier Sailor. This spell is really captivating. The guy next to her had blood running down his nose. Should we make it this spicy right here and now? Brother, this woman is way more formidable than Flower Age Superman. Do it yourself. I'll see myself out. Looking at the fiery yellow-haired Tom girl in front of me, Yan Sen's face is completely bewildered. Is it strong? It looks not much different from the previous one. Lan Chi doesn't waste any time either, rushing forward to let him see. See the power of a close combat mage. Who expected Yan Sen to easily dodge it by turning his body? So he immediately started rubbing the spiral pills. The area within 100 miles instantly turned into vapor. But Yan Sen stood there as if nothing happened. Lan Chi didn't show any surprise at this sight. Instead, she was filled with fighting spirit. Thinking, finally, someone worth fighting against arrived. Comparing to Yan Sen, still had a stunned and wooden expression. Little miss, you should know when to stop. I'm afraid my move might scare you. Angelic Angel heard these words and became furious. Instantly turned into a meteor rushing forward. Well then, in that case, I can only be impolite too. The huge explosion echoed through the sky. This scene really made the people around them take notice. Thought this was supposed to be Iron Sandpalm, huh? Blue Qingqi quickly regained her composure, but still felt resentful about it. Didn't we agree not to hit someone's face? Then she gathered her lightning power to prepare for a counterattack. But Yan Sen suddenly sidestepped and appeared in front of him. A punch was thrown out, directly sending him into space. Then came a technique of the Buddha's supreme palm, sending him back to Earth. Seeing that the figure opposite was as flexible as a spring and could move, Yan Sen could only use 1/1000th of his spiritual energy. Following that, a small hand gently drew. The glasses guy swore profusely out of fear. Coming to his senses, he found Earth almost split in two. Did lady scare you? Who knew Lan Chichi still wasn't satisfied? Let's just keep arguing then. Having passion is good, but I'm too old for fights now. Seems like my tiny foundation establishment stage can no longer make you happy. Then I'll reluctantly form a golden core. The little sister who watches the spectacle is very curious about what a golden core is. Little Four Eyes gave a possible explanation that it might be a golden light bomb, the superpower explanation. Only to hear Yan Sen spit out the two words, single mission. His aura instantly skyrocketed. At the same time, a crack appeared in the locking fairy tower within his body. By this time, thick clouds covered the entire sky. Rocking electric lightning surrounded as Yan Sen rose into the air. Speaking lightly, Miss, what will happen next? You'd better get ready for it mentally. Sister Lan couldn't help asking out loud. What's this electric current about? This is called Leiji, not an electric current. Don't worry, there'll be something bigger later. At the same time, the Huaxia Superhero Academy was already in an uproar. Wu Mengqi walked out of the classroom and took a look. She was shocked beyond words, only to see a thick lightning bolt descending from 10,000 meters in the sky, with a rainbow coming from her classmate, who said it was Sister Lan. After today's assessment, Wu Mengqi grabbed her transformation device with one hand and leaped into the air. The mecha rushes towards that direction. He is very worried about Sister Lan being harmed by Yan. Sen accidentally got eliminated, and over here it's already a grand spectacle of 10,000 thunder soldiers. Right now, Yan Sen's voice sounded lightly. So-called Le Jie. Just live in peace afterwards. Anomaly in the body caused by a heavenly and earthy disturbance, also called Danlei. This thunder is 6,000 zhang wide. Each bolt can return to the land 3,700 mu. One breath processes 99,999 bolts. Inside Stone Xi, one-way trip. The watermelon trio suddenly kneeled and couldn't move. Little Four Eyes was even terrified to the extreme. He had never seen such an energy pressure. It seemed like he would be struck by this energy just by looking up. Lan's sister similarly refused to get up, even under slight pressure while kneeling. Even lifting her head to look at Yan Sen was impossible. For the sake of that last shred of dignity, he activated his ultimate 10,000% magic, finally able to lift her head and look towards the void where Yan Sen was. But this one look instantly made her feel like an ant held in the palm of his hand. Until now, Sister Lan finally realized the terrifying man in front of her. Her fighting spirit has completely collapsed. When Wu Mengqi rushed over, Sister Lan had already been carried onto a stretcher. The doctor said it was due to excessive shock leading to brain ischemia, estimated to be hospitalized for half a year or more. But Wu Mengqi found it difficult to accept this result. The doctor explained again. He has used magic multiple times today beyond its limit. Surviving is already a miracle. Wu Mengqi turned her head to look at Yan Sen, who was suspended in midair. Walk over and interrogate what he did to Sister Lan. Yan Sen's brow furrows into a line. How do you make me seem like a bad person? He kept boasting that he wanted to see my strength. I only emitted a trace of golden core aura. Never thought it would scare them so much. Wu Mengqi, although didn't understand, could tell from his expression and tone that he was really showing off. Fortunately, nothing major happened. Then asked if the exam passed. Yan Sen asked Xiao Xiyan whether he could get a license. Little Four Eyes, who was already soulless, immediately said, "Passed. Let him go quickly." Wu Mengqi just brought Yan Sen to the classroom dormitory. Was taught by the Melon Seed sister leader. Want to go back to school with them? Wu Mengqi immediately recognized Chen Kusan and had an impression of her. As soon as he saw Yan Sen. This girl is hiding behind Wu Meng out of fear. Qi's back the whole way along. Wu Mengqi was very curious about how he could keep flying all the time. Yan Sen's one sentence made him bump into something again. Why fly when you can walk? When Yan Sen asked about the Earth-level divisions, Wu Mengqi immediately gave a lesson. This world's abilities are generally divided into 10 levels. Above level 10 is semi-divine level, God tier, sub-God tier, Great God tier. Great God tier is the strongest hero in this world. Now, you have already defeated 3 of them. After hearing that Yan Sen felt these superheroes were too weak, he could single-handedly fight all with his foundation establishment cultivation. A thread of golden core aura could kill a group. Wu Mengqi knew he was telling the truth. But their textbook said above the gods there were heroes known as super ancient heroes. And these heroes were different from them, relying on equipment and transformed heroes. Legend had it they could control time. Some even wielded the power of stars and the sun. Even some can create spaces in higher dimensions. Yan Sen knows this corresponds to the law force. He suddenly really wanted to catch one to study it. Wu Mengqi, Han Yan told him that were all just legends. According to historical records, they were among the earliest beings to awaken on Earth. People with abilities should be considered the elder ancestor of ability users in modern times. Yan Sen Dun Sifu realized suddenly. No wonder you don't even know what cultivation is. Wu Mengqi didn't continue this topic. The last time I heard, you were planning to rebuild your sect. With you being so strong now, do you still care about these things? Talking about rebuilding the sect, Yan Sen can't help but make a comment. Back then, when my master was about to receive the support, He entrusted the sect to me, hoping I could lead the sect towards true eternal life. But in the end, due to a momentary lapse, the sect was destroyed. So I must rebuild the sect, fulfill Senior World Sovereign's Red Courtyard. However, there is another method to rebuild the sect. Like when I break the lock Immortal Pavilion, then find a place to create a world, rebirth a batch of humans, let them be born with golden core. Reviving the entire sect only takes 2 seconds. Hearing about creating humans, the two girls were instantly stunned and wide-eyed. Yen Sen also said, "This is 2 cheap shots. Rebuild the sect with artificial life forms. Feels like it's too disrespectful to master." Wu Mengqi thinks this is nothing but a fairy tale. But Yen Sen said he was completely serious, because the Venerable can create countless worlds. Original English refinement and modification of point. Golden pill instructions. Nothing. Big deal about it. Wu Mengqi seems to have accepted his words. "You're just cheating. Come to our world then. If you're so powerful, why are you still sealed by others?" Talking about this color makes him feel embarrassed. Then he narrates his past. When he first emerged from seclusion and declared himself emperor, there's also hatred. For a moment, it's hard not to overstep bounds. There are fewer than 30 venerables in the entire Xuanzhou continent. He killed 5 with 1 slap. Seriously injured 10. The remaining old man venerable took out the locking spirit dragon, claimed that as long as he entered, he would definitely not come out. Yen Sen was extremely disdainful of the old fool. "Just with your junk, still want to trap the local old man venerable? You only came in because I made that rooster crow." Yen Sen suddenly had a moment of madness. Without thinking, he went inside. Right before this great devil head, the old man from Shangdong immediately locked the Lock Fairy Pavilion. With a flick of his finger, he opened a tear in the void, throw Lock Immortal Pavilion in, then combined all the power of the venerables, close all the gates to the realm of righteousness. That's how he ended up mysteriously on Earth. Those old fools hid the heavenly realm in countless small worlds, making it impossible for him to find. At this point, Yen Sen gritted his teeth with hatred. He vows that after restoring his strength, he will definitely return to deal with these old fools severely. Without realizing it, several people had already arrived at the school gate. A crowd had gathered at the school gate. It was a group of reporters interviewing some superhero. Soon, someone noticed Yen Sen walking over. "Look, quickly, who is that? Oh my god, this isn't that guy who defeated the god tier. Does the hero fight a northern boy?" Wu Mengqi knows trouble is coming again. Yen Sen has a calm expression. The reporters quickly surrounded him. Various questions followed one after another. One of the journalists asked the young man, "You now have over 1 billion global fans. Do you have anything to say to them?" Yen Sen looked utterly perplexed. What are fans? Before he could answer, various intrusive questions came flooding in again. But Yen Sen answered all of them one by one. The two girls were stunned. This was the first time they had seen such a patient, powerful person. Temper is surprisingly good. Just then, a group of brightly colored superheroes walked over. Pay attention. This group of brightly colored superheroes are the Rainbow Squad, and they are in the top 5 of the God tier ranking. A journalist frantically extended the microphone towards something, only to hear the Rainbow leader started speaking. "I am Xiao Hong. I am Xiao He. I am Xiao Lan. I am Xiao Fen. I am Xiao Huang. We are the awesome and amazing Rainbow Squad, the vibrant and stylish squad with depth." This fresh art style makes Yen Sen unable to bear looking at it. Wu Mengqi was struck by lightning and suffered internal bleeding. Chen Kusan couldn't help but violently vomit last night's food. The journalist also got goosebumps all over. Reflecting on the Rainbow Squad, they are still as unconventional as ever, Xiao Hong said. Although times have changed, but their rules cannot change. During the interview, Xiao Hong revealed, they are the main examiners for this academy's graduation ceremony. Wu Mengqi feels a wave of speechlessness. These people are just out for a stroll with nothing to do. Although he has seen the Rainbow Squad perform countless times, he still feels quite ashamed about it. Yen Sen even thought they were a bunch of snake cultists. It was only then that Wu Mengqi revealed the truth behind it. Many years ago, not just the Rainbow Squad, but also Sister Lanhua, Superhero Jia, and others, they were all once the main characters of this world. It was their own beliefs and indomitable spirit that protected this world. Every time Earth faced a crisis, it was always them at the forefront. They defeated the Monster King. Ultimately, world peace was achieved. So that's why they have such high popularity. The reporters were naturally thrilled to see them. Now that the world is peaceful, but there are still some drawbacks. Many heroes have nothing to do after the peace. Some became couch potatoes at home. Some use their superpowers to work in the city, but then again, being a hero in the combat lineage is kind of awkward. To kill time, they kept the remaining monster pets. Like some high-ranking heroes, for example, Flowering 60 Superhero and Rainbow Squad, often practice sparring in private. Because all the heroes are proud and haughty, this kind of scene is very common. Over time, they turned their world into one that worships strength. World of Existence Chen Kusan thought about it and realized they were the ones serving as examiners. Feel like graduating in this life is out of the question. Wen Yen Shen found it somewhat interesting. Wu Mengqi explains, only by passing the graduation exam can one become a hero. According to the Super League regulations, students must have superpowers above level 10 in order to undergo the graduation exam for professional heroes. The exam content is, professional heroes release their own monsters. If you defeat that monster, it counts as successful graduation. And Wu Mengqi's superpowers have long surpassed the world. The released energy is at least semi-divine level. But to this day, he still can't graduate smoothly. It's because these heroes are competing for admission rates. Yen Sen only feels that the people in their world are too strange. Wu Mengqi, on the other hand, is headache-inducing. However, Yan Sen said he would teach him a move another day. Absolutely will pass the assessment. Wu Mengqi's great joy seemed somewhat unbelievable. Yan Sen said faintly, "Emperor," without joking. At this moment, Xiao Fen noticed Yan Sen and a few others in the distance. They had all heard of Yan Sen's instant kill. Many reports about superheroes. Xiao Hong asked Xiao Huang to check his combat power. Xiao Huang immediately activated the super ability combat system, scanning Yan Sen's system. Height 192 centimeters, weight 82.8 kilograms. Not young anymore. His superpower is unstructured and has no combat effectiveness. After reviewing the data analysis, Xiao Huang couldn't help gaping in surprise. He actually has no superpowers at all. Xiao. He saw that Yan Sen was still floating in midair. Thinking his superpower might be malfunctioning, Xiao Huang insisted he would never make a mistake. Xia He guessed Yan Sen was a flying device powered by batteries. Xiao Lan wanted to meet this robed youth at the conference, but was stopped by Xiao Hong. However, just as the three of Yan Sen were about to enter the gate, Xiao Hong took the lead herself. The atmosphere suddenly became tense. Journalists began discussing who would be the first to enter the school gate. After all, such a showdown between prodigies doesn't happen often. Just as Wu Mengqi was also afraid that the two would start fighting, Yan Sen made a gesture of invitation. Xiao Hong stood there in shock for a moment, then immediately signaled the members behind her to come in. Everyone collectively froze. What in the world is this operation? Surprisingly yielded. This is in our world, it's basically impossible. Even if others yielded to you, the personality of the Rainbow Squad shouldn't mock it once either. Is this still the Rainbow Squad we know? Wu Mengqi just walked over. Yan Sen said that the red-haired goatee leader is very strong, and it's because he came into this world, meeting the strongest person here. As for little Hong walking silently in front all along, Xiao Fen can't help but prepare to look back at Yan Sen, but she ends up getting scolded by little Hong not to turn around. Little Hong is now drenched in cold sweat right now, her inner fear reaching its peak. The few people behind are all puzzled on their faces. Xiao Hong finally explained that he is very strong. I am not his match. My combat instinct tells me this person is quite dangerous. His strength cannot be described with numbers or superpowers. Although I'm a bit unwilling to accept it, but indeed, I am not his match. Xiao Fen, however, doesn't believe what the boss said. He firmly believed that his superpower system would never make a mistake. So he recalculated Yan Sen again. But seeing the full face of killing intent from Yan Sen, Xiao Hong shuddered in fear and dared not continue calculating. Yan Sen sighed helplessly. Through life, the strength in this world is too heavy. It seems you didn't learn cultivation first. You must start with the basic etiquette first, like that. Yan Sen is finally starting his teaching journey. You dare to believe? The Emperor Immortal of all worlds turned out to be on Toutiao. So today, he finally got the Superman license, and took over Sister Magic Girl Lan's position, became the 7th god-level superhero. But was hyped by a group of journalists as a cowardly hero strength faked. However, Yan Sen didn't care at all about it, opened his Superman license. It named him Black Robe Superman, because back then, Yan Sen's test didn't mention the desired hero name, just gave him a random name. And he's the only one who hasn't defeated the monster, saved the world, and became one of the top 10 heroes in the god level. Wu Mengqi has already told the classmates in his class, the news is all false. And also helped deal with some nosy journalists, so that his wish to rebuild the sect can be realized as soon as possible. Yan Sen said there was no need for such formality. After all, as a cultivator, cannot be too impatient. He has made plans to rebuild after thousands of years. Wu Mengqi naturally didn't understand the Tao Star of cultivators, looked utterly confused and lost. Now that the super ability ordinary class has already started discussing it, all right. They say their class is getting a really awesome teacher. They've never heard of it before. Superpowers can be learned. This guy with a scary face is named Ran Zhaohao. His superpower belongs to the fire system, combat type. He's 17 or 18 years old. He has been unable to graduate since enrolling. Very much looking forward to this upcoming teacher. Give him a surprise. A male behind him lets out a mocking laugh. Do you think having an awesome teacher will make your graduation easy? This time, it's the assessment of a god-tier mentor. The one speaking is named Blue Ice, Superpower Ice System, Long-Range Combat Branch, age 176 years, unable to graduate since enrollment. And this girl just needs handsome teachers to come. His name is Sun Xiaolu, Super Ability Wind System, Long-Distance Combat Branch, age 179 years old, unable to graduate since enrollment. Just then, Yan Sen has already stepped onto the podium. The classmates below emit a series of exclamations of surprise. The new teacher is so tall. This is our school's first big god-level top 10 mentor, right? Yan Sen clears his throat twice. Starting self-introduction. My name is Yan Sen. From today on, I am your sect master. I came here, which means everyone already has a certain connection. I hope everyone can put aside your restless minds and strive to become true ancestors. First lesson for the Tian Shen sect's initial disciples. We must start with basic manners and etiquette lessons, and thoroughly memorize our sect's rules. A week later, they copied the rules more than 200 times each. Their classroom used to be like this. Since Yan Sen came, the classroom is now covered with various etiquette rules. School uniforms have turned into ancient attire. To cultivate their minds, Ran Zihao endured all of that. But the first lesson Yan Sen taught disrupted his imagination. It is well known that the world is round, but Yan Sen told them it was flat. He also said the world has 2 layers. Humans live on the mainland, immortals live in the heavenly realm. Human cultivation is divided into 4 stages. The first is about cultivating qi. The second is cultivating qi to transform into spirit. 3. Cultivate the spirit and return to emptiness. 4 is Lian Shu and Dao. Then comes the cultivation to become an immortal. Immortals also have 4 ranks. Cultivating foundation leads to heavenly immortal. Golden pill for golden immortal. Vowels are for ethereal beings. Transforming the divine into profound immortality. Above the profound immortal is not called a cultivator anymore. Call venerable. Wu Mengqi curiously asks what a fairy being is. Yun Sen says that a fairy being can both ascend to the heavens and descend to the earth, and even destroy heaven and earth. As long as one becomes immortal, they can live as long as heaven, and agelessness follows.
Then he asked further.
Do everyone know why cultivating immortality is for?
Wu Mengqi immediately blurts out. It's for graduation.
Become the strongest superhero in history. Yen Sen tapped him on the head by mistake.
Cultivating isn't to make you compete and fight, but to pursue the great way, pursuing eternal life and immortality.
Wen Yen.
Wu Mengqi was very confused with the teacher.
If you said that becoming immortal means eternal life after ascending to heaven, then why do we still need to continue cultivating? What if the sky were to disappear?
Wu Mengqi was instantly at a loss for words. Ran Zihao didn't understand a word, but he endured it for graduation. Yan Sen continued explaining that even though the venerable can create the sky and produce vital energy, they would still die in the end.
Just like how I killed 5 with one slap back then.
This is making Ran Zhao's patience nearly reach its limit. Yan Sen still speaks of becoming the emperor among immortals. That is truly undying and imperishable. The moment he finished speaking, finally, Ran Zhao could no longer hold back. He unleashed a torrent of scolding at Yan Sen, saying he's just full of hot air, not teaching them how to use their superpowers. After saying this, she angrily threw the hairpin hard onto the ground.
What bullshit cultivation. I'm not learning this anymore.
And she stormed out, slamming the door behind her. But Yan Sen wasn't angry at all. With a calm expression, he continued teaching as if nothing happened. This was unexpected by everyone. After school, Wu Mengqi brought Yan Sen to the college backyard. This is where special abilities are released, specifically, and Ran Zihao just really wants to graduate. So he asked Yan Sen not to blame him. Yan Sen shook his head and said he hadn't paid any attention at all.
After all, cultivation depends on one's own efforts. It can't be forced by others.
He came here today. Wu Mengqi just wanted Master Yan Sen to help him pass the exam. That strictness made him first experience the essence energy. At the same time, Ran Zhao vented his pent-up anger, muttering curses as he walked towards the backyard. Suddenly realized there were 2 people not far away. It's the new teacher and class president. Wu Mengqi's sneaky look is clearly not right. So he hid behind the rock to spy on her. At this moment, Yan Shen drew circles with both hands to gather yin-yang power. Told Wu Mengqi to use her qi to feel the yin-yang changes in the spirit energy, then combine them together and it would become true life. The next second, 2 giant golden dragons appeared before his eyes out of nowhere. This scene directly refreshed Wu Mengqi's Renji. Ran Zihao watched and seriously questioned life. And he was so scared that he trembled. He didn't know what this was, some godly superpower. Only to see Yan Sen compress the 2 golden dragons.
Fusing them into a small light ball, teacher Wu Mengqi had numerous questions. What are you doing? Yan Sen said to set off fireworks. Wallpaper popped up. 2 golden dragons enveloped in terrifying energy soared straight into the sky. In an instant they arrived in the void, following the camera at a mile away in the uninhabited zone. Only hear Yan Sen whispering one explosive word. A loud boom echoed. The golden dragon exploded instantly. The powerful force threw Wu Mengqi away. Ran Zihao held with his 2 fingers. The rocks barely stayed in place from being blown away. It wasn't until Wu Mengzi cried for help, Yan Sen's hand stopped the lingering pressure with a grip. A huge mushroom cloud rose into the sky instantly. Ordinary students with superpowers saw this, even thought it was a nuclear explosion, couldn't help but want to go home. And this exaggerated scene is just a tiny bit of spiritual power released by Yan Sen. Wu Mengqi stood there, wanting nothing more than some peace and quiet. Ran Zihao was directly shocked into silence. Yan Sen continued his explanation. The key point of this move, just no need for your own abandoned Si Dantian to drive the cultivation method. Instead, it directly harnesses external qi to form life, to unleash immense energy. As long as the qi can sense the vital energy and master the changes of yin and yang to release them. But Wu Mengqi still didn't understand. Yan Sen gave him another cultivation method, asking him to return and contemplate it more deeply. This cultivation method is none other than the qi transforming dragon technique. It is a top-secret technique for immortals, known as invincible under heaven, except for immortals. Moreover, what makes this cultivation method defy nature is that it does not consume physical or spiritual energy. This cultivation method was created when Yan Sen was 6 years old and lost blood. Back then, he was just brought back to the sect by his master. Coincidentally, the inter-sect disciples assessment was taking place at that time. Since he hadn't reached the qi training stage yet, he couldn't participate. So he was forced to copy this heavenly defying cultivation method. To think that today it would come in handy. After witnessing the entire process, Ran Zihao, his soul was thoroughly shocked. Therefore, the next day, he carried the flag and went to beg for forgiveness. It reads 10 large characters. Teacher, I was wrong. Let me call myself a cultivator. Seeing someone pointing fingers at him, this guy's short temper flared up again. At this moment, Yan Sen brought Wu Mengqi over to his side, said softly, "Get up. Hurry up to class. Sect disciples don't need to kneel." The man cried with joy and clapped excessively. "Teacher, you are truly a big good person." Now Ran Zhaohao became the top enigma for Yan Sen. That breathtaking scene from last night still keeps spinning in his head. And this absolutely cannot be known by Blue Ice, because Ran Zhaohao has to graduate before him. And someone told his pleading to the teacher. Told Blue Ice. Blue Ice pushed his glasses up. Seems like they guessed something, just as everyone thought it was just another day. To copy the rules today. Yan Sen said that after copying so many times, they should know them by heart, so there's no need to copy anymore. The crowd immediately erupted in cheers and excitement. But the next second, he calmly asked everyone to rewrite them silently. The entire classroom instantly fell into a dead silence. You could hear a pin drop. What was even more unbelievable was Yan Sen made them write the 36,000 precepts backward. Like that, Yan Zhongzhu had his disciples repeatedly write the precepts until the graduation exam day. The host was speaking passionately there. This academy has not had a student graduate smoothly for 21 consecutive years. Wonder if this year can break the record again. Hearing that, the principal could only weep. After Yan Sen led the students onto the stage, everyone began to question Yan Sen and the students. Just then, the rainbow team appeared. The crowd instantly erupted. Little Red among them said this. This time is different from before. It's a team battle now, 4 against 4 in battle. As long as you last more than 3 minutes against a monster, you pass. The students heard the excitement on Ho Yi's face. It seems graduation is within reach now. Wu Mengqi, due to not mastering any cultivation techniques yet, has become nervous. Cultivation starts with mental discipline. If this doesn't work, it will be equivalent to. Then he stroked his head and said, perhaps if you let go of your Zhunyan, something unexpected might happen. This made Wu Mengqi's small face instantly turn red. At this moment, the host excitedly shouted, the assessment has begun! His words had barely fallen when Black Little summoned his monster. A beam of light then fell down. The ground was cracked into pieces, only to see a rather ugly creature appear before everyone's eyes. Yan Sen stood there stunned after seeing it. What the heck is this thing? Wu Mengqi was shocked beyond words. This is actually supposed to be a physics combat scene. Nightmare mutated green turtle. This green frog can chew oxygen into its body, turn it into carbon dioxide and touch it and it will explode. Moreover, his body has extremely strong recovery ability. At this moment, the green turtle activates the skill Universal Area Annihilation Explosion. With a loud boom, a towering flame burst from the ground. The blast wave from the explosion directly blew everyone off their feet. Wu Mengqi was no exception. At this moment, Yan Shen waved his hand to create an explosion. The resulting shockwave was blocked by him. In the next second, a giant tornado swept through the stadium, blow out all the flames from the explosion. At this moment, everyone still looked confused, not knowing what happened. Only Little Red was extremely panicked inside, because he saw everything clearly from start to finish. The terrifying power of the explosion was suppressed by Yan Sen with a wave of his hand. After the explosion, the green-haired turtle remained unscathed. At that moment, his body suddenly became sturdy. He inhaled a large amount of gas into his body. In an instant, he turned into a muscular tough guy with 8-pack abs. Seeing the small mountain in front of him, it surprised him a bit. It turns out this is the superpower of Lu Xiaolu and Lu Xiaoer brothers. Petrification defense. While the Shirwen Sui and Qin Wei brothers' superpower is healing, they thought they could hold on for 3 minutes like this. Don't judge this thing by its ugly appearance, but his strength is incredibly powerful. Not only can he show the art of explosions to everyone, he can even let everyone bet on it. After the mushroom cloud explosion, not only was he unharmed, he directly turned into the Hulk. At this moment, he decided to give everyone a live demonstration. Just see his mouth suddenly appear with a hand. Immediately, a smaller version of the Hulk was spat out by him. But this wasn't over yet. The smaller Hulk then spat out a mini version. Thus, the Hulk began his Russian nesting doll display. The clothed arena was densely filled with interpretations. As soon as he gave the command, countless small Hulks directly rushed towards the rocks, exploding the moment it hits the rock. Lu Xiaolu's 2 brothers are struggling to hold on in front, while Wu Shenkui's 2 brothers are frantically buffing behind them. But they ultimately couldn't hold on and were eliminated. During the lunch break time, Ran Zhaohao is frantically practicing to master the Qi Hai Hua Long rank, but he can't seem to pull it off. At this moment, Wu Mengqi thoughtfully prepared lunch for Yan Sen. Looking at Wu Mengqi's pair of Casper-like big eyes, Yan Sen knew he had come prepared, so he asked him to just say what was on his mind. He immediately said, "This was too difficult. Is there anything else that doesn't require spiritual energy? Powerful cultivation methods?" Yan Sen stated that it does not require spiritual energy consumption, just this one. After hearing that, Wu Mengqi collapsed. "Teacher, you've lived for thousands of years, haven't you? Can't you write another set then?" Yan Sen said he could write it if he wanted to, but I promised my benefactor master not to write any more cultivation methods. It turns out over 2,000 years ago, his senior master boasted about his disciple to another big shot. This made that big shot so angry he overturned the table. As a result, that cultivation technique also fell to the mortal world. Those mortals who learned it fought in heaven several times against seniors. The order of the cultivation realm was completely thrown into chaos. This kind of chaos lasted for several hundred years. Since then, Ensheng no longer let me write cultivation techniques, so you shouldn't even think about such things. It's time for the afternoon exam to begin. To prevent an explosion from leaking out, the exam hall was sealed off. Then, the strongest quartet of the academy took the stage. At this moment, Wu Mengqi said, "Give me 1 minute." Hearing these words, everyone instantly understood. Only Lan Bing had a look of intense seriousness on his face. As the competition began, green-haired turtle directly ordered his subordinates to launch an attack. Ran Zihao and Sun Xiaolu worked together. I finally integrated to form a fire tornado. The small green turtle that rushed over was directly blown away. While the green turtle merely smiled slightly, let's see how long you can hold out, and then spat out countless subordinates. Seeing this scene, Ran Zihao's eyes nearly popped out of his sockets. Even the commentator couldn't help but say, "This move is so sexy." This is a green moss turtle that has achieved self-reliance. With just its own strength, in no time, it produced countless offspring. Everyone was left dumbfounded when they saw this scene. At this moment, those small green moss turtles took in like bullets. As explosion after explosion sounded, Ran Zihao is finding it harder to support himself. Just then, the green-haired turtle became even more robust. The little chicks will have another try next year, and everyone started to panic upon seeing this scene. This looks like a sign for an all-out explosion. At this moment, Wu Mengqi was trying her best to calm herself down. At this point, he remembered Yan Sen's words. "Let go of your zhuzhua, unexpected things will happen." Just as he opened his eyes, he saw the spirit energy transform into mighty dragons. Yan Sen, who was watching on the side, also noticed. Thinking that Wu Mengqi has extraordinary talent. Seeing the indiscriminate explosion of the green-scaled turtle about to activate, everyone immediately used their full defensive measures to protect the class president in his power buildup. With a boom, an explosion erupted. Fiery light rose into the sky. Even the protective barrier prepared beforehand was blown into shape distortion by this explosion. It seemed like the protective barrier would be breached at any moment. Everyone was panicking. Only Yan Sen remained calm. Explosions filled the conference hall with smoke. After the smoke cleared, no one had fallen down. Just then, Wu Mengqi moved. It was seen that he opened his arms and began to spin. Black and white, two strands of spiritual energy gathered in front of him. Following that, he compressed the two strands of spiritual energy into his palm. A series of majestic golden dragons circled around him. The green turtle, having lived so long, has never seen such a scene. Even the nearby onlookers were stunned by this sudden development. The atmosphere on stage instantly became tense. With Wu Mengqi's command, two giant dragons circled each other. A terrifying energy surged towards the green turtle. Facing this move, the green turtle showed no concern. Just then, Xiao Hong screamed to get out of the way. The green-haired turtle was still confused at this moment. When he turned his head again, he was directly left stunned by the fear in his eyes, only to see the golden dragon open its blood-filled mouth, as if it wanted to swallow the green-haired turtle whole. It seemed as though it wanted to swallow him whole, one pulse. The immense energy directly damaged the protective barrier. The energy directly pierced through the field. But that's not all. Terrifying energy streaked like a meteor passing across the sky. With a thunderous boom, the light from the explosion swallowed everyone whole. Then, a mushroom cloud rose from the distance. Crowds watching the scene directly dropped their jaws in shock. This is a girl who can manipulate nuclear bombs with her hands. Only see him concentrate his qi and calm his mind. The surrounding spiritual energy continuously gathered before him. It, Ningju, chungla two golden dragons in no time. Seeing the two golden dragons, the green turtle felt a bit nervous inside. As the girl struck with one palm, two giant dragons spiraled around each other. A terrifying energy surged towards the green-tailed turtle, only to see the golden dragon open its blood-filled mouth. Attacking the green-tailed turtle, the entire body was instantly engulfed by golden light. The terrifying energy passed like a meteor streaking across the sky. With a loud boom, the light from the explosion swallowed everyone whole. Then, a mushroom cloud rose from the distance. This move's power left everyone stunned on the spot. At this moment, a familiar voice came from the smoke. Everyone was startled upon hearing it. After the smoke cleared, the green-haired turtle only had half its body left. He was furious at this moment. Just then, Ran Zihao said, "Class president, don't bother arguing with him. Anyway, it can be infinitely released. Give him another one." Hearing these words, the host was shocked to no end. Such a powerful technique can actually be infinitely released. The green-haired turtle was even trembling in fear. Just because he misaligned himself, he managed to save his life. If it happens again, I might not have anything left. But right at this moment, Wu Mengqi's body felt somewhat fatigued. Everyone thought this was a side effect of using the nuclear bomb technique. Yan Sen explained that this move had no side effects. It just requires maintaining this state continuously. His mind wavered just now, leading to damage to his qi. At this moment, Road Xiaolu asked the teacher, "How did you know?" This made Yan Sen fall silent. Only then did he remember that he had always had them copy the code of conduct without telling them anything. It was only because Wu Mengqi looked so tired that he felt relieved. "What's this infinite release of fire? Just see if I explode you or not." Just as the green-scaled turtle was inhaling to detonate the bomb, Sun Xiaolu said at this time, "You damn penis. I suggest you take back those words." Then she started doing what Wu Mengqi had just done, the same action. Seeing this scene, Ren Zihao and Lan Bing dropped their jaws in surprise. The green turtle is starting to panic about this. You three cannot do it. Because of an obsession too deep, the other two have impure hearts. Teacher Yan said cultivators must not be rash. Hearing this, the two tried to calm their minds. Sure enough, both immediately saw the spirit rise. But Yan Sen is not calm about this. This cultivation technique is not something everyone can learn. Could learn in such a short time are all top geniuses. Didn't expect to encounter 4 at once. This is really like finding treasure. On the other side, the green-furred turtle was also frantically breathing up for an explosion. As the battle between both sides intensified to a fever pitch, just then, a white radish from the sky was picked up. Turns out this was thrown by Yan Sen, representing General Waver. This is a group of students who can handcraft nuclear bombs. Just the power of one blast could cause a huge impact on Earth. The explosion's light directly illuminated half of the Earth. As both sides entered a critical phase, the students were building up their energy to handcraft nuclear bombs. The green turtle is also continuously inhaling to prepare for the fire blast. But at this moment, Yansen announced a general withdrawal. The onlookers were very surprised by this. Ran Zhaohao and Lan Bing were also puzzled. Sun Xiaolu said at this time, "Use your clever little brains. Think carefully. Although this move is powerful, but the build-up time was too long. The green-haired turtle is definitely faster than us." But just then, the green-haired turtle's big explosion hasn't stopped. The host hurriedly announced that the assessment ended. "Quickly stop," and just as he finished speaking, an explosion sounded. A towering flame rose from the field. The protective shields were deformed by the intense explosion. After the explosion, the green-haired turtle revealed a strange smile. "This feels much better now." But after the smoke cleared, he was startled. After the explosion, the students were floating in midair but unharmed. Meanwhile, Yansen appeared in the middle of the scene for some reason. At this moment, his expression was grim. His body emitted endless killing intent. With every step he took, the ground trembled. As Yansen continued to approach, the killing intent emanating from his body is growing stronger. At this moment, the green-scaled turtle has already. The overwhelming killing intent makes it hard to breathe. As Yansen breathed, the earth shook in response. A crack then directly ran through the entire arena. Yansen's eyes filled with anger as he demanded questioningly, "Why don't you follow the rules properly?" Facing the surging killing intent, the green-haired turtle immediately begs for mercy out of fear. Xiao He sees that things are not good and quickly retracts the green-haired turtle. Just then, Yansen waves his hand. Instantly, a terrifying micro-pressure presses down on the green-haired turtle as it wakes up. The green-haired turtle is instantly pressed to the ground. Accompanied by his terrible scream, a loud noise also echoes from the ground. The powerful gust of wind made everyone struggle to keep their eyes open. After everything has calmed down, the green-scaled turtle was also taken back. He dropped his rating from 5 stars to half a star. Seeing Little Black let out a scream, then turned to Yansen, angrily said, "You are seriously provoking me." And Yansen said with a stern face, "Let's temporarily appoint. Always reciprocate courtesy. Hurting my disciple is a capital offense. Leaving him alive is already a manifestation of the immortal's mercy." Then, looking at Xiao He, said, "If you don't agree, you can come down and fight me." Xiao He's short temper won't allow it. Rushing forward to start fighting immediately. Seeing this, teammates hurriedly tried to stop him. He stayed there. They also realized that Yansen's strength was not simple. But just then, the host said to the viewers, "Audience friends, did everyone hear that?" Yansen actually challenged the Rainbow Team, and the Rainbow Team accepted the challenge. Hearing this, the onlookers immediately got excited. The beggar Rainbow Team was all silent. Look at how well this host can stir things up. Originally, the two of them were just engaging in empty talk from afar. But under his embellishment, it turned into a showdown between both sides. Hearing this, the onlookers boiled with excitement, while the Rainbow Team remained silent as a whole. In an instant, they didn't know what to do, because they all knew fighting Yansen is basically a waste of time. While the world's attention has all gathered here, reports are pouring in about Yansen's battle against the Rainbow Team. Facing this situation, the Rainbow Team doesn't know what to do. At this moment, it's hard for them to back down, so they can only toughen up and go for it. As the Rainbow Team takes the stage, signaling the start of the game, although Yansen's strength is very strong, but the spectators still prefer to root for the Rainbow Team. At this moment, Yansen made a move. He merged his 2 fingers and casually flicked them back, and that target was right on Xiao Huang. Just as this happened, Xiao Lan immediately came in front of Xiao Huang. He thought he was a tank himself. His flesh could withstand nuclear bombs. But the next second, his clothes were blasted to shreds by powerful energy. And this powerful energy remained unaltered in strength. He and Little Yellow were both sent flying together. Then, both of them foamed at the mouth and lost their combat ability. At this moment, Xiao He moved. His body turned into a blur and vanished. Next, Yansen's body also moved. In the next second, Xiao He was tightly grabbed by Yansen. At this moment, his body couldn't help but tremble. As soon as I moved, he raised his hand. Could it be that in the instant of my action, he predicted my position already? Just thinking about it made him feel a chill down his spine. This guy is still human? As Yansen forcefully threw Xiao He, was thrown out like a sandbag. Finally, he directly crashed into the stands and lost his fighting ability. Immediately after, Little Fun also launched an attack. He waved his hand broadly, countless missiles appeared around him. Then he merged his palms together. All missiles merged into one giant super mother-daughter missile. Then the missile quickly flew towards Yansen. Seeing the missile about to hit him, Yansen just exhaled lightly, directly blew the missile back. The missile flew straight towards Xiao Fun, followed by a loud explosion. A violent explosion occurred in the sky. Little Pink also fell straight down from the air. Ran Zhaohao and they arrived at the audience section at this time, asking if the competition had started. Lu Xiaolu and her 2 brothers helplessly stated, "The competition has already ended." Hearing these words, they were so shocked that they couldn't say anything for a moment. In less than 3 seconds, the Rainbow Squad, except for the captain, were all instantly killed. At this moment, Yansen looked at Xiao Hong. At this moment, Xiao Hong knew. No matter in combat experience or strength, she was no match for him. How powerful is this man? Just his aura alone can make people feel suffocated. Even the world's second-ranked god-tier hero, he took down 4 in just 3 seconds. Xiao Hong only realized then they were completely different levels of opponents. Have you heard of ancient heroes in cultivation? Hearing this, everyone was startled. Then we saw Xiao Hong activate her cell activation skill. Red light after red light flew into her teammates' bodies. Previous teammates who were crushed instantly have all recovered. Just let you see the world's highest combat power. Yan Sen, on the other hand, expressionlessly said, won't transform like the previous fools. They are holding devices in their hands. Transforming actions are synchronized. That kind of thing was already boring 20 years ago. Now we're doing a combination. They then took out cards from their hands. Next, they inserted the cards into the device. Instantly, a huge magical array appeared in the sky. Several people also entered the magical array. In the next moment, a giant mecha appeared in the sky. And this is the ancient mecha number 000. Everyone was stunned and stood there in shock. After the mecha landed on the ground, just his legs are hundreds of meters tall. Looking at this giant mecha Yenshen, he shows no panic, even a bit excited. He then takes off his coat and says, "Disciples, look carefully. Let you see what cultivation divine pain means." Then strikes a pose and recites the magical incantation. Several flags appear in the sky instantly. With a loud boom, a giant clad in armor suddenly appeared. And this is the Sword Immortal Nether King summoned by Yansenjia Town. The onlookers at the scene stared with their eyes wide open. The students couldn't help but exclaim upon seeing this. Is this the power after cultivating cultivation? At this moment, the Sword Immortal Nether King said, "Immortal, do you not know that I was summoned? What orders do you have for me?" Ye Yanse showed no need for excessive formalities. "Accompany me to go and cut him down." The members of the Rainbow Squad were greatly shocked upon seeing it. It turns out he also has such abilities? One Phantom King and one mech stared at each other. Both felt they could kill each other instantly with just a glance. At this moment, who was teaching them to stop them? But as soon as the words were out, he got a big slap from the host. Life is endless, so is the battle. At worst, we can make all the construction heroes work overtime tomorrow. Then he told everyone to leave quickly. When he turned around, the playground was empty. This isn't the time to stay. You're just giving yourself a target. Both sides are just staring at each other in the market. It seems they're both looking for each other's weaknesses, hoping to deliver a fatal blow. The atmosphere on the field is becoming increasingly tense. And then, at this moment, the mech moved. He adopted a charging stance, holding a long knife at waist to show ability to kill instantly. Never, in one move, defeat the Lord of Darkness. The Lord of Darkness also expressed strong agreement. Then he slowly drew out his treasure sword. Have you ever seen cultivators fighting against superpowers? Have you seen any martial artists fighting mobile suits? At this moment, both sides just stared at each other, as if they were both searching for the other's weaknesses, hoping to deliver a fatal blow with one strike. The atmosphere on the stage became increasingly tense. Just then, both sides moved simultaneously, rushing towards each other like missiles. Following that, Mingu used his Despair Slash. The mecha used Air Source Cut. 2 sword chi slices simultaneously cut towards their opponent. In the next moment, the host was shaved into a Mediterranean look by the sword energy. Even the continuous mountain ranges were split in half by sword energy. In this way, the two kept swinging their weapons. Every move of both sides was so fast it could cut through inches. This had already surpassed the range of human combat. Wherever they went, cities turned into ruins. The house is gone and I still haven't finished paying off the mortgage. The ground couldn't withstand this huge impact. Just as the mecha leaped high into the air, swinging his weapon with force, he slashed at the King of Hell. The King of Hell was not willing to fall behind either, swung a sword at him as well. The two weapons clashed and produced a flash of fire. Powerful force directly sent both parties' weapons flying out. At this time, Ancient Mecha indicated it needed more energy. Then, it flew straight towards the sky. Yansen saw this scene and said, "No need to meet. I'll help you fly." Hearing these words, Pluto immediately chased after. They chased each other in space, but he couldn't escape. Neither side knew how long they had been chasing in space. Just as that mech suddenly turned around and used the energy emitter, Pluto saw this and quickly formed a spirit energy shield. The powerful force directly sent him flying away. Finally, it fell straight towards the ground. It's right when Pluto hits the ground, a large city turned into ruins in an instant. The mayor beside witnessed this scene, fainted right there. The Lord of the Netherworld picked up a chunk of the city and threw it away. The city flew to space instantly. With one slash from the mecha armor, the city was split in half. At this moment, the Lord of the Netherworld charged forward. A heavy punch landed on the mecha's face. Then, grabbing its thigh tightly, following that, he threw it hard outwards. The mecha fell into the sea, creating huge waves. The mecha in the water didn't fall down. At this moment, he was building up his strength to release a large blast. Just then, a giant nuclear submarine flew out from the surface of the sea. Immediately after, countless nuclear warheads rose from the ground. And that is his ability, super control and fission. Under his control, countless nuclear warheads heading towards Pluto, and Pluto remains completely unfazed. Before him can be countless Sea of Chi formations that condensed into Dragon Lords. As his palms struck out with several attacks heading towards Earth. Do you know when a Gundam fights against a cultivator? How intense could that battle scene be? Both sides enthusiastically wielded their weapons. Every swing cuts through the darkness. A casual arrow can split endless mountain ranges in half. However, just the battle on the ground. They can no longer be satisfied, so they moved the battlefield to space. We see Mecha controlling countless nuclear warheads flying towards Pluto. And Pluto was not willing to fall behind either. Several chi seas condensing into dragon lords in front of him, with his command directly towards the earth, followed by a loud explosion. Two terrifying energies collided with each other. A violent explosion occurs in space. The entire earth was illuminated by the explosion's light. After everything is over, the mecha uses Little Black's energy, instantly appearing behind Pluto. I won, but the next second he made a hole. Mithra teleported behind the mecha instantly. He swung his fist and hit simultaneously. A fierce battle raged in the sky, producing loud sounds. The two were evenly matched, fighting fiercely back and forth. At this moment, the captain of the Rainbow Squad decided to merge with a hyper-ancient mecha. This way, the mecha's strength could be significantly enhanced. The strength of these mechs can be significantly enhanced. The mecha then emitted a terrifying aura. Raging energy erupted from the mecha's body, and this powerful energy, even the earth shook in response. The mecha's behind it in the next second. A giant energy sphere slowly rose. It is as hot as the sun. Just from appearances, you can see the terrifying energy it contains. Rumbling sounds echoed through heaven and earth. This immense energy caused the entire space to tremble. The mecha took out its weapons for continuous training. Energy generated terrifying micropressure that instantly filled the air. Seeing this scene, Pluto showed no panic at all. Only his swinging arm can be seen. As his arm rose in an instant, a terrifying energy appeared in his palm. The surrounding spiritual energy transformed into countless giant wheels converging towards his palm. As both parties finished their buildup, the mecha began to run on nuclear fusion energy. Surging energy instantly rushed toward Pluto's absorption, and Pluto was unwilling to fall behind. Using a common strike from the Forged Foundation Heavenly Immortal, a golden beam burst out instantly. Two terrifying energies collided with each other, producing a violent explosion. The explosion's light illuminated the entire universe. Everyone was instantly engulfed by this dazzling light. After everything settled down, Yan-sen thought he might have overreacted, only to see the severely damaged mecha fall from the sky. The shadow of the King of Hell also slowly dissipated. Who could have thought? A cultivator battling a super ancient mecha. Their great battle nearly blew up Earth. Just then, both sides kept building up their power. In the next moment, they simultaneously launched an attack. Two terrifying energies collided, producing a fierce explosion. The light from the explosion illuminated the entire Earth. Everyone was instantly engulfed by this light. After everything settled down, severely damaged mechs fell from the sky. When the host arrived, the members of the Rainbow Team were already on stretchers. At this moment, Yan-sen slowly descended from the sky. Seeing Yan, the students who returned from the forest were very excited. They all said they wanted to learn this move. And Yan-sen said, "You guys at least need to practice this for 40 years. Hearing that, everyone's beautiful dreams were shattered right there. In space at this time, cities turned into ruins and floated everywhere. The next day, the news spread worldwide. The known world's highest combat power is Black Robe superhero Yan-sen. On the second day, Yan-sen was teaching class. After students witnessed Yan-sen's strength, they all knelt down to worship him. In this way, Super Ability Academy was renamed Heaven God Sect. The academy's entrance also changed its appearance. Yan-sen looked at his classmates' efforts over the past half year, decided to change the classroom's location. With a loud noise from Yan-sen, the classroom instantly arrived at an altitude of 10,000 meters. Seeing this scene of spatial transfer, the students were shocked beyond words. Ran Zhaohao was left speechless on the spot. Mom can finally stop worrying about me skipping class. And so, 246, they ran around Antarctica. Run 30 kilometers every day. Exercise physical fitness has surpassed human limits. Number 135, swims in the Pacific Ocean. Swim 30 kilometers every day. To exercise their willpower like this, under Yan-sen's teaching, classmates continue to make progress. Yan-sen told them, "Dancer is someone who masters martial arts and other ways of training in martial arts. You are just ordinary dancers now. Once you successfully guide the chi into your body, using chi to maintain your body can make you live longer. And becoming proficient in cultivating chi is a necessary condition. This is the peak of a dancer. The peak of a dancer is the human limit. Only in this way can you absorb the vital energy into your body. Thus, the Dantian has enough storage to collect the primordial energy from heaven and earth. This is what's known as cultivating essence." They didn't know how long they had been training like this. When they were eating, Sun Xiaolu used chopsticks. It caught the flying fly in an instant. This also means the first dancer has reached their peak. Although the training is extremely strict, but Yan-sen still likes to take them to soak in hot springs from time to time. And on the other side of the world, suddenly, a tear in the space appeared in the sky. Two sword blades flew out from the crack. In the depths of the universe, a mysterious person holding a lightsaber cast their gaze towards the earth. After the chi enters the body, how great can the changes in one's body be? Only to see two figures constantly speeding across the playground. And these two are Ran Zihao and Lan Bing. They darted through the playground like flashes of light, experiencing the mysterious effects of chi intake into the body, and those who didn't channel the chi into their bodies can only frantically chase from behind. The Wu Meng chi beside him, although her cultivation talent was very high, but the understanding of the cultivation method is simply unbearable to look at. Watching the air shadow in his hand move a step, he nearly cried. While on the other side, Sun Xiaolu diligently weighed Yan-sen Shuigushi. Yan-sen immediately knew that the other party had come prepared, so he asked what was wrong. Sun Xiaolu said, "This Qi Ying, when it runs a step, is ugly as hell. Is there any other cultivation methods?" Yansen then handed him a bamboo slip in classical Chinese. "This is the art of commanding the sword. With him, you can meet flyers." Hearing that I could meet a flyer, Ren Ziho's shout froze the two of them on the spot. Wu Mengqi was also startled upon hearing that, and these four just started grabbing for it directly. In addition to giving them cultivation methods, Yansen also taught them things besides cultivation methods. For example, array formation. Because the array formation requires a massive consumption of spiritual energy, so they can only release it by teaming up. Yansen's teachings were also very strict. Any problems would result in criticism for releasing the array formation. One must not lose one's righteous aura at any time, otherwise adverse events will occur. Just then, Chen Kusan suddenly fainted to the ground. Yansen immediately rushed to his side. He should have been secretly exercising during his rest time. His body has exceeded the limits. After Yansen's inquiry, it was found out, the weakest in the class is a mid-dancer, yet he is a beginner dancer. He didn't want to hold everyone back, so he practiced secretly. Yansen looked at Chen Kusan and said, "My master is the strongest existence in the heavenly realm, but in his youth, it was even worse than yours. At least you have some spiritual root. He had no spiritual root at all. Endured endless ridicule and sarcasm, eventually expelled from the sect. But he didn't give up. Relying on his relentless efforts, he gradually grew stronger, ultimately reached the strongest position in the heavenly realm. You can find what you excel at, then push it to the limit." Hearing those words, Chen Kusan suddenly understood and regained the information anew. Not long after they started practicing, when they looked up at the sky, it left them utterly shocked. Just because, floating above the sky are numerous giant alien spacecraft. At this moment, they are in space. This is their 1316th attack on Earth. This time, our galactic king is here. Definitely will level this that has caused us so much trouble. Shameful planet. The king of the galaxy looked at Earth, feel that Earth's tech content is too low, and let him not be careless, because there is a group of perverts in tight clothing here. He is the only villain I have seen who is stark raving sane in this world. Not only does he not have the flaw of being too talkative like other villains, and also does not let his subordinates go one by one to deliver heads. Just now, one of his subordinates indicated, "You must lead a fleet to clear the way." Upon hearing this, Wang went for a big backhand slap. "If you want to offer your head, just say so," then ordered without even giving a signal. "Just open up the ultimate skill for me." Following that, the spaceship began to gather energy, planning to eliminate all humans in one go. At this time, inside the Superman Alliance building, staff have been trying to contact Yansen, but they can't get in touch with him. While on the other side of the hospital, Unit 001 said there's a guy with very strong dark energy. On the rightmost mothership, hearing this, everyone expressed their desire to fight. But Unit 001 immediately poured cold water on them. Coming back from being a plant for 2 years and wanting to fight, you all are the big remnants of the past 5 deaths. Were you sent to deliver those 5 kills? On the other side, the principal contacted his daughter, Wu Mengqi, wanting her to ask him to help Yansen. At this moment, a large number of heroes gathered in City H, and the alien weapons have already been deployed. With Wang's command, they are ready to act. A giant energy beam was shot towards Earth. It seemed it was about to hit the Earth. Just then, a huge noise came from the headquarters of the Superhero League. Following that, a terrifying force rose into the sky. In the next second, it collided with the incoming beam. Not only did he block that giant beam, he even directly penetrated the alien spacecraft. The spacecraft exploded instantly. But this was far from over. That figure kept darting between other spacecrafts. In an instant, all the spacecrafts exploded simultaneously. Only after that figure stopped moving did we finally get a clear look at him. Turns out, he was a man wearing a cloak. Xiao He and Xiao Fen were utterly shocked by this scene. Her little face instantly turned red, remembering some unspeakable past events. The alien was crying in the sea at this moment. Thousands of warships vanished in an instant. Since you're here, don't go back. It only used 1/1000th of the energy, activating the skill to continuously release light energy. Everyone was instantly swallowed by the light. After everything settled down, the alien fleet that was there before is now completely gone. But the Galactic King survived. He said it was his own carelessness. He didn't expect Earth to have such a powerful person. That person heard this with a look of disdain on their face. Earth is the most renowned place in the universe. And everyone present on Earth was shocked beyond words. At this moment, Yansen asked in a dazed manner, "Why are you so excited?" Because he is the top light overman of the gods. The energy within even surpassed ancient heroes. Thought I had dealt with the Monster King 10 years ago. Both Wang Zhong and his opponent died in the battle together. He is a world-level god tier, top-ranked light superhuman. He moved back and forth in the alien warship. Everywhere he went, all the warships turned to junk. He only used 1/1000th of his strength and instantly turned the invading alien fleet into junk. However, despite being so powerful, he still couldn't catch up with the villain's escape speed. Still can't keep up with the villain's escape speed. Only seeing the Galactic King quickly escape in a spacecraft, the light superhero saw this and immediately chased after them. But the other party directly used spatial jump. However, when the spaceship passed through the wormhole, they actually saw it again. The bewildered light superhero, this made them instantly dumbfounded. What's going on? Shouldn't we be several million light years away? Is this thing broken? So they use spatial jump again, but in the end, it just kept circling around Earth. At this moment, it seems there's an invisible eye watching everything. Everyone realized after seeing this is Yen-sen intervening. At this time, Yen-sen said to the impolite guy, apologized, and left. Then pointed at the sky, a shocking sword energy flew out from Earth. The Galactic King's spaceship was instantly hit and fell. Powerful force penetrated through the cosmic space. Galactic King, both of them were beaten to the point where they didn't have any underwear left. Light Superhero exclaimed after seeing this, I didn't expect there to be something so strong on Earth, big people. And thus, the Earth's crisis was easily resolved. Then, the Superhero of Light brought the two of them back to Earth. The president of the Superhero Association came over immediately after seeing it. Then the two began catching up. The president said something about Yen-sen, and this also sparked the interest of the Light Superhero. Want to find an opportunity to spar with Yen-sen? The chairman heard these words and immediately panicked. Don't do anything reckless, I tell you. Now, halfway across space, there's still a city drifting around. The time-traveling Superman asked Global, is the monster hunting contest in the range about to start? Started. The competition that comes once every 3 years is approaching in 2 months. It's also the day when heroes are ranked again. Then, the Light Superhero indicated that the system warned of a crisis on Earth. I just woke up, and these two idiots are still weaker than the native monsters on Earth. Upon hearing this, the chairman seemed to think of something. Correct. Since I'm still alive, so that king of monsters definitely didn't die either. The scene changes to 2 months later. Today is the day the monster catching tournament begins. Media from all over the world are reporting on this event. And monsters have tier distinctions just like heroes. They are divided into semi-divine level, sub-divine level, and great divine level. The only difference between the king of monsters and them is king of monsters has a king of kings above it. And as long as one is not careful, the king of kings of monsters can destroy the Earth. So, the president decided to summon the top 10 heroes in the great gods rank for an alert strike meeting. How much cultivation and ability enhancement can superpowered individuals achieve? Back when we were in school, we always rode for free. Now it's changed to Tsung arrows. Both easy and graceful. Now Yen-sen has basically understood the order of this world. Then he asked Wu Mengqi, what is this monster catching tournament? Originally, the monsters invade every 3 years. Just like the dampness in the cultivation world. Just thinking about it, Wu Mengqi gets so angry she trembles all over. Our school always keeps me in mind during the big competitions. Back then, I was chased by a dung beast and beaten up. Chased and beaten by monsters. And to top it off, other students from other colleges mocked me. It's just a nightmare. Hearing this, Yen-sen asked, do you have other academies here? Of course, this world has many schools, and different combat systems are located in different regions of the Earth. The Eastern Hyper-Ability Ninja Academy specialized in training combat ninjas. The Western Hyper-Ability Magic Academy specialized in battle mages, as well as the strongest superhuman academy in the Northern world, are all some perverts in tight clothing. The rest is our Superpower Academy. We are the weakest among all the academies. Before the teacher came, we were always weak. Just by taking first place in the hand rankings, the entire globe will build a giant statue for the teacher. This means the cultivation system is the strongest in the world, and there will be various figurines and costumes too. Then we can just make money while lying down. But who would have thought that Yen-sen rejected it outright? Don't mess with all those fancy things, just cultivate properly. At the hospital, Lan Qiqi decides to retire. Hearing that, the students of the Magic Academy strongly advised against it. If you retire, the school will become a second-rate institution. Later, during his conversation with the students, he learned the Supreme Monster King is not dead. Hearing this, he was startled. If it's really like that, then we're in big trouble. This King of Kings among monsters is not a godly existence. 10% would have solved it, so he decided not to retire. The scene switches to the Heavenly Virtue sect side. Stabbing Eyes hugged Blue Qiqi's thigh to prevent him from entering, and Lan Qiqi asked, what you're so excited about? This time, I didn't come here to fight either. At that moment, he stumbled upon Wushu and Liang brothers, realizing they exceeded over 1,000 transformation rules in a month. One can't help but wonder if this school is really that scary. Just then, a figure flew over on a sword. Then, it drifted and stopped gracefully. They stared in surprise at the sword darting through the sky. The teacher said there were 2 people loitering at the entrance. Let me go take a look. Hearing this, the two were startled. At this moment, both felt as if there was a pair of invisible eyes, staring at them just like that. Have you ever seen tea that can add 30 years by just drinking a sip? Just after Lan Qiqi drank a mouthful of tea, he feels refreshed and revitalized. My restless heart instantly calmed down. Yen-sen called it calm mind tea. Drinking one more can add 30 years to your life. Hearing those words, Lan Qiqi was startled, immediately offered to take some back home, but was rejected by Yen-sen outright. What's the matter with you coming here? Then proceeded to tell about the King of Monster Kings incident. At this time, Yen-sen asked, did you solve the King of Monster Kings problem? The world falls silent. After receiving a positive answer, Yen-sen expressed a willingness to contribute his meager strength. Then, Lan Qiqi brought Yen-sen to the Superman Alliance, attend the meeting. In the venue, countless top-ranking heroes are here. The light superhero looked at the Rainbow team, tauntingly said, you guys really suck, actually. You were bedridden for 2 years after being beaten up. And when the Rainbow team heard this, they weren't happy at all. You try it, if you have the guts. Just then, Yen-sen and Lan Qiqi arrived. When the light superhero saw Lan Qiqi, he immediately flew towards her. Uncover a flower, kneeling on one knee and saying, it's been a long time, you've become even prettier. But Blue Chi-Chi is not buying his act. Pulling off a petal, she throws it to the side. The banana next to her is directly halved by the petal. If you dare get any closer, this will be your fate. Scared, Ultraman of Light quickly covers his groin. After the meeting began, the chairman will face the King of Monsters. The news that he is still alive was told to everyone. The purpose of this meeting it's to completely exterminate the King of Monster Kings. At some other place in the world, meanwhile, in a square sits a massive creature. The king of the 4 great monsters gathered around him. King of Monsters Zhong Wang said that the most important thing now is to reunite. Besides the 4 of you kings, the rest were all intimidated by the hero. So we must get them to return to the information. At this moment, 2 figures walked slowly over. The monsters guarding the door saw this, immediately stopped them. The King of Kings among the monsters. Hold an assembly for the monsters to motivate them. At this moment, 2 little monsters say, "There are 2 new monsters. To see my Lord King of Kings." Only to see the 2 sisters slowly walk out. They wore cultivation attire, wearing weapons on his waist. After testing, discover that the 2 are actually weak warriors. At this moment, the surrounding monsters sighed in disappointment. And the Overlord then asked everyone to be quiet. Now we are short on people. Fighting Wu Jia at least has some combat power. You 2 can be just mascots from now on. At this moment, a girl recited, Tai Hung Jun. The next second, countless sword chi roamed on the Supreme Beast King's body. The countless sword chi intertwined together, followed by a loud bang. The Supreme Beast King instantly exploded in place. Blood sprayed everywhere like a fountain. These 2 girls are just level 5 warriors. Trash warriors, but with one strike, they could defeat the beast. The strongest king among kings slays. A slash with one sword, Supreme King of Monsters, on the spot. They cut it into sashimi for us. Following which, a spray shot out. Supreme King of Monsters exploded on the spot instantly. Blood spattered everywhere like a fountain, sprayed the other monsters all in the face. Then, another girl waved her hand broadly. Originally overcast skies instantly cleared up, and the square, which was once littered with graffiti, suddenly became spotlessly clean. From today on, I am your king. Then he drew his weapon from his waist and said, "Kneel and call me Lord of Demons. Unhappy ones, stand up." And the monsters who witnessed just now dare not say much more. In an instant, they all kneeled down on the ground. Seeing this, the 2 sisters are finally satisfied. But these monsters' realities? To the 2 sisters, his strength is just too weak. So they decided to leave here. At this moment, one Monster King dashed over, energetically hugged the girl's thighs and cried bitterly, "Demon King, my lord, we can't live without you guys. As soon as you leave, we'll become mere pets of the heroes. You can't just watch your subordinates become someone else's pet." Hearing this, they felt it made sense. So they asked if the heroes of this world are very strong. The monsters cried hearing these words. Not just strong, they are basically mobile game enhancements. We monsters are beaten up every year by them. And they also have particularly awesome passive skills. That is, the tears of love and the light of justice. The 2 sisters looked utterly confused upon hearing this. Originally, every time the monsters severely injured the heroes would activate this passive skill, and people from all over the world would unite to give them strength. The originally critically injured heroes would fully recover, and a batch that grew even stronger after resurrection. Over time, we monsters became tools for heroes to show off, always being ground down by the heroes. Hearing this, the girl showed a very understanding expression. The heroes of your world are just like the stealthy cultivators we have here. Then they handed over a bag marked with the word monster to them. This is the Cosmic Belt. It contains 460 million sets of items to repair magical treasures. However, there are 4 magical treasures that you should use cautiously. Otherwise, if enemies aren't killed in the end, you might die yourselves instead. Afterwards, the 2 decided to take a look around elsewhere. If there's anything, invite Song Transmission Book. After leading the 2 away, 4 of them fell into deep thought as they looked at the small bag. Such a tiny thing. Is there really 460 million sets of weapons? He is the strongest man in the cultivation world. However, it is also a senior one. Old Sixth was preparing for the monster catching competition before it started. He teaches his disciples that manners are the first standard in cultivation. You must not fight or compete aggressively. However, the next second the tone suddenly changed. Although we don't fight often in our daily lives, this doesn't mean we are weak. Since we're going to fight, just go all out for me. Never leave the opponent with any fighting spirit. We never fight barehanded if we can use weapons. We always group up and fight together instead of taking on opponents alone. Whether it's a sneak attack or being number 6, just need to eliminate the opponent. This is also the first rule of cultivation. Everyone who heard that looked utterly confused. Turns out, immortals fight like this too. Lu Xiaolu's 2 brothers even grasped the essence of it. They secretly put a piece of cinder block in their clothes. Then, Yan Sen summoned a huge African and led his disciples to participate in the grand tournament. The host explains the rules of the competition. The Superhero Academy is where the competition begins. The competition rules are the same as last year. Each monster recruited earns points for the academy. Moreover, the higher the level of the monster recruited, the more points earned. Which academy reaches the ground city first will gain 30 points first. The academy with the highest score wins here. A giant eagle flies in, and on top are the students from Ninja Academy. Next is the Magic Academy riding brooms. Following that is the Superman Academy sitting in spaceships. Finally, it's the Cultivation Academy, which recently changed its name. There are 4 judges for the competition. They are, respectively, the first-ranked Light Superman and the second-ranked Strict Black Robe, and the Rainbow Team and Fizzlin were all geared up. As the competition was about to begin, everyone was eager to try their hand at it. Sun Xiaolu was giving instructions on strategy deployment and asked the class president to coordinate snacks in the back. With the start of the competition, the people from Ninja Academy dived straight into the ground, while the people from Superhero Academy were not pleased about that, chased after him directly. The man's aura was not light at this moment. No wonder the Ninja Academy is so far from us. Turns out, they came prepared. Just as the two were evenly matched, people from the Ninja Academy turned around and threw a ball. The Superhero Academy people were instantly enveloped in smoke. But that's not all yet. Everyone else from other academies also get their share. Seeing the Ninja Academy people approaching the ground, just then, the Magic Academy people picked up rocket launchers. You heard that correctly. It's a rocket launcher. Directly shot towards that person. With a loud explosion, there was a huge sound in the sky. Everyone present was immediately stunned by this scene. Huh, your Magic Academy isn't supposed to use magic wands and cast spells, right? Instead, he's holding a cigarette and carrying a rocket launcher, saying, "I want you to load me up." And so the entire Magic Academy collectively pulled out Gatling rocket launchers. This is the most outrageous competition I've ever seen. Strictly teaching his disciples never to fight or compete aggressively, Yansen actually ordered them to use lethal force in the competition. Just keep beating until they can't move. Absolutely no chance for the opponent to catch their breath. And never go unarmed if you can use a weapon. Always team up instead of fighting alone. But the people from the Magic Academy are even worse, like grass on the plains. As mages, they should be holding staffs, use magic. Who knew they actually picked up a rocket launcher? Others are even more outrageous. They were directly produced laser-guided missiles and Gatling guns. It's like a gang war. Let them see what physical magic is all about. Following this, there were explosions heard from above. The girl keeps firing her machine gun non-stop. Straight up exhilarating. The people from the Superhero Academy were not pleased. Actually, it's not that we can't afford to play, but the people from the Ninja Academy got even more angry. I'm not taking these 30 points. Get them up there to cut him down, like this. A group of ninjas charged towards everyone at the Magic Academy. At that moment, Wu Mengqi stepped onto a platform in the sky. Then he made that familiar motivating gesture again, right after his body. Then a shining ball of light appeared like the sun. Seeing this scene, Ran Zihao and Lan Bing immediately became uneasy, and the Rainbow Squad was even more shocked. You guys are going way too far with your cultivation-like antics. You're trying to kill us. But Yansen only gave a very perfunctory response to the dragon. They learn quite quickly, don't they? When the students on stage saw this scene in front of them, their eyeballs practically popped out of their sockets. In this way, the 3 academies tacitly agreed. First, we deal with cultivation techniques. Then, they directly charged towards Wu Mengqi, and others wouldn't give them the chance. Just as the ninja was about to launch an attack, Ran Zhaohao was the first to draw his sword and blocked him. The two immediately started fighting in midair. They were evenly matched, struggling fiercely. As for Blue Ice, she faced off against the Magic Academy students. Seeing her weapons all being blocked by Blue Ice, the class president decided to block Blue Ice alone. Others go to stop it. Wu Mengqi handcrafted a nuclear bomb. Just as the people from Superhero Academy were about to fly to Wu Mengqi's side, Sun Xiaolu moved at this moment, only to see him recite the hard mouth sealing method with his hand. Next second, a giant array appeared above everyone. Continuous sword rain fell. Everyone was directly turned into porcupines. You'd better not move, or you'll be disemboweled. Seeing this, everyone was stunned on the spot. With just one person alone, he managed to suppress the other 3 academies? At this moment, the monitor of the Superhero Academy took action. He gathered his strength and directly broke free from the restraint. Then, he quickly rushed towards Wu Nongqi. It seemed to be a very friendly competition, but the participating students were anything but friendly. The Ninja Academy throws bombs, the Magic Academy carries rockets, the Cultivation Academy fuses nuclear bombs. Only the Superhero Academy looks relatively normal. We can see Sun Xiaolu forming hand seals and reciting magical incantations in her hands. In the next second, a huge array appeared above everyone. Following that, countless sword shadows fell from the array. The people from the 3 academies were instantly trapped. At this moment, the class president of Superhero Academy unleashed powerful strength and directly broke free from the array's restraint, then quickly flew towards Wu Mengqi. Just then, Sun Xiaolu waved her hand dramatically. A Judai sword descended from the sky. The superhuman class president was immediately suppressed by the giant sword on the spot. The ninjas saw this, planned to sneak over as the 6th member, but they were discovered by Ran Zihao watching through a flying saucer. Ran Zihao turned his head immediately to look, and that person took the opportunity to use the cage spell. Ran Zihao was directly trapped in the barrier. Then they quickly rushed towards Wu Mengqi. At this moment, Sun Xiaolu immediately controlled the array. Countless flying swords shot at them, instantly pinning them like porcupines. At this time, Wu Mengqi's power buildup was about to be complete. At this moment, someone thought of using an illusion to stop, but the distance was too far for the sound to carry. Hearing those words, the class president gave him a big slap. Are you stupid? We have technology, right? Like this. That person used an illusion on Wu Mengqi with a loudspeaker. Wu Mengqi fell for it instantly. At this moment, he appeared in Yan Sen's room. Seeing Yan Sen, his small face instantly flushed red. That's why his mindset was damaged. If you wanted to encounter a counterplot, the people at the Ninja Academy also took advantage of it. Machine throws out a green-haired turtle bomb. A loud boom echoed through the sky. It looks like Wu Mengqi is going to fall to the ground. Sun Xiaolu hurriedly chased after, and the Qi Si condensed into a dragon duke, because nobody is controlling it. That's what caused him to lose control now. And the ninja didn't know the severity of the situation. There they were laughing and joking around. He could see the Qi Si transforming into a dragon, losing control and preparing to explode. The superhero of light prepared to act. At this moment, Roxen, commander-in-chief, that giant dragon was immediately subdued by him. Then he clenched his fist. Jihai transforms into a dragon and jerks directly back. The ground disappears. Seeing this scene, everyone on stage was startled. Thought the people at the Cultivation College were already useless. Stonehost announced formally, Cultivation Academy will be the first to take root, earning 30 points. Upon hearing this, the other 3 academies were shocked. They had no idea what was going on, only to see Lu Xiao and his brother. At this moment, the 2 brothers had already arrived at the ground. In fact, it was all during their battle. These 2 brothers turned into Old Six. They rode through Africa secretly to bypass the situation. Others who learned about it all had expressions on their faces. This is a man who traded his body for combat power nakedly. He was previously killed instantly by Jensen's single strike. His war armor couldn't even land hits. And he was even flown from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere. From then on, he has been running naked for 3 years. These past 3 years, not only did he repair the armor, but he also underwent a comprehensive upgrade. Yet he just happened to encounter something, 2 sisters who killed the Beast King of Kings. At that moment, he was extremely boastful. He believes that with his current strength, he can definitely beat these 2 people. We can see him transform into Super Grandpa, charge directly towards one person. The 2 started fighting instantly, while the other girl sat there drinking tea. 2 hours later, Flower Elder was kicked flying by the girl. I heard you get stronger the more you fight. You've been fighting for 2 hours, and you're still in such bad shape. This really angered her a lot. The body continuously gathered strength, emitting a roar of anger. And the girl was extremely excited. I felt this guy had become much stronger. As energy continued to converge, golden lightning appeared around him. And in the girl's hand, a golden light ball also appeared. At this moment, Superman in his 60s unleashed the condensed energy. The girl threw the light ball in her hand out at this time. 2 powerful energies collided with each other. A violent explosion occurred. Everyone was instantly engulfed by the light from the explosion. While far away, Yun Seno felt a familiar scent at that moment. I'm still young. It's been more than 2,000 years. How could I not remember that? This sentence left Lan Chi 7 speechless. While on the other side, the competition has reached a fever pitch. Ninja Academy is temporarily leading with 120 points. Some people make huge moves to capture a monster, while others talk about life with the monsters. As a monster, I used to have no restrictions. Now, not only do I have to follow your rules, but also maintain order. In other words, how much salary you give me. When Blue Soldier put up a 3, the other party had an expression of disdain on their face. You guys practice cultivation like monks, but you're all broke. At least I am a divine level monster. The salary for sweeping the Ninja Academy is higher than yours. Hearing that really angered Blue Eyes. She rushed forward to beat up this monster thoroughly. You guys, the just people, aren't you trying to snatch and sell? I'm a civilized monster, you know. On the other side, Wu Mengqi kept chasing after that ninja without letting go. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have used illusion on you. I won't say anything about what happens in magic shows. Please, let me go. Is Wu Mengqi's face even redder now? No matter what, you must die today. I am a civilized and polite monster. You justifiably righteous people. Don't you want to buy or sell recklessly? Sun Xiaolu was walking down the street at this moment, but he had been walking for so long, yet he didn't see any monsters or contestants. In fact, the 3 academies had already joined forces early on. They were passing information to each other. As soon as Sun Xiaolu came over, they would immediately run away with the monster. This left him a bit helpless. Clearly feeling someone is here, but after coming over, nothing happened. At this moment, the host explained due to Sun Xiaolu's strength being too powerful, she has already been kicked out of the competition by 3 academies. But this scene seems familiar. It seems like, don't take you for a ride. I dealt with the president of the Superman Academy in the past. Hearing that, the class president of the Superhero Academy suddenly realized, how could I put it? Last year, during the grand competition, not a single monster was seen by me alone. Just as the match was about to end, everyone from the Cultivation Academy was in a panic at this moment. At this time, the host announced that the Cultivation class scored 130 points. Everyone looked bewildered by those words. It turns out this is another masterpiece from Lu Xiaolu brothers. They are different from others. Others give monsters salaries, while the 2 of them have started drawing on monsters instead. This is our teacher. Within half a year, he beat all heroes to submission, risen to the 2nd place in the demigod tier. It's inevitable that you'll become a top god in the future. Just follow us and mix around with us. Your future is limitless if you do so. We don't care about all those titles, so we're giving you this amount at a discount. Although we're not short of money, But it also depends on whether you're worth this price. So we'll only pay half every month. The next 24 episodes will be paid off. As long as we don't have a travel contract, you'll immediately gain your freedom. A mix of flattery and deception worked well. The monster didn't hesitate to agree directly. The people from the Ninja Academy got really angry seeing this. You guys are too shameless, even borrowing money from a monster. Just as these 14 monster kings appeared carrying weapons, Sun Xiaolu then felt unease. He had everyone insert the array chi for safety. This array can give him 10 minutes of the power of cultivating chi to transform into spirit. After several monsters came up with a plan together, they directly used the barrier to seal off space. And Yansen also remembered at this time, it's the scent of a transformed great demon. At this moment, several small monsters carrying weapons appeared. Following the instructions above, they cut their palms and gripped the weapons tightly. The sky was instantly covered with thick clouds, lightning flashing, and thunder rumbling. Next, a demonic creature wearing flying fish attire appears. Sun Xiaolu was shocked after seeing it. This is a transformed demon beast. This was originally just an ordinary monster hunting competition. Could be due to the participants making this competition no longer simple. Senior has Rock Forest student acting as Old 6. Behind them, someone was holding a rocket launcher for the Magic Academy. Use physical magic. Now, even the great evil spirit of form has appeared. Sun Xiaolu was panic-stricken upon learning the situation. Only the people from other colleges had confused expressions on their faces. Yansen recalled that they were powerful yaoi after. He was extremely excited, deciding to catch one and interrogate it properly. At this moment, the two monster kings were still looking at the manual. Yansen reversed and set up another spatial blockade, to prevent them from escaping. On the other side, Sun Xiaolu taught everyone to quickly escape. Superman, the class president of the Superhero Academy, didn't know how serious the situation was. Still wanted to confront that transformed monstrous demon, resulting in being punched and sent flying by the transformed monstrous demon. His entire body flew out like a projectile. On the spot, his combat capability was lost, and when the big demon turned its head again, it found that everyone had already vanished. But how could they run faster than the greater demon? In the end, it was still captured by a transformed monstrous spirit. It seems the class president of the Magic Academy is about to get married. Blue Ice rushed up wanting to save someone. The weapon in the moment it was strapped to the waist directly shattered. The person in the big waist's hand was thrown forcefully. The two of them were directly smashed to the ground. Then, the powerful demon took out his weapon. Just as he was about to deliver a fatal blow to Blue Ice and her companion, a giant boulder came flying towards him at that moment. Suddenly, a giant appeared in the city. And he is the 34th ranked Black Gold Superman among the great gods. Seizing this opportunity, Sun Xiaolu activated the array she had previously set up. In an instant, his aura began to rise rapidly. There has been a noticeable improvement in cultivation. Then make sure they protect those eyes properly. Black Gold Superhero looked at the big waist, sniffed and said, "Little kitten, you don't dare hurt any of my students." Hearing that, Dai Yao instantly became furious. Then send out the weapons using magical blade energy to kill. Instantly, a sword energy shot towards Black Gold Superman. His chest was directly pierced through, creating a huge hole. Then people started to keep shrinking. Another Superman saw and quickly treated him. How could the great demon possibly let him off so easily? So he immediately charged towards that person. At this moment, a figure attacked him. He hurriedly dodged backward. This person is Xiaolu Sun, who has reached the stage of cultivating chi to transcend into the spirit realm. We can see him raise his weapon. Exert the power of cultivating chi to transform into spirits. One strike. The sword energy instantly split the Superman Academy in two. Even the ground had a deep canyon cut into it. See this scene. The onlookers' eyes nearly popped out of their heads. The students stood still after seeing that. Is this the power of cultivating chi to transform into spirit? This is a girl who can cheat in the game. Just one array formation. Her strength has increased significantly just from that. With one sword swing, the city was split in half right before his eyes. Even the mountains were severed in two. Powerful sword energy left deep, bottomless grooves on the ground. Even he himself was startled by the power of this strike. After the smoke cleared, the great demon had already suffered severe injuries. It seems I have to go all out, and Sun Xiaolu is not willing to fall behind, coming at me full speed as well. In the Northern Hemisphere, two supermen, based on the energy reaction just now, found this place, only to see a huge deep pit appeared in front of them. Upon going down to check, they discovered Old Age Superman lying in the deep pit. When the two supermen saw Old Age Superman, their confidence was overflowing. As long as GG Superman is here, none of those new monster varieties are a problem. But who would have thought that GG Superman has already been beaten to the point of social anxiety? Cowering, he lay on the ground and said, "I won't be going then. Wishing you good luck." This left these two supermen speechless. On the other side, Anon asked why they didn't kill him. Ming Ming said that he let him go because he thought he looked handsome. Hearing that, those two little monsters started to panic. Just then, they asked, when they held a cultivation attire, "Is there such a thing as wearing the world? People in just clothes?" The little monster said with Superman's tone that he didn't have it. "They all wear clothes like this." "Very well then. In this world, we are invincible." The scene changes. Sun Xiaolu fought with the big demon fiercely. Everyone can only see their fighting silhouettes and bursts of sound. The loud sword fought for a long time without deciding anything. So Sun Xiaolu came into space. Prepare to see a big move. A sun-like figure appeared behind him instantly. Shimmering orb. And this is precisely the second stage of Chi-Hai, transforming into dragon horns. The light ball then quickly headed towards the Great Beast 2. Giant golden dragons circled around. Seeing this, not only did the Great Beast panic, even Ran Zihao and the others were equally desperate. If it goes wrong, we won't even have a home left. As the attack kept getting closer, the Great Demon gathers all its strength for a powerful strike. Chi-Hai Hualongjie was surprisingly flown out by him, followed by a powerful explosion in the distance. A loud, thundering sound came from afar. This operation directly stunned everyone. The two sisters saw this scene and were equally shocked. How come there are cultivators here too? They immediately questioned the two small monsters, but seeing them, the highest attainment is only at middle chi cultivation, roared, finally feeling at ease. At this moment, Anan preached, "Don't you remember what cultivation practitioners enjoy doing most? That's hiding one's true strength to fool others, like playing pig to eat tigers. You think they are weak? Actually, they're a bunch of strong ones." So the two decided to stabilize him first. Everyone at the Magic Academy has started using objects, cast magical spells. Isn't it going a bit far for the staff at the Cultivation Academy to defuse a nuclear bomb? I just didn't expect this strike to be repelled. And that great demon is currently very pleased with himself. Your move wasn't bad either though. Forgot to tell you, this technique can be used infinitely. The released one finished saying, several sea of chi transform into dragons. Nobles gathered around again. At this moment, the great demon began to panic, and the others got so excited they just started fighting. Beat the shit out of him for me. The big demon saw them after showed a meaningful smile. This gave them an instant bad feeling. The big monster wielded its weapon and charged at them. Everyone was in a panic at the time. Just in time for the critical moment, Sun Xiaolu arrived. He took the opportunity to give the big demon a dirt bath. Just as the great monster could no longer open its eyes, he charged directly towards the little monsters. Come on, hurt each other already. The big demon was also in a hurry. Charging forward, it gave Sun Xiaolu a punch. Sun Xiaolu's strength is indeed enhanced by the array technique, so when fighting against the big demon, its actual strength really has some gap. But he wasn't at all anxious. There's nothing that an array technique can't handle. If there is, then let's use a more powerful one. Then he performed that familiar action. Ran Zihao and the other two saw this action and were startled. Damn, this is the move from the absolute sentence spirit array. Swap Sword Immortal, Dark King, next. The huge figure of Sword Immortal Dark King suddenly appeared. The great demon was so panicked upon seeing it. While Ran Zihao and the others were too shocked to say anything, other students from other academies couldn't believe the later batch of cultivation classes were this overbearing. You guys in the cultivation class, all of you are just a bunch of brats. They're really going too far, one after another. The great devil didn't say a word and took off running. How could the king of hell let him get away? He drew his treasure sword and slashed down with one swing. Then there was a loud, thunderous noise. A huge area of the city directly vanished from the ground, left a deep, bottomless pit. Lord Phantom Teacher is really good at demolition work. Luckily, my house isn't there. After the battle ended, half a day later, Lord Phantom still hasn't left. This surprised Sun Xiaolu. Do you know how dangerous your current situation is? Two guys are currently spreading out, emitting an incredibly terrifying killing intent. If they were to emit a killing intent in front of you, you would be struck dead without needing to move a finger. Hearing these words, he finally realized the other party's power. At this moment, he suddenly noticed something. The legal and political issues are over. Why are you still here? Are you burning aid or something? Pluto smiled slightly, indicating that it wasn't a big deal. I have a lifespan of thousands of years. Then it was indicated that Yan Sen should be coming out soon. I'm no match for him alone, need to find an ally. Which firm has the strongest demolition skills? The Cultivation Academy seeks the King of Netherworld. With one sword swing, a whole city vanished on the spot, leaving behind only a bottomless ravine. He didn't intend to leave at this moment, because he hadn't had enough of it yet. On the other side, the ultra-ancient mecha couldn't absorb solar energy. It was being beaten while hanging up, his opponent. Then it is an incredibly Judah, a divine beast. The King of Monsters was excited at this moment. Have you all seen my ancestors for 18 generations? After several centuries, finally seeing the hero in a desperate situation, this has left everyone from the Rainbow Team speechless. Then the divine beast condensed energy in midair, planning to deliver the fatal blow. At the critical moment, Pluto arrived just in time, and gave the divine beast's face a big butt slap. That divine beast was instantly knocked to the ground. Then it broke through the barriers set by the monster beasts. At this moment, the divine beast arrived in space. Its size also increased significantly with its form. On the other side, at the same time, the two king monsters were crying to their parents and calling for their mothers as they tried to leave. The discarded spirit of a Jun Yawang was being chased and beaten by Yan Sen. A large net came over. That demon king was directly beaten into the ground. Give you one more chance. Tell me where the heavenly realm is. And that demon king was also very upset. I am just a spirit of an artifact. How could I possibly know where the heavenly realm is like that? At this time, a divine beast in space spat out a mouthful of flames, heading towards Earth. Result was kicked away by the king of hell with 1 foot. The flying divine beast then spat out several fireballs again. Result was still kicked away by the king of hell in its entirety. Just as this opportunity, the mecha began to show its power. A beam of light shot towards the divine beast. That divine beast was taken out on the spot. This is precisely the ultimate move of the ultra-ancient mecha. Just as everyone thought the battle was won, An drew out the weapon in his hand. Then, the entire person directly vanished from the spot. When he reappeared, he was already behind Pluto. Pluto's body. Suddenly, a huge wound appeared on it. He then charged towards Pluto again. The mecha was strong and prepared to block him. At this moment, his finger pressed down with immense pressure, directly pinning him to the ground. Bystanders saw this scene, eyes wide in shock. At this moment, a beam of light appeared to block him. The one who arrived was none other than superhuman light. Upon seeing the arrival of superhuman light, bystanders erupted into cheers. Superhuman light extended his finger. A beam of light shot out from his fingertips. An found herself actually scratched. This instantly sparked his interest in combat. You shouldn't have moved at all. I want to fight him one-on-one. The light superhero then gave a disdainful smile. Suddenly, a terrifying energy surged towards An, and An remained completely unfazed. Taking a big breath in, a beam of light containing terrifying energy was actually blown away by him directly. How powerful is this person's single arrow? One arrow and the city disappears from the map directly. However, such an awesome man was solved by just one arrow from a girl. At this moment, the light superhero was fighting An intensely, but the punches landing on his face did not cause any harm. Only then did this light superhero realize that this little girl was not as simple as he imagined, so he maximized his energy. At this moment, An struck a palm technique. A surging energy instantly engulfed the light superhuman. After everything settled down, the light superhuman was already severely injured. His limbs were all shattered and broken. But even so, the light superhuman did not give up. A terrifying energy instantly burst forth from his body. Release. As if summoned by a call, people from all over the world gathered. Countless energies converged towards the light superhero, following which, the light superhero directed all the accumulated energy towards An, publicly. In an instant, light enveloped everyone, and after the smoke cleared, An only suffered minor injuries. Everyone's faces showed disbelief as they saw this scene. Unbelievable. An's face was filled with excitement at the moment. This is at least a power hit for the first episode's sake. If not for my thick skin, I probably would have been hurt. Then he stretched out his palm and said, "Etiquette does not allow for coming unbidden." Immortal technique, soaring through 9 heavens. In an instant, a sun appeared above the city. The phoenix circled around the sun. Just then, the phoenix transformed into a fiery phoenix, rushing towards the light superhero. It seemed like the light superhero was about to meet his end. Yansen appeared just in time. He charged at the phoenix with full force. The saddle directly sent him flying far away. Nanan and Nanan widened their eyes upon seeing the scene. From his aura, it should be at the peak of the sealed realm. Between us two, we can only end up dead or alive in the early stage of the sealed realm. And the onlookers also prepared to hand over their strength to Yan, but he dismissed them with a look of disdain and rejected their efforts. "Quickly, tell me where the heavenly realm is located. I'm rushing to offer those old fools my legs." "You humans, one by one, are all old 6. Let's go back first." Then after Yao Ge transmitted and told Yansen, rejected those words decisively. "Tell me quickly, I need to break their legs now." This really angered Anan a lot. "Why are you so unyielding? Don't understand what demonization is?" Then pointed in a direction and said, "Quickly, look, it is the stern heavens." Immediately turning to look, and the two sisters took this chance to escape separately. How could Yansen easily let them off? In an instant, a huge battlefield appeared in space. This array directly sealed off the entire space of Earth. This man is the strongest man in Heavenly Realm. But because he became too arrogant, he was deliberately designed to be expelled from the Heavenly Realm. So he has been constantly searching for a way back to the Heavenly Realm. Now we finally get to see the demon race from the Heavenly Realm. How could he possibly let this go? So he kept asking where the Heavenly Realm was. But the other party wouldn't say anything. Thus, Yansen could only come here as a result. Just then, the King of Hell said he had already burned 800 years of his lifespan. He can't take it anymore. Remember to have Yansen replenish me. Then, the entire person turned into smoke and vanished. On the other side, Yansen suddenly rushed towards them. Ning Ning hurriedly tried to stop him. An then used immortal techniques at the back. Instantly, 9 golden houses appeared in the sky and circled around. The ground instantly became scorching hot. The flowers dried up directly before it. Even the earth cracked from the sudden heat. Even the light superhuman, a cyborg, couldn't withstand it. His body actually started showing signs of melting. Upon seeing this situation, Yansen also unleashed the immortal technique, Great Sea Jiao Long. Instantly, a massive wave surged towards the city. Just then, those giant waves surprisingly transformed into strands of intertwining. As both sides collided, instantly, a large amount of steam was produced. After the steam dissipated, the earth finally returned to normal. But Yansen still made them reveal the location of the heavenly realm. Yet the other party stubbornly refused to speak. Just then, Ling Ling drew her weapon and chopped at Yansen. The weapon hit Yan. The forest shattered instantly. This made him extremely surprised, because he used his own heart's blood for this weapon, trained into existence. At this moment, Yansen's aura suddenly changed. The aura of golden core emanates from his body. As the aura from Yansen's body spreads, the sky instantly fills with thick clouds. Lightning flashes and thunder roars. A strong micropressure directly presses towards everyone. Facing this familiar feeling, Lan Chichi has already become accustomed to it, and she also reminds everyone not to look up. Stand up or go to the ICU for a lesson, or at least you can stand up. Only to see Yansen snap his fingers. The powerful micropressure instantly pressed down on An. This micropressure even caused Earth's orbit to deviate. But despite this, he still did not yield. I will never tell you where the heavenly realm is in this lifetime. Then directly slapped his own forehead up. Everyone was shocked by this scene. Anan, I'll go with you right away. Just then, Yan Sen's aura became even stronger. The girl saw it and couldn't help trembling. This is the reason. And as soon as Yan Sen snapped his fingers again, the world's time seems to be reshaping. Return to the time before An's suicide. Yan Sen was somewhat helpless at this moment. I just wanted to know where the heavenly realm was. This man only wanted to ask about various paths, but it unexpectedly turned into a large battle between both sides. Those two girls naturally weren't Yan Sen's opponents. Only see Yan Sen put his hand on the girl's head. Use soul retrieval. They were originally princesses of the Yaozu. They lived happily with their parents, but from the moment they were born, they were great transformation demons. This was known by cultivators, so they entrusted them to others. Cultivators recognized their potential and gave them belts. On that day, the Yaozu suffered a terrible massacre. Cultivators wanted to exterminate the Yaozu completely, even used to invite the great array of the first rank. The entire Yao tribe exerted all their lives to send the two individuals away, but they were eventually caught up by cultivators, so the two could only jump into the river to escape. As a result, they inexplicably ended up here. That's why they have hatred towards cultivators. After their souls were searched, he found that he was actually unharmed. Yan Sen said, "Why don't you just say no if that's the case? Why go through all this trouble for nothing? What's the point of making me do this? By the way, any damage to public property must be compensated at its original price." Then he turned and left. At this moment, the two little monsters were frantically trying to compensate. The two sisters saw this and took off with the little monsters. Ultraman of Light officially taught that they couldn't let them go. Let them go. Something big is bound to happen in the future. But Yen-sen said that it's not a big issue, because I'm from the former emperor. Hearing this, the two girls were left speechless on the spot. The competition was forcibly interrupted due to Dai's participation, so they didn't win this time around. Originally, it was supposed to be like the Statue of the World, but in the end, it was changed to this one. Yen-sen directly became the world's #1 superhero. Celestial Sect. Inside the Heavenly Sect, two sisters were secretly watching Yen-sen. Whether or not he will become my disciple depends on today. The two encouraged each other. After getting their courage up, they directly jumped into Yen-sen's room. About to open their mouths to speak, he was directly kicked out by Yen-sen. When Yen-sen went shopping, they were following behind stealthily. We have no fluctuations in spiritual energy on us. Shouldn't we be safe then? But as soon as I turned around, I fell into Yen-sen's trap. Lifted up and hung there. Stop following me. After a day, the two of them are already self-isolating during class. This day, the students thought it would be another year beyond the sect rules, but Yen-sen declared that this year will not exceed the sect rules. In the next 10 years, recite 480 billion medicinal herbs backward by heart. Hearing this, everyone spat out immediately. Starting from today, I'm going to teach you something extremely awesome. That is alchemy. You shouldn't underestimate the profession of alchemist. A first-grade alchemist can be more powerful than a great nation, and in just 1 year. The students studied hard, while two powerful demons tried to become their disciples. On a stormy night, lightning and thunder roared in the sky. Innumerable mysterious people gathered in the hall. They held crosses and recited mysterious incantations. One person was kneeling in front of the coffin, praying. Suddenly, a pale hand extended from the coffin. Following that, a vampire instantly stood up from the coffin, and he was none other than Vampire Otacid. Looking at the human before him, he asked, "Are you summoning me?" Then he stabbed his finger into the person's forehead. "From now on, you are one of us. You will gain eternal life and immortality." The cries of agony echoing throughout the castle. Meanwhile, the Alliance repaired the city once again, and the graduation exams for the Academy were initiated. At this moment, the people at the Cultivation Academy were still wondering who would be their examiner. Just then, Lan Qiqi made an appearance. The main examiner of the Ninja Academy is Superhero Light, while that of the Magic Academy is the Rainbow Squad. And the examiners from the Superhero Academy were exciting indeed. The proctor was Yen-sen. After seeing Yen-sen, Lu Xiaolu remarked, "Didn't you serve as the main examiner at the Superhero Academy?" Yen-sen responded with a shrug and said, "It would be enough to leave a clone behind." Ranyi Zhaohao and Lan Ne saw Lan Qiqi let out a series of cheers. I believe that with his relationship with Yen-sen, the other side will definitely hold back. But Sun Xiaolu doesn't think so. Touch my face within 10 minutes and you'll graduate. As the competition began, Sun Xiaolu transformed into a streak of light and punched forward. The weapon in his hand was seized by him with one grab. At this moment, the onlookers were surprised. Even the class president and his companions found it inconceivable. He did this. Strength is not just about reaching the peak of qi cultivation. Sun Xiaolu saw and quickly pulled back the distance, and Lan Qiqi broadcast directly at this moment. Fortunately, the class president timely intervened by pushing him away. It looks like it's about to hit the onlookers. Lan Qiqi quickly controlled the direction of the wave. Under his control, they strolled. Surprisingly, it came back from above, followed by a loud boom. The scene was instantly filled with flames. After the smoke cleared, the man Hao Hao still had good fortune protected Xiao Mi with this spell. This wasn't even a wizard spell to begin with. I'm going to complain to the Alliance. It was also because of Yen Sen's intervention that spared the bystanders from the chaos. At this moment, Sun Xiaolu set up another array, giving him temporary qi transformation to spirit strength capabilities. Following that, both sides launched an attack simultaneously. Even though Sun Xiaolu has the strength to cultivate qi into spirit, the result was still suppressed by Lan Qiqi. Sun Xiaolu found an opportunity and punched Lan Qiqi with one palm. But she didn't expect him to easily dodge it. The two big demons watching on the side, they were really anxious. You guys are too weak. Truly embarrassing, master so much. Punch him. Didn't you eat breakfast? When Yen Sen turned his head upon hearing the noise, the two sisters quickly shrunk back. As is said, every mage has a melee heart. Previously, the students of the Magic Academy holding the first anti-rocket launcher is already outrageous. Now this, even more so, it showcased the close-range mage's abilities to the fullest. When facing his opponent's attacks, he could easily dodge them and even counterpress them. Sun Xiaolu saw that melee wasn't this mage's match, so she decided to give her opponent a fatal blow. How could Lan Qiqi possibly let her opponent have an opportunity? With a swift move, she came behind her opponent and directly knocked her down. Uncontrollable sea of qi transforms into Dragon Sovereign about to go berserk. Lan Qiqi saw this, amplified her magic to the maximum, delivering a full power strike against the Seven Seas Dragon Sovereign. A loud boom echoed immediately. A burst of purple energy shot up instantly. The West Sea Dragon Sovereign was instantly devoured. After the smoke cleared, Sun Xiaolu was utterly exhausted. At this moment, he was extremely unwilling. Just then, Lan Qiqi said, "Congratulations to you all. You've graduated." Hearing these words, the crowd on stage erupted in cheers. Amazing, amazing! You guys are the ones who have been at this academy for over a decade. The first batch of graduates. Your strength can crush heroes from my previous life onwards. And your cultivation to transform qi into spirit is just a minor ex-wife. Definitely going to become an awesomely amazing existence, and shouldered the heavy responsibility of studying for over a decade. They finally got their long-desired graduation. The graduation certificate is still not in their hands. It was confiscated while it was still warm in their hands. When I become immortal, I will return it to you. The great ups and downs of life happen in an instant, and so everyone returned to the school to start farming. Alchemy cannot be done without herbs, and herbs require soil cultivation, so let's start from the basics. Just then, he arrived behind the two students. Without saying a word, he directly threw them out. And these two were actually An and Ning Ning pretending to be them. Among all the students, only Chen Kusan successfully grew the herbs. I don't know what the secret is either. Anyway, she knew how to grow them without reading the book. The four plant killers heard this. All the flax were stunned. Ran Zihao even directly lit incense for the herbs. On Wu Mengqi's birthday, all the students came to Wu Mengqi's home. Starting the party, Lu Xiaolu searched everywhere but couldn't find Yen Sen. Just then, someone knocked on the door. Wu Mengqi thought it was Yen Sen coming, rushed over directly, opened the door and saw, instantly making him disappointed. It turned out to be from the Superhero Academy. Before Wu Mengqi could speak, he rushed right in. And so, the four academies people gathered here together. Can you block this sword with 20 years of power? With one swing of the sword, directly exterminated the mosquito's ancestors for 8 generations. Jingjing was just now Yen Sen brought Wu Mengqi to the practice chang. Do you remember this place? Hearing these words, Wu Mengqi instantly had a bad feeling in her heart. Then she asked if Wu Mengqi was ready. This confused Wu Mengqi. Ready for what? However, in the next second, they actually arrived at the moon, above the moon. Today I will teach you a unique sword technique from the Heavenly Deity sect. Pay close attention and learn well. After saying this, he picked up a long sword. With his single strike, the sword energy directly attacked towards the earth, and it precisely landed on the mosquito. The mosquito was instantly shattered by the sword energy. Next came the cells. Even the intense ones were chopped to pieces. This time, the mosquito is truly dead with not a shred left. The two sisters watching from the side were dumbfounded. While Wu Mengqi didn't discover anything, she still felt, what terrible thing did Yen Sen do? But Yen Sen says there's nothing to be afraid of. It was just exterminating the entire clan of words. A single sword strike can wipe out an entire clan. This is what a sword cultivator does. And the stages of a sword cultivator are sword qi, sword posture, sword intention, sword encounter. The more swordsmanship insights Xiao gains, the more people he has. Then he was given a sword and a bamboo slip. The next second, they were back on the practice field. That evening's news broadcast an odd incident. Mosquitoes worldwide, suddenly. All perished instantly. Only then did Wu Mengqi realize the terrifying nature of sword cultivation. A chill ran through her heart immediately. The other side. The Vampire King and his minions are out blood-sucking everywhere. Just then, 2 mysterious people called him over. Purge has begun for the scum in this strange world. Meanwhile, another one, number 001, suddenly sensed something. It gave him a bad feeling. The next day, the two sisters were walking on the street. Result suddenly appeared, a mechanical dinosaur blocking them. SSS world, evil forces expelled. You're arrested now. The two of you just looked utterly confused. Who are you? Which gang do you hang out with? As soon as the sentence was finished, the mechanical dinosaur actually started transforming, instantly becoming much taller. And he is Super Ancient Hero number 3. Feeling this aura, number 1 was startled. Those fools are back. Super Ancient Hero number 3 has a big hand in this. A terrifying energy burst out instantly. Most of the cities were reduced to ruins in an instant. When the two sisters were preparing to counterattack, they found themselves actually trapped here. This is the space lockdown of Unit 003. It can compress space into a plane. Just as Unit 003 thought it was over, they directly broke through the space blockade, kicking Unit 003 with full force. When I'm angry, when mecha warriors fight against cultivators, how intense would that battle be? He then made a large hand gesture with one palm. A terrifying energy burst out instantly. Half the city was instantly reduced to ruins. The two girls were even trapped in your spatial dimensions. Number 003 was just about to start showing off. Anan rushed out and gave him a kick directly. Then she rushed back towards number 003 again. Seeing this, number 003 hurriedly used the fourth-dimensional space. The two were instantly trapped within. He was about to start delivering his victory speech. But you idiot, your head was hit by a stone thrown by your companion. When are you going to stop being so otaku/cosplay crazy? Don't you look around to see if anyone is around when you're going to use your ultimate move? Turned his head to look back. Discovered that the two girls before were actually stand-ins, still stuck with the words sand sculpt on it, and the two of them have already run far away. I didn't expect it to be this stupid. After I succeed in becoming a disciple, I have to reclaim my dignity and the sacrifice of the hyper-ancient hero. Also drew everyone's attention. The Rainbow Squad members were shocked. 001 is way more impressive than you are, 001 thought. It immediately didn't agree. Back then, I could dominate them and humiliate them mercilessly. Just then, he seemed to sense something, immediately flew towards the distance. And these are exactly the two mechs from just now. Big brother, long time no see. You're really too weak now. Heard from the core, there's a suppression eviction technique beyond SSS rank on Earth. Even the core that can predict the future doesn't know about it. Hearing that, number 001 suddenly had an idea. You're talking about the Cultivation Academy, right? But I advise you not to provoke him, otherwise not even a single screw will be left. After they left, Xiaohei asked, what is the core? Something that can stop time, an intelligent computer that can predict the future. Everyone was shocked to hear this. Turns out it's so powerful. But you're still quite considerate, warning them not to provoke that psychopath. And I wouldn't say it like this if 001 Hao Ze didn't say it. They probably won't go anyway. Now, they're doomed. Hearing this, the five people shivered in fear. The other side. The two sisters are furious because they failed to become apprentices. The two little monsters only heard you said it early on. As a 20-year-old worker, competing for job positions is my profession. The simplest and most efficient method is to give. Give it to the people around him. Let them open doors for him behind his back. The two girls arrived at the Cultivation Academy that day. Everyone saw them and were thoroughly alarmed. At this moment, they took out two extremely large storage bags, with weapons and prisoners written on them. This really threw everyone for a loop. In this way, several people fully armed arrived at the entrance of Yen Sen's dormitory. Teacher Yen Sen, Sister Han has been in the dormitory for a long time. Hearing this, Ran Zihao scolded. It's inappropriate to eavesdrop on elders' conversations. However, the next second, he started listening with a stethoscope. How hard these two big demons can work to become apprentices. He directly took out all his belongings. While the few who accepted benefits from others naturally had to speak on behalf of others. Upon arrival, they saw Lu Xiaolu and his brother eavesdropping. Teacher Yen Sen and Sister Lan were inside for a long time and didn't come out at all. The moment they heard about such matters, how could they possibly miss it? So they all stuck to the door to eavesdrop. When Lan's sister made a strange sound, the others listened with increasing interest. As a result, an awkward situation occurred. The door collapsed under their weight. Upon closer inspection, they found Yen Sen holding a knife, engaged in something unspeakable. At this moment, Lan's sister asked, "What have you learned?" "There is a strange magnetic field in this universe. Your bodies can communicate with this field to gain power." After saying that, a flame appeared in Yen Sen's hand. Then another hand produced water. Everyone present was stunned by this scene. These are opposing attributes after all. However, the next second, Yen Sen gave them a demonstration of laser eyes. Directly, they were so shocked that they couldn't say anything. Then he asked several people, "What brings you to find me?" Several people awkwardly smiled at the matter of the great demon. Hearing those words, Yen Sen asked casually, "Did you guys accept a gift from someone?" "There's no such thing. We just took a little bit." "A little bit is still a little bit." Yen Sen could tell right away that they must have received quite a few. So he let them come to find him. In this way, these two big demons came before Yen Sen to become his disciples. Since the disciples had already been taken in by Yen Sen, it wasn't easy for him to refuse. So first, they were made to serve as guardian divine beasts of the sect. On the other side, several mechanical dinosaurs were blaming each other. This left the green dinosaur on the side quite helpless. What a bunch of useless teammates. Just then, the core interrupted them. Every 100 years is the day when solar nuclear fusion is strongest. Then you can unleash powerful strength. 2 weeks later, we will send those dregs from another world back home. Even the king vampire was saved by his companion. He knows he will eventually be caught sooner or later, so decided to find ancient vampire Hob family's help. So they arrived in a desert. As the incantation was recited, a portal appeared above them. After coming in, I found that it was actually a forest. At this moment, they found a few people playing beach volleyball, and those people were actually all vampires. What shocked him was, this group didn't even fear the sun. After learning they were fellow outsiders, they decided to take them to Hob. And from their conversation, they discovered, this place is actually an entirely new world. This is a world where everyone is a vampire. Or, it's ridiculous that all the vampires here are called Hob. This really gives us a shock. Your names are all the same. My name reads 607,356,000 times. His name reads 6,073,560,001 times. The more they listen, the more shocking it is. So, where do the people come from who write here? We don't drink human blood. Drinking too much of that stuff will cause problems. It will also lower our abilities. Idiots drink that stuff. We all drink animal blood. And from the conversation, he found out the vampires of this world. Surprisingly, you even know about those mechs, dinosaurs, and in ancient times they wanted to eliminate vampires, but they failed to do so in the end. Both sides reached an agreement, returning to their own worlds without invading each other. But it's great that you managed to survive and escape from them. Their big brother, 001, is quite impressive, but he is a tough guy who can single-handedly challenge 5 Hober elders. Just like that, several people decided to take them to the Three Palms vampire's old home. After all, he could predict the future as a vampire. Upon arriving at the Three Palms' old home, they immediately told him about the situation. As soon as Three Palms started reciting the incantation with his mouth, the crystal ball in his hand began to glow. After a while, he was extremely excited. Their big brother, 001, has already broken with them. That 001 is now so weak, it's pathetic. And we don't even have to intervene. Not a single screw will remain with them. At this moment, he seems to have predicted something terrifying again. The scene changes. Third Elder returned to his peaceful little house. The crowd below weeps with tears like pear blossoms. Third Elder, you're at least a ghost. How can you just say die and be dead? And besides, we haven't even started the battle yet. This one just fell off now. At the funeral of the Third Elder, a white-haired man appears before everyone. And he is the vampire who created this world. Did the 3 senior elders of the country leave anything behind? Then he took out one that read, Cultivation, the old and dilapidated school. That person understood immediately upon looking. Our world has only one cultivation academy. He should be the one they're talking about. Vampires heard that and decided to avenge the Third Elder funeral ended. The Great Elder asked, what exactly happened? You can't possibly not know who he is. That world dwells a deity. Hearing this, the Great Elder was stunned. While Yansen was still drinking tea at home, he didn't know yet. Sit quietly in your own house. A pot falls from the sky. On and Ning Ning are guarding the gate. It's really so tight that not even a fly can get in. On the other side, a large number of vampires have already arrived in this world. The core also sensed the appearance of the vampires at this time, so ordered the dinosaurs to deal with them first. If you ask what the common goal of all the villains is, of course, it's about ruling the world. And this vampire king who said that phrase got a big ass slap directly. Can't you have some ambition for once? What era is this? You guys still thinking about ruling the world? It's your due to be the villain and keep getting beaten up. Of course we should be doing class teaching. Let our system spread throughout the world. Let people from all over the world believe in us. Vampire great family. A few days later, 2 little monsters rushed over hurriedly. Is Sir Giku Nake shopping for groceries being robbed? Hearing this, both of them immediately got worried. I have to hurry up, my younger brother. I think they've had their fill of living. And at this moment, Gogu Nakia was bound hand and foot. There was a group of vampires lurking nearby. At this moment, the 2 walked over. 4 people saw, and immediately, drink what Haber prepared for you, drink it, and then charged directly up. Still, it was killed in one hit. Those 4 fools were already acting before the drug took effect. How could that be possible? Seeing the 4 unlucky ones being defeated, the other vampires could only start a group battle. Although they are many in number, they still aren't their 2 sisters' match. The 4 young men, seeing this, can only go up themselves. But they were all solved with one move in the next second. His hair wasn't even fully grown yet, trying to fight like others. Just then, the vampire that was knocked down stood back up again. They all hugged together and tightly surrounded the 2 sisters. In the next second, they pressed against the sword energy. All the vampires were resolved. Just then, the 4 people Cole needed felt a powerful force. Just as they thought they could avenge their previous humiliation, clearly, with one sword strike, the 4 were sent flying far away, not even leaving any underwear behind. The 4 youths saw this and panicked terribly. This time, it hit the stainless steel plate. Just as the 2 decided to give them a lesson, Hobo made his move then. He spread his large hand. The 2 instantly felt a strong micro-pressure. As his palm clenched, a portal appeared in the sky, drawing them inside. In this way, the 2 girls were easily controlled. To frame the mechanical dinosaurs for this incident, they took what they lost during their last battle. 7 was thrown onto the scene, so this 7 times Cultivation Academy person picked it up. Yansen saw it, and his expression instantly became serious. Everyone else could tell something big was about to happen, so they hurriedly tried to calm him down. Looking at the whole world, the only things that could handle them were those few super-ancient mechs. Yansen said he would be back in 10 minutes immediately. Lan Chichi stopped him the moment she saw this. But Yansen showed a kind gaze. He said it was just going for a walk. You think I look like someone who would kill someone just because they disagreed? A whole family of killers? How could Lan Chichi possibly believe his nonsense? Your murderous intent is clearly written on your face. You don't think I'm the type to kill someone over a disagreement? Everyone in the family saying these words still showed a kind gaze. How could anyone else possibly believe his nonsense? If you really go ahead and do it, that will have a great impact on your reconstruction of the sect, ancient hero. You've saved this world countless times. Now they stand on the side of justice. At the very least, you can't represent the Cultivation Academy. Just act now. And thus Yenshen arrived at the Ninja Academy. The members of the Rainbow Squad panicked upon seeing this. Although those few super ancients belong to the Ninja Academy, this has nothing to do with Ludzo and them anyway. The solar nuclear fusion at this time has already reached the highest index. First, resolve the Haber family's issue. Then send those people from another world back home. Just as the mechanical dinosaurs rushed towards the vampires, 001 blocked their path. After learning that 001 was here to fight them, they didn't say a word and directly transformed, asking you this. Are those two people from Cultivation Immortality Academy that you captured? So what if we did? So what if we didn't? True men never explain. Hearing these words, 001 understood. It seems they didn't do this, and the next second he actually took on the role of Old Six, shouting loudly from afar, Yen-sen! It was them who did it! Kill them quickly! By the time Yen-sen found the murderer, he was already so angry that his whole body was trembling. When he picked up the number 001 transformation device and transformed, number 001 actually changed its appearance. Brothers, our big brother is back! At this moment, the mechs started to panic. Yen-sen looked at the genuine leather seats and exclaimed how high-end they were. The members of the Rainbow Squad weren't happy upon hearing that. Why didn't we have genuine leather seats when we sat down? The red mech told everyone not to be scared. Even if he has recovered his strength, so what? We didn't just sit around for these few hundred years. The moment the words were out, number 001 punched him. The man flew out right there. Flying into space, even the moon was pierced through. Finally, he was firmly pinned to Mars. But this wasn't over yet. As expected, number 001 pulled out a long sword. With one swing of the sword, the moon and Mars looked like dumplings kicked up. The onlookers exclaimed, wow! As the blue mecha wanted to say something, it suddenly felt a chill down its back. Turning around, Discovery 001 has already arrived behind him. At this moment, he was in a panic. Our distance is at least several hundred kilometers. How could there be no sound at all? The next moment, he flew out directly. Following that, number 001 arrived in the air holding a scene. Seeing this, the other mecha decided to unite. They gathered their strength together, using absolute defense. Instantly, a barrier formed from flames, surrounding them completely. At this moment, number 1 raised their hand and used the Scene Immortal technique to split heaven. An extremely terrifying energy burst out instantly. It descended with an irresistible momentum. Cultivators activate the high gear. How powerful can that strength be? A step down and everything else is instantly knocked out of the universe. That force could directly pierce through the moon. Even more outrageous was, this Gundam can actually use Cultivator's immortal techniques. It's literally so badass it's unbelievable. With one strike, those 5 Gundams were as useless as trash, easily defeated with no effort at all. The Earth was thus greatly affected by this. After resolving them, the core issue arose. As the core began to activate, 5 Gundam units rapidly moved towards the core fusion. Finally, they merged into a colossal entity. The sunlight was obscured by his massive form, and supported by the strict forest stand 001 remained completely unfazed. Surprisingly, also transformed into a colossal entity. Earth appeared like a toy before them. As both sides simultaneously activated their powers, a single strike. 2 terrifying energies collided in space, producing a violent explosion, instantly raised Earth's temperature. The vast ice caps, originally at the North Pole, became dry instantly. Even tsunamis appeared in the desert. Both parties chased each other through the cosmos. Just then, the core turned into a giant rabbit, while Unit 001 pulled back a longbow and used divine techniques. But right at this critical moment, the screen suddenly went blank. This really pissed off the spectators quite a bit. It turns out it was the vampires who did this. Not only did they pull out the network cable, but they even grabbed the host. Everything proceeded according to plan. The words barely fell from his mouth. Countless vampires broke into strangers' homes, abducting all the children. From today on, you are part of the Vampire Academy. And this matter was guided by the Alliance. So all heroes were immediately ordered to stop them. And due to the disappearance of a divine beast from the Cultivation Academy, they locked their doors because they were afraid of being mistakenly killed. The person heard it and was instantly furious on the spot. And those vampires are also Old Sixes. When those heroes locked themselves in, they added another lock. Now the heroes can't come out at all. Just as they thought their plan would succeed immediately, the students from the 3 academies blocked them then. The people from the Cultivation Academy decided to stay inside and defend the home. Facing these 3 academies, vampires show no interest in them. A vampire girl steps forward. The Ninja Academy class president just made a move and was sent flying by the girl's punch. As the lipid domain opened up, the other's blood seemed to stop flowing, unable to move. The 3 academies were directly wiped out in no time. But who knew they ended up at the Cultivation Academy again? At this moment, Wu Mengqi shattered the water cup. With a grand gesture, the water shot off like a sword towards the distance. Wherever it went, even tall buildings could be split in half. Their leader Xiao Wu directly fell victim to it. The others couldn't stay calm upon seeing this class president has become so damn awesome. When the people from the Alliance found out they targeted Cultivation Academy, they instantly felt at ease. Look how arrogant this blonde is, coming to someone else's door and directly calling for a beating. Such demands. As a model youth, he would definitely satisfy him. With one kick, he sent him flying. He only realized the danger a second later. At the critical moment, Sun Xiaolu acted in time. Just as they were about to try again, a splash of oil and water flew towards him, instantly pinning him against the wall. Wu Mengqi was surrounded by countless droplets of water. You've come to the wrong place. While the vampires paid it no mind, Wu Mengqi, seeing this, covered her eyes. It seems he's preparing the salt forest technique, the move he was given. Sun Xiaolu, seeing this, activated the vermilion sand array. Instantly, a massive array appeared, enveloping the entire city. Vampires have never seen such a thing in their lives. They've grown so big. At that moment, countless swords flew out from the array. They were instantly pierced like porcupines. The yellow-haired one is very bullfook at me. You're not that great either. Sun Xiaolu got excited upon hearing this. Your mouth seems quite firm. Then he released Qi-Hai language, the second stage of Dragon Duke. A luminous sphere like the sun appeared in his hand. The whole blonde-haired girl was stunned on the spot. Just as Sun Xiaolu initiated her attack, the white-haired girl immediately pushed away the blonde-haired girl, followed by a loud boom. A loud explosion can be heard from afar. The guy with yellow hair dropped his jaw at this power. Just as I thought I got rid of one shit problem, unexpectedly this happened. Before, the girl with white hair was reduced to nothing by being blasted. Surprisingly, it's starting to recover in mid-air. Everyone saw the shocked expression on his face in the future, and the yellow-haired one chuckled. Little Seven's recovery speed, but it's several hundred times better than ours. At this moment, the white-haired one suddenly launched an attack. Both parties instantly became evenly matched. Soon enough, Sun Xiaolu was pressed by the other party. At this time, the yellow-haired one was extremely pleased. You guys can't do it, right? Xiao Li is even more powerful than Xiao Qi. Your class president is probably currently in a tough battle. As he finished speaking, there was a loud noise from afar. Turned to look, Xiao Li was pinned firmly against the wall. Huang Mao was now utterly shocked, only to see Wu Mengqi blindfolded standing in midair above the sky. At this moment, he suddenly moved. His figure darted back and forth among the vampires. In an instant, they all suffered heavy blows. Following that, he readied himself to draw his sword. With one swing of the blade, the city within 100 miles was flattened by him. The onlookers who witnessed this scene had already grown accustomed to it. Following that, Wu Mengqi flashed into the space, arriving in the expanse of space holding her sword, ready to strike. The vampires also sensed something amiss at this moment, but their escape was too late. As Wu Mengqi slashed with one sword, their genes were all shattered to pieces. Instantly, they completely vanished from this world. When a younger brother comprehends the suggestion of how powerful it can be, a light wave and the city was severed in half. Everywhere he went, not a single shred remained. With one sword slash, the originally healthy and alive person disappeared on the spot. Right there, after solving it, he casually took off his eye mask. Ren Zihao and Lian Bing saw this scene. Instant template. This sword technique is too amazing. Sun Xiaolu is also the class president for the I Ching technique. Surprisingly, it was released. Both of them were shocked upon hearing this. You know this law? Sun Xiaolu heard those words and got extremely angry. Don't you all go to the library pavilion to see it? The Grand Elder of Vampires also looked shocked after seeing this. Damn, what kind of sword technique is this? At this moment, Huo Bo clenched his hand. Originally, only scraps were left from those cut by Wu Mengqi, but they suddenly fully revived right where they stood in an instant. Everyone was shocked by this scene. Wu Mengqi's expression was one of disbelief. Watching as they all revived right where they stood, Wu Mengqi decided to cut them down again, and they would not give her this chance again. They immediately launched an attack on Wu Mengqi. At the same time, in outer space, the Core and Unit 001 had completed their charging. In the next second, both sides launched an attack simultaneously, followed by a loud boom. The explosion's light directly engulfed everyone. In space, was even blasted into creating a wormhole by this powerful force. After everything settled down, the core had already shattered. At this moment, Yan Shen, directly detached from Unit 001, asked the mech where our sex divine beast was. Hearing that, the mech was also quite upset. I know nothing about it. It wasn't me who did this. At this moment, the blue mech said that apart from us, the Hober family could also take them away. Upon hearing this, Yan Sen didn't hesitate and flew towards Earth. After arriving on Earth, he instantly broke through the world barrier, appeared in front of Hob, managed to instantly pass through so many mirrors. Arrived here. Is this what a deity is like? I'll give you 3 minutes to return the divine beast to me, otherwise I'll tear apart your world. Hearing these words, the senior elder immediately used spatial displacement. Yan Sen appeared in space instantly. Then all 4 elders gathered together. Vampire hunters find intruders and launch an attack. And at this moment, Yan Sen slowly extended a finger. As his finger descended, a terrifying sword energy slashed towards that planet. The entire planet was instantly pierced by the sword energy. Wherever the sword energy went, all vampires vanished into thin air. Sorry about that. 3 minutes have ended. Several people were shocked by this scene. This hopper looks so beautiful at $6 billion. At this moment, only the castle was intact on the entire planet. Oh, great deity, it is my greatest honor to be able to duel with you. How strong is this man? Destroying a planet only takes a gentle flick of the finger. With one flick, a sword energy of spiritual power quickly shoots towards the planet. The entire planet is instantly pierced through. Even the people on the planet are directly reduced to ashes. However, his opponent is no slouch either. As he exerts his strength, the planet started to recover like a divine artifact. It recovered perfectly in no time at all. But that's not the end of it. The sky kept flashing with red light. The vampires that were previously reduced to ashes and smoke actually revived completely. Even facing 60 billion vampires, Yao Sen was still not at all anxious. As his large hand waved, the sky instantly became overcast with dark clouds. Not long after, a steady rain began to fall. The earth's soil reacted at this moment, slowly transforming into human shapes. Before long, they turned into cultivators one by one, and these cultivators were actually all at the Immortal Realm stage. Seeing this scene, everyone present was left speechless. Blue Eye started chatting about gossip. You know, that pretty lady next to the teacher. Could she be the disciple the teacher mentioned? With Huobo's command, all 6 billion vampires rushed over. The power of those cultivators should not be underestimated. Just with a casual wave of his pen, a large group of vampires were trapped in the inkwash painting. As the piano music continued to play, another group of vampires exploded on the spot. At the moment the chess piece fell down, the whole world seemed to freeze. They were trapped and unable to move. And that preaching disciple then used a familiar move. With one click, innumerable vampires vanished on the spot. Even the vampire's planet was split in half. Seeing this scene, everyone was stunned into silence. However, despite this, Hober still didn't give up. As his ability activated, the planet that was split began to repair itself. Before, the vampires who died in battle are starting to resurrect again. He knew he wasn't the match for Yan Sen. Above the creator are the deities. But no one had ever reached or seen them. And only the creator could touch the deities. To prove to the deities that he was not a mere ant, so he acted like a moth drawn to flame, surrendering his own life. He had long made up his mind to die. We can see Hober continuously building up his power. The whole person flew out like a cannonball. Then he gave Yen-sen a heavy punch, directly sent Yen-sen flying into the universe, then launched several attacks against Yen-sen again, but were all avoided by Yen-sen, one by one. Just then the cultivators seemed to sense something. They all instantly vanished from their spots. The scene keeps zooming in, starting with the entire planet, then comes the Milky Way, finally the entire universe. And all of it is just like toys, held in the palm of Yen-sen. This is a man who can string planets together. A gentle wave of his hand, the entire planet, is as if it were picked up like a meatball. But this isn't even his true strength. A tight grip of his palm, the whole universe, like a toy, is held in the palm of his hand. Just that light squeeze, the entire universe was destroyed by him in an instant. At this moment, Hob understood how insignificant he was before the gods. The great devil resides in a small world to the north. The senior elder knew about that place. Just as Yen-sen was about to leave, he asked, "Did you use your power for that technique just now?" "Less than 1/1000th, he smiled slightly. "You are not a deity, you are stronger than a deity. Once you say that, the whole person turns into a mummy. The senior brothers and sisters created by Yen-shen have come before them. Looking at their junior brothers and sisters, they are also generous. One after another, they share their cultivation insights. Gave it to them while Yen-sen also handed over his cultivation world drawing. They were given the world he drew for them. Upon receiving the drawing, they were extremely excited, and thus, everyone entered the world within the drawing. At this moment, the great ancestor had a completely baffled expression. How am I still alive? When he saw Yen-sen, he was so shocked that, "Your boss is still alive just like this." The great elder brought Yen-sen to a castle. "If you come any later, I'll send them back home. These two guys are really voracious eaters, and whenever we say a word to them, they immediately start dismantling the place. One day, to eat 60 billion Hobbs food supply for a month. We can't afford to raise you anymore. Take it and leave quickly." Hearing those words, Yen-sen was speechless. After seeing Yen-sen, the two followed closely, eager and excited, even remembered to take leftovers before leaving. So, everything returned to normal. The city, once destroyed, began reconstruction again. And again, Wandering Soul suffered a lifelong disability and started breathing oxygen. The big demon, always mooching off others for food and shelter, didn't know how to return home, received a severe punishment from Yen-sen. Guo Mengqi won every battle effortlessly along the way. They began farming again, and the ancient heroes didn't have it so easy, because the moon was fixed above Mars. So they had to pull the moon back. But pulling the moon back would take a lot of time to make up for the ecological impact of lacking the moon on Earth. So they had to do the work that the moon usually does. And there's something interesting at the core, because a wormhole was created when both parties fired at each other with particles. So the core has to use its own buttocks to block the wormhole. And the Haber family also joined Earth. Lying on the hospital bed, became a second-tier, god-level superhero. A cultivator traveled to the world of superpower heroes. It's already outrageous. More outrageous is, this world of superpowers actually has Gundam. There's already tall enough. Now they've brought in a dwarf race. Only seeing them riding their beloved little wild boars, charging aggressively towards the vampire world. At this moment, Haber has already passed out. So facing the invasion of dwarves, vampires retreated one by one. Just as the dwarf leader turned into a mummy after seeing Haber's fate, with a slight smile, immediately launched an attack on everyone. At this critical moment, an invisible subtle pressure approached the dwarves directly, causing him to collapse and suffer severe injuries. Not living up to my expectations as a powerhouse on par with the creator. Even lying on the board, there's still such powerful strength. Then, the senior elder began to recount Haber's words. "Go back and tell your king. Since we are all mummies, let's stop mocking each other. Then you have brought my clan's divine relics into play. Map fragment." Hearing these words, second elder didn't say a word and gave it to him. "We hobo. We no longer need him now." The scene changed. Sitting on a throne was a dwarf mummy. He remained motionless, unknown if he was alive or dead. King Adam, you guessed right. That vampire king was also a mummy. We already have the fragment of the map to the divine ruins. The remaining two are in the hands of the orcs and elves. Should we seize them now? Just then, the mummy suddenly moved. Don't rush. We must ensure absolute safety when dealing with them. I'll say that once I've recovered all my strength. It turns out, besides the vampires, there are also elves, dwarves, and orcs, the three creators of existence, commonly known as the three dry bones of the chaotic world. After Haber became a creator back then, he didn't spare their worlds when causing trouble, so they now hate vampires to the core. Facing such a behavior from Haber, who takes advantage of your misfortune to take everything you have, the king of dwarves could finally no longer bear it, gave a fragment of a map to Haber, addressing him as if he were a deity. Face the dwarf king during the Golden Age. Hobo in his prime was not an opponent, and after recovering they definitely won't spare us. Hearing that, several people began to panic. At the same time, with the dwarf king, he turned Hob into a mummy. Told the elf king and beastman king like that. Each party was plotting their own little schemes. The scene also switched to the one held every 5 years, when the school is recruiting students. Top-ranked Cultivation Academy, originally thought to be very popular, but nobody bothered to respond. The Cultivation Academy sure is intense, but the threshold for that is too high. I don't want my child to be 30 years old, still copying the sect rules. The college admissions are set to begin every 5 years soon. However, not a single person was willing to go to the Cultivation Academy. After all, who doesn't want what's best for their own child? Still copying the code of conduct at 30 years old? Under Master Yen Sen's guidance, everyone is constantly making progress. Only Ren Zihao and Lan Bing could get away with it every day by fishing in troubled waters. When they were called to Yen Sen's office, they were in a panic. Hearing that, the two of them were immediately anxious. You guys haven't been studying hard lately, and you're not turning in your homework. Are you itching again? Hearing this, both of them were instantly worried. We didn't turn in our homework because we weren't slacking off. We were researching a completely new training method. But Yen Sen's single sentence directly shattered their hopes. In terms of cultivating talismans and refining qi, your natural talents are utterly lacking. Do you really yearn for power so much? Hearing these words, the two couldn't help shedding sorrowful tears. Previously, we were representatives of combat power. Now we have to bring 2 bodyguards when going out. Actually, you're not weak either. As long as you fuse, you'll be stronger than the class president. Just hearing about fusion made them think of something. Then they instantly got angry. And I would rather starve to death. Jump down from here and never fuse with this ugly bastard. This Yen Sen has me speechless. I didn't mean it like this. This really scared the two of them. A false alarm almost gave us a heart attack. At this moment, Yen Sen unfolded a scroll. Then he gave the two of them 2 skills to use when encountering danger. They didn't understand what this meant. The next second, they were sucked into the painting. Ranzi fell into the magic world, and Lan Bing fell into the ghost realm. He was so panic-stricken when he first arrived in the magic world. At this moment, he remembered the pouch Yen Sen gave him. But who would have thought? It said to open it when you're in danger. Didn't you understand? This guy just got a lot stronger all of a sudden. Do I not have a contingency plan? At this moment, Yen Sen was calling Chen Kusan to refine the elixir. Refining the elixir can't just be about reading books. You need to use your brain. Think about the different effects brought by different spirit herbs. And Chen Kusan said she knew that, but my brain can't handle it lately. To refine the body for some divine beasts, they treat the pills like beans. They have to eat dozens of pounds a day. I'm the only one in the class who refines pills. I'm like an unemotional pill refining machine. Hearing this, Yen Sen found it reasonable. Do you have any other wishes? He became instantly interested upon hearing that. This gave Yen Sen a bad feeling right away. And so, Yen Sen brought him to the amusement park for a whole day. They had an absolute blast playing around. But what Yen Sen didn't expect was, the improvement turned out to be so noticeable. Do you know how competitive this year's academy admissions were? Magic Academy directly received military supplies. Aircraft and tanks were available in abundance. And Vampire Academy was even more outrageous. Do you want to gain powerful strength without effort? Then this Haber serum is worth having for you. Superman Academy was simply eye-popping. Showed off muscles on stage. Just now, Wu Mengqi gave the alliance surname to Yen Sen. Couldn't you just call directly? Hearing those words, Wu Mengqi said that, "Teacher, you've become fashionable." Upon opening it, it was the joint summer outing. It turns out that during each enrollment period, there would be a summer outing event, and this time it was our college's turn. For the train tickets, at this moment, the dwarves have secretly arrived on Earth. They came here to steal something, but they didn't expect. The beastmen had the same idea, and they even brought professional equipment. Just as he was hailing a taxi, little brother suddenly felt an urgent need to urinate. At this moment, one hand covered his eyes. Who am I guessing? But he doesn't know that. His equipment has been stolen by someone. After everyone left, that's when he realized his equipment was gone. Piss on your lung. And those two were actually elves disguised as them. At this year's recruitment conference, Wu Mengqi and the other two were stunned on the spot. Are they really here to recruit students? The ground is covered in tanks densely. There are still planes circling in the sky. Brother, are you, because of insufficient firepower? So you can't sleep at night? Just don't think too much and sign up with us for the Magic Academy. We have 24-hour global satellite positioning at the law school. There is a comprehensive 3-in-1 approach to informatization and strikes. You don't need to study hard for that. Just arrive and you'll get a replacement Type 90 main battle tank, stealth bombers, as well as strategic nuclear submarines and various other weapons. Brother, if you want to gain powerful strength without effort, then you deserve this Haber serum. DJ's vampire is very troublesome when it fears the sun. Brothers should open up their mindset. We also gave them vampire sunscreen. They were both anxious at that time. Are all of you thinking about gaining without effort? While the Ninja Academy is more reliable, our Ninja Academy, come and get ultra-ancient hero figurines for free. It has all kinds of styles and can even transform. The Superhero Academy is particularly eye-catching. Men, come to my Superhero Academy. They looked at it until they bled through their 7 orifices, right in the middle of several academies, while they were busily recruiting students. The Cultivation Academy, it's as if it has been banished to cold storage. Just then, the 2 brothers Lu Xiaolu arrived. Carry everything up and take a look around. Sign up and get free medicinal pills. The Immortal Cultivation Academy's specially made longevity pill. Eat one and live 30 years longer. This was originally just a regular academy recruitment event. But who would have thought the recruitment for the academy ended up like this? The Magic Academy started giving out airplanes and tanks. Vampire Academy directly delivers Haber serum. Like other academies, 1 vial per student. The Cultivation Academy has no competitive edge at all. At the critical moment, Lu Xiaolu and his brother arrive. Walk around and take a look. Sign up and get medicinal pills for free. The Cultivation Academy's specially made longevity pill. Eat one and live 30 years longer. Others from other academies were shocked. Are you still worried about immortality and longevity? Or perhaps it's the loss of a parent by their child. Then apply to our Cultivation Academy. I'm not signing up as Song Yimei now. Instead, I'll send your whole family. And I specially found an auntie for the experiment. The auntie ate. After going, she instantly turned into a beautiful lady. The people from other academies saw this. They directly dropped their jaws in shock. You guys from the Cultivation Academy are overdoing it. With that, everyone rushed to the Cultivation Academy to sign up. No need to rush, no need to rush. One by one, each person bringing a companion. Simultaneously, within the realm of demons, Ran Zhaohao hugs Da Shuhuang's group. Aren't you the beautifier? You just turned into a demon. Go up and deal with them. Who knew he was so cowardly? I'm scared. I want to go home. Yan Shenzhong was speechless. In the end, he decided to let him die on his own. Seeing Yan Shenzhong so angry like this, the senior brothers quickly stepped in to mediate. 2 younger disciples are still young in age. There's still a lot of room for improvement. Change this to make a day outside equal 10 years inside. The on-site recruitment conference was bustling with activity. Even the 2 academies nearly fell out over poaching. And the big boss makes a move. The Magic Academy at night, 2 dwarves sneaked in secretly. They came to steal the elixir of immortality. It is said that this world has 2 super ancient heroes. The White Robe Mage and the Black Robe Mage founded this academy. In ancient times, they relied on immortality to dominate the chaotic world. More powerful than the creator. It is said. The formula for the immortal elixir is right here in this academy. The beasts have also arrived at the Magic Academy at this time. But they don't know that. The elves have already gotten there first. And they had already obtained the formula for the immortal elixir long ago. Who would have thought that when they came out, it turned out to be like this? They quickly handed over the formula. But who knew that the elves actually disappeared on the spot and pretended to be a student at the Magic Academy? The dwarves and orcs were frantically searching. At this moment, they saw the Grand Mage. The 2 of them hurriedly knelt down to beg for mercy. See that pile of shit in front of you? Lick it clean. Just as the 2 were about to lick it, suddenly, the orc had a flash of inspiration. The identity of the Great Mage is how exalted. How could it possibly let our Xiao Bei lick the fairy sword? If discovered, they would immediately slip away. The 2 immediately chased after them. I never expected the elves to mix into the crowd unexpectedly. Look at how busy the girls from the Magic Academy are. Directly pulled out a Gatling gun from their crotch. The 2 fairy girls who sneaked in were stunned, just like that. They followed the main group to the Cultivation Academy. The short man and skinny guy also joined up. When they saw the Ninja Academy and Superhero Academy, they instantly had an idea. They disguised themselves and sneaked in, just like that. Several people all blended into the group of the field trip, just stepped in and saw those 2 ravenous big demons. This really scared the fairy girl a lot, because these 2 big demons are actually monarch-level powerhouses. If that's the case, then there must be an even more powerful figure here. The dwarves and orcs also noticed those 2 big demons at this time, but now they can't go back anymore. Then, Wu Mangqi led everyone into the Heavenly Deity Sect, only to see that the entire Heavenly Deity Sect was built in the sky. The buildings were tall and majestic, splendid and magnificent, like a fairyland on Earth. This left all the people from other academies speechless. I feel like our academy is just like a cave dwelling. Just then, Yan Sen made an appearance. Since everyone is here, let's begin then. After saying that, he opened a painting. Because I accidentally added a few extra strokes, so the world inside is slightly larger by a tiny bit. Wu Mangqi and the other looked utterly unhappy. Just reminding you all, I won't be responsible if anything happens inside. Everyone was shocked to hear that. Thus, everyone was forcibly pulled into the painting. Upon entering, they found tall buildings surrounding them. All were ancient-style traditional structures. There were merchants selling animal hides and elixirs, and there were girls calling out for customers on the upper floors. Everyone was speechless at this scene. And Yan Sen already brought Anan and Ningning to this world. From Xiao he learned about the world. There are a total of 6 immortal families in this world. As long as you pass the admission by the Immortal Sect, could become a disciple of a cultivator. From here, soaring to the heavens. It's just that a wealthy young master is harassing a beautiful lady. Yan Sen couldn't stand it and acted directly. The face of the wealthy young man was directly cut. How could this wealthy young heir bear to endure it? You have to make things difficult for Yun right from the start. Seon knows what dangers lie in the world of martial arts. The waiter saw and quickly stopped him, then pointed at the paper table. Only half of the water glass is left on the table, but in this way, the water still suspends in the cup. The wealthy young master was panic-stricken upon seeing this. At this moment, Yan-sen asked, "What does it mean for the Zhenghu to be treacherous?" Only then did he realize he had encountered a tough opponent. Behind him were two big demons in disguise, always ready for a fight. The wealthy young master said some tough words and left immediately. Scared to run as soon as I stepped out the door. When a group of people with superpowers arrive in the cultivation world, what mischief will they cause this time? We can see the class leader holding cash, walking with that confident stride. Show the money to uncle's wife's younger sister. The small waiter threw the money directly. We want snacks. Snacks are those blue glowing stones. At this moment, Wu Mengqi and the other two were smoking like chimneys. Who brings that stuff when they go out? I wish I had known to sneak a few tons from the master's room earlier. Just then, Chen Kusan took out an elixir pill, asking if this would work. The waiter picked it up and examined it closely. This longevity pill is of such high quality. Then he took out a basket full of them. If that's not enough, I have more here. It almost gave the waiter a heart attack. That's enough, that's enough. One will do, right here. A handsome young man appeared. He immediately started hitting it up with Wu Mengqi, the two of them. The two girls couldn't help blushing a little. They really can't resist handsome guys, huh? Do you have the right to say that to us? This makes An a bit speechless. Anyway, we're not Yang Kun, right? How did the king of monsters die? After chatting, they found out his name is Ye Jingren. Then he greeted Yan-sen from afar again. This brother looks pretty idle. I wonder what his cultivation is. This whole Yan-sen seems a bit speechless. Then, he burst into the peak realm of training. The three who sneaked in heard their words. They had expressions of confusion on their faces. In the following few days, night scene. People go crazy brushing in front of two girls. This really touches him. Yan-sen is truly upset about this. And they also said to open the oil when pouring water. This whole Wu Mengqi is blushing shyly. Yan-sen's face turned black instantly. Seeing An's condition, she hurriedly asked him to calm down. While pouring the wine, she managed to slip in the drug. Although they discovered it, they did not stop it. This wine is the store's signature drink. Drinking it can have beautifying effects. Then he came in front of Yan-sen, whispered to him, "Brother, I think you've already noticed it. After the matter is done, how about each of us getting one?" Only after Yan-sen agreed did he feel at ease. The trio learned that this wine had beautifying effects. Blow into the bottle directly. The two stumbled back to their room at night. They fell asleep as soon as they entered the house, unconscious. The trio who drank too much noticed something amiss at this time. There was poison in that wine. By now, Nightview and others had been waiting for a long time. At this moment, Wu Mengqi sensed danger, picked up the sword and charged out. The small scraps that charged at him were easily dealt with. Sun Xiaolu also woke up at this time. See how skilled this guy is at dying recklessly? Not only with yin, touched my two sisters in front of me, even drugged up the two sisters for me. At night, they still launched a surprise attack when both of us were sleeping. Fortunately, they discovered in time. "Young Master Ye, what are you doing? Isn't that obvious?" This really angered Sun Xiaolu and the other two quite a bit. "You scoundrel who deceives people's feelings, you're doomed." Finished with that, countless sword meanings fell down. The people from other academies were just about to help, but they didn't expect the poison to activate. Yan-sen fell down, pretending to be poisoned upon seeing the situation. An saw it and acted as if nothing happened. I'm quite curious how you two aren't affected by this potent poison. In the next second, both of them actually vomited out the poisonous wine. Nighttime people don't pretend anymore at this time. Directly worship the god of love yourself. The power of countering lies erupted. Even in practicing spiritual counterbalance, Xiaolu never feels the slightest bit anxious. The flying swords of the community were all blocked by him. At this moment, Wu Mengqi directly gave him a kick. Then, both of them immediately pulled back their positions. Next, he drew out his treasure sword. Jing Qi concentrated his spirit. Surprisingly, a huge sword spirit shadow appeared behind him. Seeing this scene, everyone present was stunned. "Go up and cut him down." The sword spirit drew out the long sword and slashed towards that person. One swing of the sword split the house in half. But unfortunately, he managed to dodge it. At this moment, a giant snake appeared behind him. The sword spirit immediately charged at the giant snake, and the giant snake opened its blood-filled mouth to attack. But that giant snake was no match for the sword spirit. The sword spirit directly stabbed the sword into the head of the giant snake, and punched the giant snake's head. One punch down. The powerful force shook the ground, instantly cracking it. But unexpectedly, under Night Scene's control, that giant snake's body actually tightly constricted the sword spirit. Sun Xiaolu saw this and activated the array technique. Countless swords pierced towards the giant snake. Soulblade takes the opportunity to break free from the bindings. Wu Mengqi then used the sword to cut her hand. The sword suddenly started turning red. It could be seen that Wu Mengqi was holding a long red sword with an ominous glow. The spirit of the sword's weapon also changed accordingly. Beside her, a giant red dragon was circling. Seeing this scene, Ye Jing felt something wasn't right. But he wouldn't be defeated so easily. As his strength increased, that giant snake actually showed significant changes. Next, the giant snake opened its mouth and lunged at them. Jianlin also made a move at this moment. The giant snake that flew in was instantly Paokaya. After killing the giant snake quickly, Night Scene Person suffered severe backlash. Just as the two were preparing to deal with Night Scene Person, their bodies suddenly began to weaken. Originally, when people were building up goodwill in the Night Scene, they also drugged it. The purpose is for dual protection. Little sisters, you're too innocent. These two younger sisters are making their first visit to the cultivation world. I didn't know that the world outside was so vicious. They were drugged right from the start. But fortunately, they had some precautions. However, they are still too naive. Others didn't just use one drug. The trio couldn't help but comment on what they saw. These people are really terrifying here. I feel like my purity was that of a baby. And the two sisters fainted right away in this state. Just as he was about to act, a hand stopped him, and it squeezed with force. The person's arm was directly broken. He let out a painful cry as he instantly pulled back. Then he quickly increased the distance between them. How can 7th Lee have such strength? At this moment, he noticed two people floating in the sky above them. This directly dropped his jaw in shock. Damn scorpion. Just as the two were about to make a move, Yan Sen blocked them instead. Then threw a bag of medicinal pills to that person. These medicinal pills are what you deserve. I don't want my student ever to see you in this lifetime again. While speaking, emitting a powerful, subtle pressure. The two were immediately pressed to spit out blood. We'll leave the cultivation world of Martial Nation right away. In this way, the two girls were carried off, hoping this will give them a lesson. The next day, Wu Mengqi fell into deep self-blame. After all, as the class leader in charge of the team, he almost led us to a complete wipeout. Self-blame is very normal. At this time, Wu Mengqi was in his room thinking about last night's events. Although the demon race and ghost race were perilous, humans were even more terrifying. I can only help you once. I hope this time will allow you to grow. Several days passed. Wu Mengqi walked out of the room. Let's go. Go to participate in the Immortal Family's assessment exam. Sun Xiaolu looked at Wu Mengqi's figure and smiled slightly. He has become more mature. Meanwhile, the trio was thinking of how to leave here. After all, with their 3 IQs, one day if kidneys were taken from them, they might not even know it themselves. The gathered people at this moment decided to join the noble families to obtain the qualification for immortal assessment. Do you guys accept decorators for the Wang family? I was just finished speaking and was rejected at the door. The battles in front of the King of Hell are exploding right now. We have already taken Ghost Realm's eastern palace Pengcheng, and the ruler of that demon world is Ranzi Hao. He heard that and was extremely happy, but our northern capital has been lost. Hearing that, he immediately got angry. Grabbing that general is just a bunch of big-ass envelopes. Why do I have to team up with that stinky blue soldier? This is sheer humiliation for me. Just then, someone appeared holding a crystal ball on the side. Inside the crystal ball were everyone from the academy. Seeing this, Ranzi Hao instantly got excited. He was so overjoyed he almost cried. You guys finally made it in. I thought I was exiled by the teacher. However, in these few hundred years, they haven't changed at all. Do you know who came to the cultivation world for the first time? How hard is this relationship? The creator of this world is their teacher. The bosses of the magic world and ghost world are their classmates. And this world's absolute coolest 6 great immortal gates, most of them were founded by their senior brothers and sisters. At this moment, Yen Sen was drinking tea in a wealthy family's home, and the daughter of that wealthy family was actually the one Yen Sen had saved before. And he found that Tianlan sect from the 6 immortal gates is very similar to Tiangensong sect. This reminded him of his disciple who passed on teachings. Lu Xiaolu, whose cultivation talent in cultivation was poor, felt a bit lost. Other academies people didn't even have to say anything. They were directly thrown out. But for the superhero academy, there's some interest. Young man, I see your bones are extraordinary. You seem like material for a bandit. And we bandits also have the qualifications to undergo an assessment first. Chen Kashang was the most comfortable among them. Can one medicinal pill be exchanged for a pancake? The pancake seller saw the medicinal pill, nearly had a heart attack. Wu Dawang had never seen a medicinal pill before. After learning that Chen Kashan made it herself, he was even more shocked, dropping his jaw. Such a young age and she's actually an alchemist. Then he came to ask the little girl in front of Chen Kashan, do you like having your feet licked by others? This is a bit ridiculous. So Chen Kashan got on the luxurious carriage. There are heavily armed guards protecting her when she goes out. What are you staring at? Get down on your knees right away, template from other academies. When they saw the person in the sedan was Chen Kasan, they literally dropped their jaws, and Wu Mengqi and the others saw their faces showing disbelief how well he's doing in this mess. Master Alchemist, you've worked hard. The Emperor of the 5 Kingdoms is sending someone at top speed coming over to lick your feet right away. Chen Kasan had a face full of disdain. Still need to participate in the Immortal Family's assessment. You're playing a joke on me, Master Alchemist? It's better if you go for an assessment of Immortal Families. With your 4th stage alchemist status, every family should worship you, but this way, others are worrying about not having passed the household assessment. Chen Kasan was directly admitted. Suddenly, her life turned into an experience. A martial arts competition for marriage was held in the middle of the street. Only by winning can you join the martial chief family. Participate in the Immortal Gate assessment. Wu Mengqi immediately dressed as a man upon hearing this. Extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures. He easily dealt with everyone who stepped onto the stage. At this moment, a one-eyed giant wielding a large sword came out to compete. He charged at Wu Mengqi with a large sword, and Wu Mengqi just stretched her fingers and emitted. The sword energy directly killed that person instantly. The rest are all one-move kills. Wu Mengqi also unsurprisingly won. Sun Xiaolu was left speechless. Can this really happen? Others end up living like beggars in the cultivation world, and Chen Kasan is so freaking good at it. Reached the peak of his life directly, with an army protecting him whenever he goes out. While everyone was still worried about the qualifications for immortal cultivation, he got in directly, without any effort, and from then on, lived a carefree life, experiencing various aspects of life. Wu Mengqi tried to obtain eligibility for immortal cultivation, unfortunately had to dress as a man, ultimately won the championship in the martial arts competition and joined a noble family. While Sun Xiaolu decided not to be a person, she set up an array of energy at the entrance of a noble family's door. From then on, it rained continuously in that noble area. Sun Xiaolu pretended to be an array master to help with the rain array. In this way, she successfully infiltrated the noble family. The people from the Superhero Academy became bandits. The Ninja Academy joined the Beggar Sect. The Magic Academy led everyone up the mountain to become nuns. Like that, everyone joined different sides, and they all headed towards the location of the Immortal Family Assessment. Yen Sen was still chatting with others at someone's house at this time. Just mentioned the Demon World and Ghost World again. This whole place is ominously dry, Yen. I seem to have forgotten something. Our cultivation world's wealth relies entirely on the Demon Realm and Ghost Realm. I don't know why. The Demon King and the Ghost King start fighting as soon as they meet, and they've been doing this for several hundred years. From the Inner World and the Strange World, they have never interacted with our cultivation world again. However, the Patriarch of the Sky Blue Sect would go to preach and counsel each time. Coming back each time injured, Yan Sen decides randomly to visit the Sky Blue Sect. He is currently bandaging his wound inside the Tianlan Sect. Why do you have to acknowledge the magic world? Those guys from Ghost Street, they are my junior disciples. I cannot let them fight among themselves. But in reality, I heard that Yan Sen often haunts that place. Otherwise, he wouldn't accept that. 2 fools, how many did you let in? You're wrong this time, I didn't let them in much. Hearing that, the maidservant was shocked. Just thinking about those 2 fools burning 800 years of life for an inch of land made him extremely angry. The teacher knew they would definitely be skinned alive. The sect master often mentions the teacher. What kind of person is he after all? I'll tell you, he's the first beauty in cultivation history. Not only does he look handsome, but he's also abnormally tall. Just then, Yan Sen appeared after disguising himself. The Patriarch of Tianlan Sect was shocked upon seeing him. Teacher Yan Sen rushed over like a flash. Looking at Yan Sen, the maidservant thought to herself, this isn't just what the sect lord said, handsome and tall? The voice came from outside the stone door. Sky Blue Sect is daring, occupying our heavenly origin sect's spirit mines. That old woman Sky Blue doesn't speak clearly. I'll make him and his guests kneel in front of me. But when he saw the rock monk on the chair, he immediately knelt down obediently. The boss, Yan Sen, isn't someone who gains his reputation by empty talk. Only to see this man storming in with curses. Seeing Yan Sen, he immediately got intimidated. This is the Sky Blue giving Zhang a map. It's written that it leads to a divine relic. Everyone looks at the attacks marked on the map. Lost in thought. Clearly, this isn't from the cultivation world. Where did you get this thing from? Thousands of years ago, someone sneaked it in while I was sleeping. Tian Yuan said at this time. That guy who sucks people's blood says you are a deity. So this ruin shouldn't be the old style. The place where we used to live back then, right? Yan Sen was startled upon hearing this. Could this be a map of the heavenly realm? This instantly piqued his interest. If this map is fake, I will find that person and break their neck. The maidservant saw Yan Sen return to his original form. Can't help but blush a little. He immediately shot up into the sky to look for clues. After Shen left the endorsement, the 2 beggars let out a sigh of relief. That terrifying guy finally left. I, with my noble lineage, actually begged for food here for thousands of years. Father's words. The black and white mage will be resurrected in this world. This time, we must succeed. In the Immortal Family Assessment here, 2 small soldiers from the Ghost Realm and Demon Realm approached. Should be them. They are dressed just like Wang did back then. At this moment, Lu Xiaolu and his brother noticed them, contacted Ranzi Hao's group. Tears streaming down in excitement. They were also surprised to see Ranzi Hao. Over 600 years. Do you know how I've lived through these 600 years? And Blue Ice was so happy she cried with joy. 2 soldiers simultaneously invited them over as guests. And the 2 soldiers didn't respect each other at all, so they just started fighting right there. Their fight is quite intense. We can tell they've probably been battling for hundreds of years. Then the 2 of them celebrated their 600-year birthdays. They each got a gift prepared for them. We took these from Master Yanzen's room secretly, because our strength isn't enough to use it. With your current 600-year cultivation, it's not an issue at all. By now, everyone has walked for 4 days, but they haven't reached the capital of the martial nation yet. It's about to get serious. Still 4 billion kilometers away, that's close enough. Hearing this, they were all in a bad way. 4 billion kilometers? That's ruthless. Don't panic, we have teleportation spells. Just like that. Everyone teleported to the capital of the 5 kingdoms via the array. And those who claim to be divine sons are in trouble now. They are really going to walk 800 million kilometers, step by step. There's no way around it. We're not on a leisure trip. Using our abilities might expose us. We just hope the black and white mage doesn't come back too quickly. Everyone tried to get the qualification for the Immortal Family Assessment. That's practically showing off as a prodigy. We finally arrived at the examination site. But we didn't expect it to be like this. Wu Mengqi needs to bring his own wife for the evaluation. Because divine family evaluations only happen once a century, so many onlookers have come. Just this nun riding a staff makes me imagine. This time, there are 6 major immortal sects recruiting disciples. This session is hosted by them, the Tianyuan sect. The evaluation will take place right here. The content of the assessment isn't as fancy as you think. The first examination tests primarily the essence root. After saying this, several machines appeared on the stage. Everyone was stunned when they saw these things. This is something our sect leader obtained during his overseas training. It can test everyone's spiritual energy level and purity of spirit. The testing method is also very simple. Punching the ball immediately tests the spiritual root. Numerical value over 500 advances to the next round. While for other academies, it's practically a piece of cake. It was now Sun Xiaolu's turn. He gathered all his strength in his body and punched that machine hard. The machine was instantly reduced to scrap metal. The onlookers were stunned by this scene. This power is too terrifying, and Sun Xiaolu directly broke the record. Her spiritual energy purity reached 2,000. At this time, there was a loud noise from the other side, and that was caused by Wu Mengqi. His record of 2,000 set by Sun Xiaolu was instantly broken, setting a new record of 2,100. A monster with one punch directly scored 1,000 points. Qing Lingqi went up and gave him a punch. This fool, does he think we're not already eye-catching enough? In this way, both elves and dwarves played down their abilities. Even if they played down their abilities, they still advanced. At this moment, a finger lightly tapped. Scored 800 points with a high score. And these are just An and Ning Ning in disguise. Just as they passed by, the two of them even took a special glance at them. Several people were so nervous that their bodies trembled. Could we have been discovered? And what's left is the world duel. Victory will allow us to join Immortal Family, Tan Family. The three members of the King Family battle group watched those two. Everything instantly went south for them. A nun temple versus beggar sect. House Ho versus House Liu. What a coincidence. These two noble families just happened to be Wu Mengqi and Sun Xiaolu alone. Du Xiaolu's two brothers instantly got excited, scared to death. It's time for the number one to decide to cultivate. While watching, the crowd doesn't know what they're talking about. But their strength is clearly not something to be underestimated. So everyone started placing bets eagerly. And Wu Mengqi wasn't happy with this at all. Actually using us to make money? It is well known Sun Xiaolu and Wu Mengqi has always stood against the ceiling in a cultivation-like manner. But who among these two is stronger or weaker? No one knows. However, today they will be having a peak showdown. Sun Xiaolu has an innate disregard for spells. Moreover, she has even created a 10-minute rampage great array. Wu Mengqi then cultivated a sword heart, a sword technique for eradicating text, specializes in treating various mismatches. Just then, Sun Xiaolu initiated the attack first. Seeing this, Wu Mengqi shot an arrow at her, but she didn't expect it to be a decoy. The real Sun Xiaolu had already replenished her strength in the air. As his fist landed, the ground instantly cracked and shattered. The powerful force even distorted the arena. Wu Mengqi was already lying on the ground, her clothes disheveled. Onlookers were stunned upon seeing this. It's actually a girl. Xixiao's grandfather and miss learned he was a girl. They fainted immediately. At this moment, Wu Mengqi's sword began to slowly turn red. A burst of red light shot upwards. We won 20 billion and 6 million tons of spirit stones, especially to reward the two senior sisters. Just as Lu Xiaoyi was about to open the door, a sword suddenly appeared, scaring him so much that he ran away. The assessment continues with the nuns' abbey competing against the beggar sect. We can see the nuns at the convent is firing machine guns non-stop. Only those with gun shares belong to the Help Association. Even the judges were impressed. What the heck is this? Next, it's a three-person team battle against Anan and Ningming. This made the three-person team panic a lot. Just then, one of them launched an attack instantly. With one strike, they were directly reduced to their original form, and they even managed to steal the formula in the process. Give us back our stuff. And Anan and Ningming stopped pretending as well. Take off the disguise and swallowed the bottle directly. The trio were shocked by this. Do you know what this is? Opened their mouth and swallowed it down. While in the desert, the two people who claimed to be divine sons noticed something was wrong. The tracking mark of the black and white mage disappeared. The two people heard and immediately panicked. Let's go check where the mark disappeared. Seeing the disguise was revealed, the trio stopped pretending too. They decided to forcibly snatch the formula over. The dwarf initiated the attack first, controlled the ground to push up towards the two people. But this rooster is just a formality for the two of them. The ground on both sides turned into ruins instantly. The beastmen also took this opportunity to launch an attack. With the collision of two punches, powerful force instantly shattered the surrounding ground. But it was clear that this beastman wasn't Anan's match, flown far away by a single punch. Just then, Ningming also initiated her attack. One kick sent the dwarf spinning like a top. The short man started spinning like a spinning top. Initially thought, this would just be an ordinary assessment for cultivators, but with everyone present in a cultivation-like manner, this assessment was destined to be anything but ordinary. First, two girls were vying for the title of number one cultivator, and they both made significant moves. The entire examination hall was reduced to ruins, not to mention that the audience in the examination hall had all experienced a bit of flying. Just as they finished repairing the examination hall, Anan and Ningning took the stage again, immediately pulling out 3 spies. The spirit sword was revealed. They no longer pretended, directly starting to gather energy for a big move. The entire examination hall was reduced to ruins, not to mention that the audience in the examination hall had all experienced a bit of flying. Just as they finished repairing the examination hall, Anan and Ningning took the stage again, immediately pulling out 3 spies. The spirit sword was revealed. They no longer pretended, directly starting to gather energy for a big move. The entire examination hall was reduced to ruins. Not to mention that the audience in the examination hall had all experienced a bit of flying. Just as they finished repairing the examination hall, An and Ning took the stage again. Immediately pulling out 3 spies, the spirit sword was revealed. They no longer pretended, directly starting to gather energy for a big move. The entire examination hall was reduced to ruins, not to mention that the audience in the examination hall had all experienced a bit of flying. Just as they finished repairing the examination hall, An and Ning took the stage again. Immediately pulling out 3 spies, the spirit sword was revealed. They no longer pretended, directly starting to gather energy for a big move. The entire examination hall was reduced to ruins, not to mention that the audience in the examination hall had all experienced a bit of flying. Just as they finished repairing the examination hall, An and Ning took the stage again. Immediately pulling out 3 spies, the spirit sword was revealed. They no longer pretended, directly starting to gather energy for a big move. The entire examination hall was reduced to ruins, not to mention that the audience in the examination hall had all experienced a bit of flying. Just as they finished repairing the examination hall, An and Ning took the stage again. Immediately pulling out 3 spies, the spirit sword was revealed. They no longer pretended, directly starting to gather energy for a big move. The entire examination hall was reduced to ruins, not to mention that the audience in the examination hall had all experienced a bit of flying. Just as they finished repairing the examination hall, An and Ning took the stage again. Immediately pulling out 3 spies, the spirit sword was revealed. They no longer pretended, directly starting to gather energy for a big move. The entire examination hall was reduced to ruins, not to mention that the audience in the examination hall had all experienced a bit of flying. Just as they finished repairing the examination hall, An and Ning took the stage again. Immediately pulling out 3 spies, the spirit sword was revealed. They no longer pretended, directly starting to gather energy for a big move. The dwarves and orcs attacked immediately upon seeing the situation. But those 2 little scraps, how could they possibly be opponents? Were all of them easily solved with 1 move? And the elves completed their build-up at this moment. You had better hand over the formula, otherwise you will bear the consequences yourself. Immediately, countless energy surged towards the elf. What goes into my mouth stays there. The spirit immediately summoned arrows upon hearing this. With his arrow shot up, An didn't dodge and was hit on the spot. Strong. Such a powerful force even affected the ground behind him. But after everything settled down, An surprisingly emerged unscathed. They saw the look of disbelief on his face in the future world. How is this possible? My all-out attack with full power turned out to be utterly useless. Sun Xiaolu said indifferently. Their skins are getting thicker and thicker, huh? All right, it's our turn now. The spirit noticed something amiss. Grabbing the 2 of them, it turned around and ran away. How could An and Ning possibly let them off easily? However, just as they were about to chase after them, a strong urge to sleep came over me. Both of them fell to the ground instantly. Wu Mengqi and the other 2 thought something had happened to them, so he hurriedly went up to check. Who knew they were just sleeping? The 3 who fled decided to rally people. My subordinates have already found a way to contact the outside world. When they found their own little brothers, those little brothers were quite excited. Are we finally going to leave here? We can't leave anymore. The medicine formula was stolen by someone else. The little brothers were shocked upon hearing this. Then they handed over their phones to him. Usually only in the evening or at night there's a signal. As a result, the spirit of the phone frantically tapped on the screen. You dare snatch my prescription? I won't spare you. I'll kill you. At the same time, on the other side, all 3 races received the summoning message. Thus, they began to mobilize their armies one after another. At the same time, in the capitals of the 5 countries in the cultivation world, they secretly came to find Chen Kaisan, without informing An and Ning. But what they saw left them stunned on the spot, only to see that the emperor of one of the 5 countries was actually giving him a footbath. How great can the disparity in cultivation levels be in the immortal realm? Others are struggling in their all-out efforts in competitions, just to join an immortal sect and complete trials. But Chen Kaisan directly reached the pinnacle of life. Not only does the immortal sect have direct admission slots for trials, even to the point of having a foreign emperor give him a footbath. Can you believe how enjoyable that is? The referee came over at this time. Do you 2 know these people? He's actually our protective clan divine beast. Upon hearing this, that referee was shocked. Your divine beasts have stolen from immortals. Hearing that, Wu Mengqi asked where the Heaven Element and Sky Blue senior brothers were. The referee really went too far. He was shocked beyond belief after realizing it. Then he quickly knelt and began to bow. Your humble student failed to recognize a great figure. Please forgive, Uncle Master. I didn't know what stimuli they had been subjected to. All the sect leaders of the 8 major schools are in seclusion for cultivation. At this time, someone from the Magic Academy said they were dwarves, the Beastmen, and the 3 elf tribes. And those 2 bottles are treasures of our Magic Academy. If what the historical records say is true, then they would come at any cost to snatch them. Upon hearing this, the referee expressed, the realm of cultivation, all 6 sect cultivation martial arts, listened to Uncle Senior's arrangements, while Lu Xiaolu's 2 brothers urgently called for the crystal players. How, brother Bing, brother, we are in danger now. Come quickly to save us. Ran Zihao received the message after immediately gathered all the troops. He also put on armor and prepared for a full-scale attack. And the blue soldiers on this side of the ghost realm are the same. Sun Xiaolu was angered greatly by this emperor. You, a ruler of an entire nation, how can you not have any soldiers at all? Because we haven't had any battles for over 600 years already. Hearing these words, he was absolutely furious. Wu Mengqi took control of the path. She got the money that Little Road and Big Road earned. There are over 20 billion, 6 million spirit stones. The emperor excitedly said, "Enough, enough. I'll go right away to recruit soldiers and buy horses." And in the trio, Arrow also received the message of the army recruitment being completed, so they both gave their utmost effort simultaneously, indicate the position for the main force. That referee discovered the grand plan of the three clans at this moment. Uncle Senior was too late. Their main army has already arrived, and each of them is stronger than us. Hearing this, everyone was shocked. The referee then collapsed on the spot. Originally, 3 immortals were enough. Now, a group of immortals have come as well. I'll go bring in the people from the 6 great immortal sects. Go ahead and gather the grand army. You're about to destroy a country, and you still dilly-dally here. Just look outside the city walls. There are densely packed armies everywhere. The elves and trolls went to the east gate and north gate. We must get the formula first. Ran Zihao and Lan Bing stayed in the world depicted in the painting. For 600 years, not only did they become the leaders in all circles, their strength is unbelievable. When they learned that their classmates were going to be beaten up, they immediately gathered all of their own troops to go support them. As can be seen beneath the city wall at this moment, the place was densely packed with dwarf armies. Following a command from their leader, countless dwarves charged forward directly. Cultivators had already set up a grand array. The army of dwarves could not possibly break into the area. Just then, that giant beast opened its mouth wide. A burst of scorching flames came out from its mouth. Their formation was directly shattered by him. At the same time, on the other side, Ran Zihao had already arrived behind the dwarves. He extended his palm. Instantly, a gigantic shadow appeared in the sky. The person saw it and was startled. This is the heaven-blocking hand of the Demon Sword King. As that giant hand descended, a large group of short soldiers were instantly reduced to rubble. The ground was carved out into an abyss-like trench. At the same time, on the side of the orcs and elves, they were about to break through the defenses. Blue Ice then makes an appearance. He directly went to the top of the city wall. Sun Xiaolu saw that Yi Jing was actually Lan Bing. Blue Ice punched the ground. The powerful force directly flew the beasts away. However, this is not over yet. A strong beam of light against the beastmen. Wherever it went, all the beastmen turned into bones. Learning about that person named Blue Ice made him a bit surprised. The one behind him was trembling in fear. That's the king of the ghost realm after all. We might be being too direct calling someone Bright Wisdom, isn't it? Although most of the beastmen have been dealt with, but the leader of the beastmen is still Fork. Charged forward and wanted to collide with Blue Ice, resulting in Blue Ice stepping down with one foot. That orc was like a projectile, directly flew out. After finishing up here, Blue Ice brought Sun Xiaolu over to Wu Mengqi's side. Upon seeing this, Wu Mengqi was somewhat incredulous. Blue Ice, you've become immortal already. Not just me has become immortal. Ran at this moment, Zihao led the demon army to the city gates. Wu Mengqi and the two of them looked at the densely packed army. Some shock. Lu Xiaolu's 2 brothers saw the reinforcements arrive. That was quite the excitement. Others from other academies had expressions of disbelief. The hunter is actually Ran Zihao. See this scene and decide for yourselves. Unite and combine. Under the elves' command, all 3 tribes launched an attack simultaneously. The forces of the demon tribe also surged forward. At this moment, the armies of both sides instantly engaged in a melee. The human and elf armies are under siege by a tall people and fairy forces. It seems the city is about to be conquered. It's good that Ran Zhaohao and Lan Bing arrived in time to save the day. But who knew they started fighting as soon as they saw each other? Trying to steal my head trophy. I bet you're just thinking of something ridiculous. Next, he grabbed the dwarf's neck and threw him away. This blue indigo soldier is really upset. You could see energy continuously gathering in his palm, eventually forming a blue skeleton. And the people from the 3 clans who originally died have actually revived at this time. They rushed towards the 3 clans like they had gone mad. Wu Mengqi and the other 2 were stunned by such a badass technique. They both stood there in shock. This is Ghost Shi's unique move, using strength to transform into soul control over corpses. But Ghost Shi lacks physical form, so large-scale transmission can be done. And thus, the battle began directly. Just as Ran Zhaohao was about to deal with the beastmen, Totoro Blue Ice suddenly arrived behind him, giving him a heavy punch right away. Thus, the 2 started fighting again on the spot. Everyone else saw and were shocked. You guys really haven't had enough after 600 years of fighting? Just then, the beast folk gave Ran Zihao a blanket attack. Just as he thought Ran Zihao was done for, he didn't even have any issues. Pinning the beast folk by the neck, he lifted him up directly. All the little buddies were stunned. His body was stabbed through, but it seemed like nothing happened. Demonic cultivators are different from other cultivators. The heavier the injury, the stronger their power becomes. Following that, the orc was directly thrown into the air by him. Qing Ling then became Bufu at this time. You guys really underestimate people. But in the next second, he received a slap from Blue Ice Woman blocking my way. And so, they started fighting again. The power of the 2 erupted. Even the earth began to tremble. The person said with a serene face, "Brilliant. They are now starting to burn their lifespans." At this moment, both sides were continuously burning their lifespans. The energy being condensed is becoming stronger and stronger. The soldiers hurriedly ran as they saw it, ready for more. Brothers, the referee pulled everyone and ran. As the forces of both sides collided, boom! A loud boom echoed through the sky. The explosion from both sides' forces was like a sun, the entire cultivation world. Thus, it underwent intense vibration. Yen Sen has arrived in a mysterious world. This world is called the Heavenly Realm, and every person in the Heavenly Realm is extraordinary, just like this seemingly ordinary old man. But in Yen Sen's eyes, this old man's body actually contains the entire universe. Not just this old man, everyone here is the same way. Watching how much those two sisters can eat, others eat with bowls. They are directly holding the food bucket to eat. But that's not all. They want to eat it like beans, and even as food to be eaten. Now they don't even spare the bottles. This time, they ended up getting into trouble for eating. Lying on the ground, no matter how much I call them, they won't wake up. And in their divine world, the white-robed master held Anan's thigh and cried non-stop. Please don't throw us out. Just don't throw us out, we'll do anything. At least you're the pinnacle of the creators. Can't you have a little backbone? Although we are at the peak cultivation of the creators, but our combat power is just trash compared to others. In ancient times, we were hyper-ancient ability users and founded a school on Earth because we excelled in making medicine. So we spent our days brewing and healing with medicinal wine. It took us just 10 years to reach the creator's realm. Saying that, they seem like alchemists of the righteous realm. Eventually, due to my two being discovered by deities, the deities do not allow low-grade beings to indulge in pleasure. Creator and his peer to sit on equal terms. Let your own two children seal this up. This seal is for 20,000 years. At the same time, outside, then an unusual sound came from the sky. Right after that, a giant figure with 1 head and 2 feet appeared. The circle behind him resembles a deity. This monster is incredibly tall. Every step causes the ground to shake violently. And this is precisely the result of the 3 tribes combining, summoning all their power to create this monster. Everyone was stunned by this scene. My goodness, this is a golden core immortal. And Ren Jiaohao and the other paused their battle. At this time, the two decided to first cooperate to deal with this monster. Ren Jiaohao initiated the attack first, but the result was that the dwarf king waved his hand. Ren Jiaohao suffered a severe blow directly. Just then, blue ice rushed up as well, so Ren Jiaohao threw blue ice over. Blue ice's powerful punch was blocked by the dwarf king's finger. You're still too young, boy. At the same time, Ren Jiaohao let out a series of angry roars after landing. Everyone noticed then that his injuries had actually all healed. And this is Ren Jiaohao. Absorb the injuries of others to enhance strength. Blue Soldier was also hit down at this time. At this moment, Ren Zihao, the energy in his body was getting stronger and stronger. Just as the monster struck the ground, he directly pushed up against it. But the monster's power was truly too overwhelming. The 2 brothers were here at this time. Recalled the birthday gift. This gave Landing an instant bad feeling. Her small face couldn't help turning slightly red. I don't want to merge with that dead rat. Monster beasts have appeared in the cultivation world. So, isn't it reasonable for the next mobile suit to form a team to fight them? Moreover, this mobile suit can also merge and evolve. Just now, Lu Xiaolu's 2 brothers took out those 2 gifts. Lan Bing thought they were something unspeakable. Deep down, he was very reluctant. As soon as he opened them, a beam of light flew towards Ran Zihao. Upon closer inspection, it turned out to be a voice changer. At this moment, Lan Bing couldn't help flying over too. Ran Zihao was panicking. Now, don't come over here. At the same time, in space, number 001 felt the summons. Someone was calling me, and flew into the picture after saying that, with a flash of light appearing. After number 001 appeared, directly grabbed the monster's neck. You little trash. You're really arrogant. Next, you threw him out. Everyone present looked on indifferently. Isn't this the black mecha that the teacher operates? The other 3 tribes had expressions of disbelief. What is this thing? Where's our genuine leather seats, 001? Do you even deserve genuine leather seats? They fell silent immediately. What are your abilities? The higher my injuries, the stronger my attack will be. I am immortal. Hearing this, 001 nodded in approval. Now we're sure to win. While speaking, powerful energy erupted from his body. Following 001, continuously drawing back the bow for shooting, while that monster continuously swings its fists to defend. At this moment, 001 actually got hit by one of the opponent's punches. In fact, Ran Zhao and Lan Bing are already fighting inside. They haven't coordinated with 001 at all. Behind the monster now, surprisingly, another halo has condensed, and there are continuous flashes of golden thunder around us. You're too insignificant to see the owner. This isn't something for a bunch of lowly creatures to find amusing. Just look at their expressions. Both said that even if they burn their lifespans, it doesn't matter. They'll let Chen Keshan train for several tons later. Hearing this, Chen Keshan's heart was already in turmoil. He didn't say much upon hearing that. Brothers, gather up. On the other side, a few people also felt the summons. Never thought we would be included. After saying this, they flew towards Earth. Only see several beams of light rushing towards 001. Enter room 001. In that instant within his body underwent a change. His body instantly grew several times larger. The monster before him was like a toy, and this is the final number 0 mecha, king of mechas. With the king of mechas stepping down with 1 foot, the ground instantly cracked open. The monster could barely stand. The 2 sons of God noticed someone fighting from afar at that moment. Frame. Now, there are still 2 hours until those 2 old men get to the police station. Plus, that man is on his way back. So the 2 decided not to be sneaky. With insufficient power, they resorted to drugs. these two old men achieved a great miracle by taking drugs. As expected, the three tribes in the Mecha Gate were in fierce combat. Meanwhile, the black and white mages were just cursing non-stop. "You three jerks. Are you making such a big fuss just to harm us? From now on, you won't be touching my bottle of medicine again." An and Ning Ning were also preparing to go out and help at this time. "Right now, you're only monarch level. In front of the creator, you can only suffer punishment." Hearing these words, both stopped in their tracks instantly. At this moment, they took out the potion and said, "We can make you become creators." Hearing this, both of them were stunned. The mechs who experienced the cultivation feeling decided from now on, they would stick around the cultivation academy without leaving. And that monster in front of the mech king was just like a toy. They grabbed it and slammed it hard onto the ground. This machine will directly dissipate the monster. The dwarf king is even unconscious. At the same time, the two sons of God also arrived at the scene. On the other side, the black and white mage has already prepared medicine for them. Just drink it and you can become creators. The two drank it all in one go. But after half a day, there was still no reaction at all. He just doesn't accept this. This is our specialty, you know. Let's give them another round of it. And with that, the two of them started opening cans while holding a large pot. "The taste is great. Let's have another bowl." The great mage collapsed right there upon hearing this. "We've already done 300 pots. A normal person would be enough with 2 bottles. What the heck are you two?" The two god's sons who arrived at the scene didn't act rashly because they sensed 6 people whose strength shouldn't be underestimated. At this moment, a strange flame appeared in their palms. This flame is so green, it's scary. "We have our father's divine mark. We'll wait for our father, and they are all trash." Just then, the king of Mecca discovered them. It seems we're in big trouble now. The two of them stopped pretending they weren't noticed and immediately initiated an attack, while the other used their divine mark to form hand seals with both hands. In the next second, he actually entered the Mecha's body, squeezing Lanbing's neck and said, "Capturing the king first." Then there was an explosion with a loud boom. Even the king of Mecca was shattered instantly. To prevent those 6 from coming out, one of them set up a barrier for them. At this time, they also sensed the location of the black and white wizards, just as they were about to go over to seize it. A sword directly pierced through the barrier they set up. With several sword chi strikes down, the barrier shattered on the spot into 4 pieces. Where did those things come from to wreak havoc in this world? You know how hardcore Roxanne is when dealing with problems. There are too many planets in front of us. What if we can't find our way back? Then just blow up all the hinted at planets. They decided not to be submissive anymore, directly transforming back into circles to show off their semi-divine limbs. They immediately launched an attack right after that. And the attack hadn't even touched him. It was sliced into pieces by the sword energy surrounding him. However, this is not over yet. As he brought down his sword, that semi-divine being's body was instantly severed into pieces. Another companion used divine power to see the scene. The person who was cut into pieces, surprisingly, actually miraculously revived. Sky Blue was also startled after seeing this. So he decided not to be merciful anymore. He wanted to use his strongest arrow to make the opponent completely disappear. Disappearance. A blue light ball kept expanding continuously. Instantly, they were enveloped within it. Damn, that's a prison that only great sages can open. And inside the prison, it seemed like there were countless sky blue lights continuously attacking the two of them. In no time, both of them were covered in arrow wounds. The final arrow vanished completely. At this moment, both of their hearts were in a panic. Just then, that godly figure suddenly unleashed his power. He instantly emitted a green shockwave, directly sending Tianlan out of the prison realm and also healing their injuries. Thus, they pressed their advantage. Facing this gap in realms and with numbers on their side, the Sky Blue is increasingly struggling to withstand it. Just as they were about to deliver a fatal blow to Tianlan, suddenly, something large and ominous hit his face with a whoosh. This move sent him flying far away. And this was actually done by An and Ning Ning together. As for An and Ning Ning, they instantly emitted a terrifying aura. Red flames were burning around them. The flames behind them formed wings. Everyone was shocked by this scene. How did they manage to cut the pill mirror? At this moment, the black and white sorcerers were already questioning their lives. What kind of cattle are these two? Even my pot they ate down. Although their presence is very strong, in the end, they still only amount to creations of the creator. And we are just half mythical. Just finished speaking, Ning Ning arrived behind him. Everyone was shocked. How could it be this fast? With a single stroke from the vague sword, red sword energy instantly appeared. This sword strike directly split the scroll painting. The sword energy even directly cut into the real world. Tall buildings were severed in half. Everyone there was stunned to see this scene. With one strike, it directly killed one of them. The other was furious at the moment. "Please give me some consciousness, father." Following that, his body was enveloped by green flames. His entire body emitted, shining with intermittent green light. After the light faded away, his physique had actually become even taller and more eerie. To cultivate to a high level, one must take strong medicine. After taking the drug, the two of them were simply amazing to no end. With one strike, not only did he solve half a god, he even split through Yan Senhua's world, and that remaining half-god actually began to mutate, suggesting his next words would be an attempt at a showy speech. Before he could even speak, he was taught a lesson in life. Only to see An spread his large hand, a powerful force directly squished him into a ball, then kicked him straight away. He was kicked flying far away. At this moment, he was still holding an arrow and hit back. The person was hit back and forth like a rubber ball. Just as everyone thought it would end like this, he suddenly erupted into green flames. Then the body keeps changing continuously. In no time, he turned into a man with white hair. Why should you be so temperamental at your age? How did this ugly guy get so handsome from being beaten? Anan and Ning Ning were now slightly impatient at this moment. Isn't it endless, right? This time, I won't hold back. And the black and white magician dropped his jaw in surprise. This freaking deity. Now it's really going to get cold. Hurry up and deal with those two pests. The old man who messed up the chaotic world has come forward. You are clearly jealous of their talent. Hearing that, the deity's laugh only involves these two scraps. I could kill them with just one finger. Actually, I didn't plan to get involved with them. But who made these two guys so competitive? I shouldn't have let them run rampant in creation and spread their medicine everywhere, making the deities of creation as numerous as cows and sheep, flying around like goods at a wholesale market. Are the words these old men said really true? Old man Liang is extremely flustered right now. Put on an act of deafness there. According to regulations, these two old men must be lifelong imprisoned. Following the celestial deity sect's rules, I'll personally ensure these two old men are detained. As soon as these words were spoken, those two old men were moved to tears. You two old fools, aren't you both pretending to be deaf? We're actually temporarily deaf. The gods see that they are unwilling to hand over the two old men, so they decided to act directly. The entire world was instantly shrouded in darkness. The red thunderbolt kept flashing in the sky. The others broke through the barrier at this time. Yen Sen's words changed at this time. It became pitch black in no time. Even the people in the painting are starting to turn black. He was so shocked that this was impossible. He could alter our world? Calm and healthy palm center conveys a ball of flame. Then, that flame quickly rose into the sky, shining like the sun. The scroll emitted a bright light at this moment. This is the strongest enemy they've ever encountered in history. He can not only alter the world drawn by Yen Sen, but also trap everyone within the painting. An and Captain Ning Ning quickly intervened to block them, but they couldn't even scratch each other. Moreover, below, the two of them actually found themselves in space, and they didn't know that. At this moment, they were already inside the universe held in the palm of a deity. Everyone was stunned by this scene. How familiar does this look? Only now did everyone realize. They and their opponent were simply not on the same level. Then he spread his large hand rays of golden light burst from his palm. Under the illumination of these lights, the sky turned blue. Everyone's bodies actually began to revert back into mud. Ran Zihao and Lan Bing decided to buy everyone some time by delaying their escape. Finished speaking, they immediately charged forward. But the gap in power was simply too great. Infinite damage increase and immortality. Such good stuff. He actually started absorbing the abilities of both individuals in the next second. Before long, he had absorbed all their abilities. Such a young age to achieve such accomplishments. Truly impressive. This is what the gods are like, right? Hearing this familiar voice, everyone was startled. Just then, inside the grand hall of the palace, Yan Sen is sitting with his arm in it. Everyone instantly felt relieved upon seeing Yan Sen. But the deity was somewhat surprised that you actually returned. Yet suddenly, something seemed off again. You were clearly still over there. Are you perhaps overthinking this? I have been here all along and never left at any point. It turns out that the Yan Sen who left earlier was just a clone. Hearing those words, the deity chuckled. Your tiny clone actually destroyed an entire galaxy. Yeah, is there a problem with that? I have no idea where the heavenly realm is from your expression. You this neither male nor female thing. I'd rather not hit you, even if it's dirty. This doesn't fit in as either male or female, causing everyone to start discussing it on the spot. Surprisingly, it was noticed. Seems like you've become a deity too. In the next moment, both of them exerted their strength simultaneously. With a flash of golden light, the scroll shattered. The world shattered on the spot. And the objects in the painting actually came to the real world. Seeing this scene, all the classmates were stunned. Warm-up ended. The next second, he arrived in front of Yan Sen and gave him a powerful punch. Yan Sen was instantly sent flying far away. Following that, the deity quickly flew towards the sun. Everyone suddenly had a bad feeling. And Heetiran started absorbing the energy from the sun. In no time, the sun was swallowed whole by him. The entire galaxy fell into darkness at this moment, and Yan Sen merely waved his hand. Following that, a new sun rose from his palm again. Don't look at him as a handsome white-haired guy with long hair, but the next second he turned into a white-haired girl, and he could even swallow a sun in one bite. This man was even more impressive. One hit could destroy countless planets. With a wave of his hand, he could create a sun, and from a handsome guy turning into a beauty, Wu Mengqi, who is a skin tone enthusiast, finds it difficult to accept. Only to see this person's physique towering infinitely high. Planets before him were like toys. With one grab, he directly seized Jupiter, lifted Jupiter and hurled it at Yan Sen. Yan Sen doesn't back down at all. He steps in front of the person and lands a punch. This punch directly deforms his face. Huh, I seem to be a bit stronger than you. Hearing this, he can't hold back. He tightly grips Yan Sen's hand. I took your disciple's invincibility and damage increase. Can you defeat me just with that? He actually appeared before him in the next second. The brain is a good thing. Too bad you don't have one. And then he punched him right after speaking. This punch caused space to repeatedly overlap. Why isn't my ability working? I drew both the demon world and the ghost world. Even their abilities were created by me. The Demon King and the Devil King were also set by me. And you actually use my created power against me? Are you a moron? Hearing these words, he found it hard to accept. The next moment, he suddenly turned into an old man with white beard again. Unit 001 explained. At this time, legend has it that each deity represents a universe. They can transform into any form. Maybe some old man picking bottles could be a deity. Sun Xiaolu was stunned by this. Isn't this the power of a virtuous immortal? Just see that old man open his mouth wide. Countless lights converge towards his mouth, and he is actually absorbing everyone's life force. Yan Sen saw this scene. His face instantly turned dark. Do you really want to be annihilated like this? Now life in the entire universe is in my hands. If I die, they won't live either. At this moment, Yan Sen's aura suddenly changed. As this aura grew stronger, just the aura alone made this old man hard to bear. disappeared in a flash of smoke and flames vanished within this realm. Following which, Yen-sen waved his hand, under the late emperor's reign indifferent to life and death. In the next second, everyone surprisingly revived. Magically. Followed by another sweeping gesture, the two who were previously trapped in the universe flew out. Seeing Yen-sen, both of them looked excitedly. Go back and deal with you all. This made the two instantly panic a lot. And those two bottles unconsciously appearing before Yen-sen Chang. Look how protective this man is of his offspring. From the invasion of the three tribes to the descent of deities, and finally the destruction and rebirth of the universe. And all of this started from. It's all because the two of them swallowed the bottles. By now, the two bottles have fallen into Yen-sen's hands. The two old men are panicking right now, hastily kneel and beg for mercy. Great Immortal, spare my life. We don't even know why we ended up here. And were swallowed by the two of them. Hearing this, Yen-sen got excited. So it means all of this is their fault. Hearing those words, both were stunned. Isn't that right? Look me in the eyes and say it again. Scared, they quickly apologized. All of this is our fault. Since you've all confessed, then according to the law, seal you for 5,000 years. Hearing those words, both were immediately panicked. Great sage, no. Our alchemy is quite similar to yours. We can teach them all our experience. Yen-sen thought about it and realized it wasn't a loss. So you are free now. Both of them were stunned at this moment. Turns out all those laws and rules are just clouds. Everything depends on what he says. And with that, everything ends here. Xian-shen repaired the scroll and led everyone away. Everyone was bidding farewell to those they knew. After returning, take advantage of their unawareness. Take over all of the demon world's territory for me. At this time, the silent students from the three academies shed sorrowful tears. We were only supposed to be attending a field trip. Anan and Ning-Ning cried because they ate too much indiscriminately, forced to make friends for 3 years. These two fought because they burned their lifespans. The nature is extremely bad. Burn how many years of lifespan, sweep how many years of rice. But deep in the universe, that god's son surprisingly lived on again. How did I survive? In the next moment, a large cluster of water flowed from the universe. Then a person appeared in the water. In the next moment, a figure appeared in the water. Amazing, it has revived again. Scared, he hurriedly knelt and paid respects. Paying homage to Prince Poseidon, sea god Zeus, king of gods, wants to see you. Hearing this, he was astonished. While on the other side, a surprised girl said that a person was robbed of their divine information. Soul obtained intelligence about a deity's forbidden realm for a price. Exchanging with Poseidon wasn't worth it. And thus, time passed by in the blink of an eye for 600 years. Extra, extra! The admission for once every 100 years has begun. Meanwhile, in the Cultivation Academy, Yen-sen watched as several new disciples read the newspaper. He passed by him then. Little dear aunt's 2 senior masters finally reached the Qi training stage. These 600 years must have eaten a lot of longevity eggs, a yellow-haired girl said. It would be wonderful to see Patriarch Ancestor in my lifetime. Forget it, that was a historical figure. This successfully caught Yen-sen's attention. Immortal Cultivation Academy, 600 years later. Everyone finally started putting away their disciples. Our alchemists may not have much combat capability, but as long as anyone dares to provoke us, we can shake a bunch of them up. People with fighting power beat them up. This is where our alchemists shine. While on a floating island, there's a sign saying, "Caution, dangerous animals that prey on humans." Un-Un and Ning-Ning were enjoying the Emperor's treatment inside. On the other side, Sun Xiaolu also received a disciple. He is a yellow-haired little boy. At this moment, he was extremely excited. After so many years, I finally have a disciple. Wu Mengqi also recruited a disciple. Just like Sun Xiaolu's, it's also a little boy. This is indeed fitting for the color control representatives. At this moment, the 2 girls who failed the assessment look utterly dejected. How did Xiao Ming and Xiao Hua manage to get through it? In terms of talent, we are stronger than them. This pitfall lies in looking down on the last question. What does teacher Yen-sen like? I haven't seen him, so how would I know? Then wrote about the disciples' teaching. Wu Mengqi. How could someone who hasn't cultivated be expected to? Could feel the spiritual energy. Too bad our talent is 1 in a million. And at this moment, Ran Zihao and Lan Bing were still sweeping the floor. Heard what they said. They arrived in front of the 2 of them, said, "Let me have you as my disciple. We are the strongest mentors." But we were directly ignored by them, a janitor pretending to be a powerful figure. The 2 of them didn't take that well. Who knew? They only recognized Wu Mengqi and their group. This left the 2 speechless. After being involved in anti-drug efforts, they hadn't participated in any activities. Just as the 2 of them were about to leave, Ran Zihao directly hugged their thighs. "Please, please make us your disciples. If we can't complete the homework assigned by teacher Yen-sen, that won't just be a simple house arrest anymore." Hearing this, they were stunned. "Do you know the Patriarch, our senior?" "Of course, we are direct disciples." The other girl then said, "You're not telling the truth. Here, strength is determined by clothing. You're wearing dancer's clothes." Hearing this, both immediately grew anxious. We were punished for breaking the sect rules, but they completely didn't believe it. At this moment, Ran Zihao showed a perverted smile, said that, "Inner Mongolia has a particularly beautiful paradise on earth. I can take you in." Both of them decided to believe them, once like that. The 2 took that lecherous yet confident stride, stopping in an open field before entering the inner courtyard. "Let you guys see our strength first." Then gave him a stopwatch. "You start timing when I say go." Look, how much these 2 are willing to go to just to get a disciple. First, they tried to hard sell themselves as amazing, But the other party thinks he's just talking nonsense, a cleaner trying to act like a powerhouse. So they could only resort to deception. There's a Renjin Xianjing in the inner court. I can take you there. After some manipulation, finally decided to trust them once. And so, the two took that lecherous yet confident step forward, eventually stopping at an open field. This shows you what a powerhouse is like. Then gave him a stopwatch to time it. Right when the girl pressed the stopwatch, in the next second, they actually ended up on Mars. And all of this took just 0.01 seconds. At this moment, the girl was completely stunned. He was so scared he cried and screamed in terror. The other girl still had a blank expression. I don't know what happened. I only know that two living people suddenly disappeared. At this moment, Ran Zihao recited the 10 minutes 2 lines. His aura changed dramatically at this moment. In the next second, he actually wore golden armor as his aura grew stronger and stronger. The Earth was also affected as a result. He clenched his fist. The entire Mars was actually sucked over. This really scared the girl half to death. I know you guys are very powerful. Please stop already. And luckily, or unluckily, Blue Ice and 2 people were just on Mars. This really pissed him off. Are you deliberately picking a fight? But the two of us have been annoyed by each other for quite some time already. I've endured this for 600 years already. The Earth is experiencing intense tremors. What's happening outside? Yansen has seen it all by now. Wait for me for a moment. I'll be right back. After safely sending the person back to the ground, the two immediately started going all out. They fought with all their strength, each getting the better of the other. The two girls got serious now. When they first began, didn't they want to show off in front of us? Why did they suddenly start fighting? As the fight between the two became more intense, the other planets in the universe suffered as a result. At this time, Ranji Hao initiates an attack, but it was repelled by Blue Ice. And this attack, unbelievably, fell on Earth. Instantly, a mushroom cloud rose from Earth. It's you guys from the Cultivation Academy again. We can't stay on this Earth anymore. Seeing this scene, the two girls were stunned. I finally know why they were arranged at the door. Sweep the floor, you dead rats. Die already. Can you bear a lifespan of 300 years? Just then, Yan Shen appeared. He gave Ranzi Ha a big butt slap. Then he turned around and gave Blue Ice one as well. They were both snapped back to Earth. These two originally wanted to show off in front of their disciple, but instead they ended up fighting for no reason, and they never held back in their attacks. Can you handle my 300-year lifespan? It seemed like they were about to blow up the entire Earth. At this moment, Yan Shen timely intervened. One of them received a big-ass catch. And these two girls first did this master worship ceremony, then became gatekeepers. This saved us 30 years of detours directly. The guys almost fell off their chairs when they saw it. They were so angry at that time. Do you think we wanted to dress like this? It's not that the two foolish masters made us wear these clothes. And they even said that our cultivation level determines our attire. That's where your masters took them to eat prison food. Thinking of this, two sisters shed sorrowful tears. Now, we not only have to go to class in prison, you're going to get cell food too. Tell you some good news. Several astronauts urinating in space toilet discovered an incredibly vast world. There's a monster guarding the entrance too. And all the monsters inside have superpowers. Hearing this, everyone was eager to try. But the Alliance rules state that parents must accompany you. This left everyone looking disappointed. Just then, a girl noticed Yan Sen on the side. What's the style of your clothes? Why is yours different from ours? This is a Taoist temple from long ago. So you are now a senior from the academy. And this instantly triggered other friends' attention. This young man has a serious expression, said senior brother with anticipation. You've heard about the secret realm, right? Can you take us along? Then they all bowed together, pleading for him to take them along. All right, I'll take you guys along. Hearing those words, the companions were extremely excited. At this moment, Yan Sen felt that it would be better to tell their master about it. Isn't Uncle Wu Mengqi a senior disciple? Clear disciple Wang Xiaoming and several transmission disciples went to the secret grain. This really angered Wu Mengqi a lot. It's too early to cultivate qi and wander around. But upon arriving at the scene, he immediately froze in place, only to see Yan Sen playing around with them very happily. So he turned and walked away. I didn't see anything. At this moment, a letter floated into his hand. Upon opening it, your disciple is quite interesting. Lend me for 2 days. Sun Xiaolu received a letter on this side as well. It left the two speechless at the time. On this side of the Alliance Tower, very happy to meet everyone again. 600 years have passed already. Earth hasn't hosted an event like this before. We discovered a fantastic incident next door. The monsters there actually have superpowers. This event is to cultivate strength for our new students, so it's named the Earth's First Parent-Child Activity. I will read out the list of participants in this activity. Leading them is the noble boar from Vampire Academy. Who would have thought that Earth was actually called a forbidden zone for deities? Just see, in space, Poseidon flew with him for 600 years. None of them flew out of the so-called Earth's influence range. This has really confused him. Is Earth's influence range this vast? It took 6 centuries to not fly out. This place was once where gods and superpowers fought in the Academy battlefield. Zeus, the father of the God King, and various great sages were all killed here by someone, and they couldn't even withstand a first-class citizen. Hearing that, he was shocked. Really, so powerful. After a long time, they finally arrived at Mount Olympus. Prince Bohai, I have a question for you. That person is already so strong. Why do we still need to take risks to find him? Of course, it's to seek revenge. Our father, as soon as he is, Killed that man cleanly. Now Zeus has transcended the concept of a god. This time, I will definitely avenge successfully. After arriving at the Grand Hall, Poseidon hurriedly paid his respects, and those two just stood there dumbfounded. Why just stand there? Hurry up and participate in the God King. And the God King they were talking about turned out to be a chubby baby sucking on a pacifier. Their eyes nearly popped out when they saw it. Do you have any toys with you? This really shocked the two of them. If you didn't bring any toys, just save up instead. They were truly frightened by this. You called them over to test their understanding of Earth's intelligence. Then he took out a painting. You guys were defeated by this person, right? And he said with what Yen-sen had said. We were defeated by this person. At this time, Poseidon said, so many years have passed already. Maybe he changed his clothes too. That's how you use his ability. Tell me everything. After the two finished speaking, he pulled out the nipple and exhaled deeply. And that exhale actually formed a new universe. The two were instantly stunned on the spot. This universe is much larger than most in your body. Here you go. The two people gratefully bowed to thank the Lord God. King immediately, why did we have a grudge against that person? This has to be traced back to a long time ago. Among all things, there isn't just one god. King, there is also an Odin, the god king of Norse. The two divine families have never gotten along well. They often engage in large-scale conflicts. It was known that on the day they were competing for a universe, something unexpected happened. An Earth human appeared out of nowhere. He killed all the gods with just one slap. Hearing this, he was shocked. How could that person be so powerful and still seek him out? Poseidon said, at this point, what to fear? The God King has transcended the realm of gods now. Killing Odin with a single slap is nothing. Just look how uncomfortable it is being the king of all gods. I'm figuring out how to seek revenge. And his own daughter Athena, Naya, was dancing with the gods. Don't slack off or fish around. Give me a good hard drink. This Zeus is speechless. It seems we can't count on Athens anymore. Can only Love Goddess and Luo go? And those two were just stopped by two people as they stepped out the door. Before they could react, they were blindfolded and dragged away. On the other side, everyone also arrived at the entrance of the secret realm. The elderly dwarf king was stopped on the spot. You're over 1,000 years old. Why come out to play when you're not in the coffin? Hearing those words, Yen-sen fell silent instantly, then came in front of a bead. You're both not going to get away with it. This can measure your age. Hob was really upset by this. This is too targeted, isn't it? Yen-sen had a calm expression on his face. The next moment, he actually turned into a child. This really shocked all the friends present. The vampires dropped their jaws as well. Is everything possible now? When Yen-sen passed smoothly, the friends were all stunned, and Big Hobber followed suit. This star play is called Monster Nebula. Each planet has different monsters living there. To maintain world peace, we reached a cooperation with the Superhero Alliance, but we didn't expect Lan Chi-Chi to be present as well. Then he saw the people from Cultivation Academy. This made him a bit excited. Fights at Cultivation Academy are known to be extremely fierce. Following them would definitely be safe. So he approached to greet them. Yen-sen was immediately panicked when he saw this. Where is your senior? This senior brother is our senior. When they found out they were the Immortal Cultivation F4 disciples, holding Yen-sen was just a face wash cream. Never thought those 4 idiots could actually receive disciples. This really made all the other classmates take them lightly. Yen-sen also said at this time that I'm from the previous batch. At this moment, one of the classmates asked where to start with so many planets in this star system. Where should we begin our search? Lan Chi-Chi then gave a slight smile. Is this question even necessary? Of course it starts from digging their ancestral tomb. And so, everyone arrived at the monster's ancestral tomb. Here. Looking at this openly massive grave, the little buddy was somewhat doubtful, and upon hearing these words, that monster was panicking a lot. You've already dug through our ancestral tomb. What do you still want to do? Xiaohua then started studying feng shui. Not long after, he found the right spot. Lan Chi-Chi used her literary skills to strike with one palm. The ground instantly erupted in a violent explosion. After the explosion, a huge pit appeared before everyone's eyes. Upon going down, they discovered a mural on the wall. What was written there seemed to be about a monster and the history of heroes. Watching how it feels to be the king of gods is so miserable. I'm planning how to take revenge and seek vengeance for myself. While my daughter Athena is out dancing with the other gods. Stop slacking off and fishing. Drink as if your life depends on it. Zeus is speechless with this one. Looks like Athena won't be of any help. I can only rely on Eros and Luo then. And the two were just about to step out when they were blocked by 2 people. Before they could react, bags were put over their heads and they were dragged away. On the other side, everyone had arrived at the entrance of the secret realm. The elderly dwarf king was immediately stopped on the spot. You're over 1,000 years old already. Why aren't you lying in your coffin taking a nap instead of going out to play? Yen-sen fell silent upon hearing those words. Then he approached a bead in front of him. You're all going to fail this time. This can measure your age. Hob really got mad about that. Isn't this too targeted? Yen-sen, on the other hand, had a calm expression. The next second, he actually turned into a child. This surprised all the little friends. The vampires also dropped their jaws. Is everything all right with this? When Yen-sen passed smoothly afterwards, everyone was stunned, and Big Hobber also reacted similarly. This star play is called Strange Beast Nebula. Each planet has different monsters living on it. To maintain world peace, we reached a cooperation with the Superhero Alliance. But we didn't expect Lan Chi-Chi to be present. At this moment, he saw the people from Cultivation Academy. This made him somewhat excited. Fights at Cultivation Academy are known for being extremely fierce. Following them would definitely be safe and secure. So he approached to greet them. Yen-sen was immediately panicked when he saw that. Your elders? This senior brother is our elder. When we found out they were disciples of the Cultivation 4 Musketeers, holding Yen-sen was just a face wash cream. I didn't expect this 4 idiots could actually receive disciples. This really made all the other kids take them lightly. Yen-sen also said at this time that he was from the previous batch. At this moment, one of the other kids asked, "This planet is so big, where should we start our investigation?" Lan Qiqi then smiled slightly. Is this something that needs to be asked? Of course it starts from digging their ancestors' graves. So everyone arrived at the monster's ancestor grave here. Looking at this openly huge tomb, the little buddy is a bit doubtful. And upon hearing these words, the monster was extremely flustered. We've pissed off our ancestors by messing with you. What do you want to do now? Xiaohua, on the other hand, started examining the feng shui. In a moment, he found the right spot. Lan Qiqi heard this and struck with a palm strike that sealed it off. The ground instantly exploded with a fierce blast. After the explosion, a huge pit appeared before everyone's eyes. Upon going down, they discovered a mural on the wall. What's written here seems to be the history of monsters and heroes. This world, everyone is born with superpowers. Before that, people in this world were just ordinary folks. And all of this changed because of one man. He was born on a farm, living an ordinary person's life. He who was just a few days old could understand what others were saying, and also with innate supernatural strength. He doesn't know where his strength comes from, only knows how terrifying this power is. He thought his parents would teach him that with great power comes great responsibility. The greater the responsibility. Who knew his parents would actually send him to rule the earth? But he wasn't interested in that at all. Until one day, aliens invaded Earth. Human technology couldn't even withstand it. At the critical moment, he timely intervened. With a single strike, he sent the invading aliens back to their home planet. As he was saying this, he suddenly smelled something fragrant. Turned my head to see Yen-sen roasting fish. This really pissed him off a lot. Can't you respect me while I'm telling the story? Where did you get the fish from anyway? I have an entire ocean in my hands. The more he thought about it, the angrier he became. Without reason and speaking with such a domineering tone, this guy is definitely Yen-sen in disguise. When he turned his head again, discovered Yen-sen teaching his disciple, only to see them posing by that familiar cave entrance. Spirit energy formulate into shape. Sea of Qi transforms into a dragon. This made him anxious at the time. You fucking definitely are, Yen-sen. The moment the words were out, their mouth was blocked. I think I heard someone say, our ancestor master Yen-sen told stories that were very interesting. Please continue. He was also startled by this sudden ability. From then on, he became the only hero with super abilities on Earth. After that, the days went by. He constantly saved people from danger, and also founded the Superhero Academy. When he reached adulthood, his speed and strength had reached their peak. This is when the ancestor of monsters, Genghis, appeared, but was solved by him with a single punch. Moreover, the ancestor's egg is still in his home collection. Finally, some mysterious things appeared, but none of them could withstand his strike. From then on, Earth entered an infinite peace, but he could also feel an endless void. Thus, he changed the Earth's magnetic field with his own power. Let children born in the future have his powers. And he also plunged himself into an endless slumber. From then on, Earth had no Henry. Only then did he realize it turns out our superpowers all come from him. At that moment, Xiaoming actually succeeded in condensing. Throw it out quickly and try. Blue Qiqi hurriedly stopped him in fear. Yen-sen, upon seeing this, commented that the young man has good talent. This really made Blue Qiqi very angry. You said this was a forbidden technique, right? How can you casually give it to some kindergarten graduates? Just graduated kids. Do you want to destroy the Earth? Hearing this, everyone was stunned. These children can even manually produce nuclear bombs at such young ages. Lan Qiqi was particularly angry after seeing this. You said this was a forbidden technique, right? How can we just entrust it to a few kindergarten graduates who just finished college? Do you want to destroy the Earth? And these words were clearly heard by the monitored monsters. Primordial King, what should we do now? And that scrotum laughed loudly. This is a great chance to return to Earth. That kid is hard to fathom. As long as I absorb his energy, I'll take off directly. But several creators sneaked in behind. So we can't force our way, we have to use intelligence instead. Then he took out a photo saying, your grandfather will come soon to pick you up. And the photo showed exactly the monster 4 kings. Everyone has arrived at a fork in the road. And Lan Qiqi decides to follow Deathroot Yensen. Thus, the group splits into 5 parties. But right then, an illusion technique is activated. Several young hobbers fall for it on the spot, while the Dwarf King chuckles, daring to play with illusions at the door. But in the next second, his eyes widen greatly. We see the Elf King and Beastman King kneeling before him. From today, we will follow Ning. He smiled in a lecherous way. Though this is a hallucination, but I like it. The other 2 are the same. The same illusion, the same routine. Although they know this is a hallucination, but none of them want to leave. Want to indulge properly inside. At this moment, Dan has already sensed the continuous flow. Continuous power surged in. His body was distorting continuously at that moment. And Yen-sen remained unperturbed in the face of this illusion. The next second, he actually arrived in the heavenly realm. Your sect has flourished. Your disciple has already conquered the world. This is your favorite, right? But the next second, Yen-sen actually created a sect by hand. That nitrogen guy even spat blood on the spot. And the space he made was boundless. Disciples are even further refined by immortal continuation immortal. He stunned the primordial monster right there. Are you human or not? I don't believe you have no desires. Then countless treasures fell from the sky. His inner self remained unshaken. Next, several beautiful women surrounded him. But when Chan Sen came, he just grabbed a few big-ass bags. You have fox odor. Stay away from me. At this time, the primordial monster was at a loss for tears. What the hell are you supposed to be? Do you have no emotions at all? This man has beauties surrounding him everywhere. Each one is breathtakingly beautiful, but his heart shows not a single ripple. He even gave a big purse to a beauty. You have fox odor. Stay away from me. Ancestral beast seeing Yan Even Shin was stunned by this move. Are you a human or what? There is not a trace of 6 emotions and 7 desires. It was just when Yan Sen gave him a look. The next second, he was standing on top of a Superman. He let out his unrestrained laughter in the universe. Henry has already been defeated by me. This is now our Earth. But the next second, he found something amiss. Didn't I just perform the illusion technique? At this moment, Yan Sen already knew the truth of the matter. Turns out all that traveling was fake. The goal was to deceive everyone and catch them all at once. The 2 monsters were panicking upon learning their plan had been exposed. Please, beg you to spare us. Yan Sen didn't waste any time. He raised his arm. The entire planet was instantly pierced by a powerful aura. But that wasn't all. The surrounding other star systems were also split in half. This caused everyone to be greatly shocked, and the Dwarf King was still reluctant to leave the illusion just now. The entire galaxy instantly turned into ruins. The companions were all stunned by this scene. But the monster isn't about to give up so easily. He summoned an infinite black hole, then he himself went inside it. Yan Sen also transformed back into his original form. At this time, Lan Chichi commented on Yan Sen. Can you be a bit more precise with your actions, damn it? The friends heard this and were initially stunned. How familiar this name sounds. But in the next second, they were all shocked. Blastmaster Yan Shen. And Yan Sen immediately dove into the black hole. Upon entering, they found that the black hole was boundless. The figure of the monster ancestor had already vanished. At the same time, outside, innumerable monsters rushed over. Although everyone's energy has been fully absorbed, but 7C drew a dragon horn and didn't need to use her own strength. She directly threw it at them. Lan Chichi was panic-stricken by this. You damn don't detonate so close to us, otherwise everyone will be in trouble. Only to see a golden dragon spread its wings. A gaping mouth stared up at them. Then there was a loud explosion. The monsters present were blown up to the point where not a single piece was left. Good thing Lan Chichi protected everyone in time. The huge light cluster generated after the explosion, shining in space. All of your friends have noticed. This is too awesome, right? Those guys can hand-crank nuclear bombs when they're so young, and the power of those nukes is insane. Suddenly, countless monsters went crazy and charged towards their windows. Then that guy just threw them over there. You could see a golden dragon with a bloody mouth opening wide, biting at them. Then there was a loud explosion. The monsters present were reduced to nothing by the explosion. After the explosion, a huge light ball was produced, shining in space. The kids were shocked after seeing it. At this moment, Yan Sen was inside the black hole, and the primordial monster had integrated into it. Following that, this old six suddenly appeared behind Yan Sen. Thought I could sneak an attack and take down Yan Sen. But Yan Sen just waved his hand casually. The primordial beast looked like it was about to become trash, so it quickly spat out its egg. Yet Yan Sen caught it directly. He was shocked at this moment. Can't they leave a living path? Yan Sen came forward with the egg in his arms. Finding out he was the senior ancestor's buddy, that was quite exciting. While in an unknown place in the universe, the sleep system detected a massive energy. System power is fully charged. Then, a figure slowly emerged. On Zeus's side, he had already sent people to Earth to gather information, and also made his subordinates prepare for battle. The scene shifts to Earth. The ancestor egg of the monster is kept by Yamashino at home. The 4 kings of monsters often come over to pay respects. These 2 unfortunate souls have already been brought before Odin. What are you standing there for? Don't you dare not greet Odin, the God King. Tell me the intelligence you have about Earth. Well, that's more or less how things stand. At this point, Thor said, it seems that person is not Henry. Just in case, do we want to cooperate with Zeus? Hearing those words, Odin was not pleased at all. I won't be cooperating with someone who wears clothes, only half-naked perverts. On the other side, Poseidon also suggested cooperation with Odin. The result was also firmly rejected. I don't want to work with someone as ugly as a chicken with its feathers stuck on their head. Only decide the ownership of that broken position on Earth. Whoever is the supreme god among all beings. Look how good these 2 girls are at slacking off. The king of gods, Zeus, arranged for them to come to Earth to gather intelligence. But as soon as they arrived on Earth, they completely forgot about this task. Cleanly. At that moment, Athena beside him said, can you stop emitting electricity everywhere? And Aias replied, I don't have electricity anywhere to emit. This left him speechless, only to see Aias holding his bow and arrow shooting crazily. Not a single passerby was spared. All were captured. They all turned into stalkers. He really couldn't stand it anymore. Just then, he noticed there was an event at the bar. His mouth instantly watered. The next second, he disappeared. Keep playing for me, old lady, and don't give me any slack. Drink up for me. Eros was quite speechless after seeing that. He just said, He went to go club hop instead. But that doesn't affect his ability to emit energy everywhere. Before long, he had a large group of loyal fangirls. But when his sword touched someone, it actually broke without any effect at all. And this instantly caught his attention. Why is my love god's sword ineffective against him? This damn sense of vanity made him extremely unhappy. I am unlucky and cannot let you fall in love. Then quickly circle around in front of Yan Sen. Just as Yan Sen was about to come over, he pretended to suddenly trip. The result allowed Yan Sen to cleverly avoid it. Are you bored and okay with nothing to do? And he then put on that pitiful expression again, saying, I'm fine, but it really hurts. The divine love sword shot wildly at this time, but it still had no effect. Yan Si walked away directly at this time. Drinking more hot water will make you feel better. Hearing these words, his face instantly turned black. Are you fucking a man or not? Wouldn't a normal person help up the fallen? Since that's the case, we can only do it the hard way. Pick up the love goddess Gatling and rocket launcher. I, a proud love goddess, yet unluckily, I end up falling to you. Then he crazily kept shooting at Yan Sen, but it turns out completely useless. So, I shoot him with another rocket launcher. A heart-shaped flame instantly rises, but Yan Sen remains unaffected. This has completely stunned him. He immediately stopped Yan Sen. I'm a new journalist. I want to ask you about something. Have you ever dated anyone in your life? Without women, it only affects my sword drawing speed, and then left directly. This makes Arrows somewhat speechless. What are you doing now? I was commissioned to set up an array formation, specifically for eliminating gods and above combat strength. Because my disciple grew too fast, accidentally, they might blow up the galaxy, so we need to restrict them a bit. Hearing this, Aphrodite's heart panicked greatly. Eliminate gods? The most impressive array formation often requires the simplest materials. Yan Sen prepared to set up an array formation that would protect the entire galaxy, but the materials for the array formation left everyone speechless. They turned out to be some common fruits found in the market. This orange is the sun, and the apple represents Earth. Grapes are from the moon, and this is just a medium. As long as the medium is not broken, those constant laws will not be destroyed. Immediately following the activation of the array formation, the entire galaxy is being affected by an invisible energy. Package Thor and the two of them just arrived on Earth and saw this scene. This really scared them a lot. Buying a fool has sealed the Milky Way galaxy. Isn't this cutting off our retreat path? So the two of them hurriedly tried to escape and rush out, but the result was, too late. Your grandma's sick, right? Which bastard did it? The next moment, the two were hit and sent flying by a powerful force. Since we can't go back, let's gather intelligence first. First, we need to confirm if this person is Henry. The next second, two people who seemed like cultivators passed by in front of them. Noticing how similar their clothes were, the two decided to follow them. Following like that. The two arrived at the Cultivation Academy. A sign hung there showing the oil beast eating people. That girl got a bit nervous when she saw it. What are you afraid of? We are gods. After Xiaohua and the other went in, the monsters had been waiting for them for a long time. Both were stunned. How could there be monsters here? Only to see An and Ning Ning happily riding the wooden horses. There were even people feeding them treats nearby. Both of them were taken aback by this scene. This is the protective clan Divine Beast. At this time, both of them also noticed the two of them. They excitedly rushed over directly. These are Wu Mengqi and Sun Xiaolu's. Two little horses they raised, feeding them non-stop. Quickly, go get the best food. Then started chatting crazily with the two of them. Xiaohua thought this protective clan Divine Beast didn't seem that strong either. Just as the little brothers brought over the roasted suckling pig to use, they were directly grabbed and pressed to the ground by Thor and the other two. What a shabby place is this? But before he could finish speaking, they were discovered. Your whole family are trash. Your whole family is trash. A powerful, subtle pressure suddenly attacked towards the two of them. They could hardly get up under the pressure. Don't think we can't sense your presence just because you're hiding it. We can still find you. At this moment, Sour knew. The other party turned out to be two gods. Following that, Ling Ling waved her hand. A long sword flew from afar. Wherever it went, a floating island was split in half. Buddies here are all calm now. Don't look at these two girls riding the horses. The silly look. But when they get serious, they're incredibly strong. Facing Thor's intrusion by both of them, they had already noticed it beforehand. Thor's sword was discovered, but he didn't pretend anymore. Directly summoned his Mjolnir. A series of thunderbolts flashed around him instantly. Then he moved swiftly and appeared in front of An, and a single strike. Powerful lightning force burst forth. Yet after everything settled, An was unharmed. Thor couldn't remain calm upon seeing this. How thick is your skin? Even Poseidon wouldn't be able to withstand it either. Under the Patriarch, we are invincible. Now it's our turn. Instantly, both of them emitted the aura of a virtuous immortal. Intense flames burned on their bodies. The companions who just felt they were weak were all stunned. Seeing this, Sour decided to take a gamble. Just then, Ning Ning initiated an attack, interrupting the buildup. Just as he dodged, An delivered a kick. Loki saw the situation and wanted to go help, but as a support, he had no presence to intervene. At this moment, he remembered what Odin gave him, so he spat it out immediately. He instantly threw it towards his teammates. An and Ning Ning sensed something was wrong, so he quickly rushed in front of the two, protecting them. Then there was a loud explosion. A large building was reduced to ruins by an explosion. Fortunately, there's peace and tranquility for protection. No one is okay. That pearl contains a touch of nerve-numbing power. This doesn't seem simple at all. At this moment, Yan Sen was strolling on the street, but Ai Shen kept following him all along. Then Yan Sen asked, "Why are you following me?" Ai Shen said with a mouth, "You're quite interesting as a person," while cursing in his heart directly. "Why are you following me? Do you have any sense of privacy at all? If I could stab you with one strike, I wouldn't give a second chance. Absolutely not a second stab. On the other side, there was an advertisement for recruiting students at Superhero Academy on the wall. An older man tore it down. Just as the two of them passed by, their brows clashed instantly. At this point, Eros asked, "Since you locked the door, there must be a key, right?" "Of course there is." Finished talking, he threw a walnut to him, and the guy who received the walnut looked utterly confused. At this moment, the big man suddenly turned his head around. "What's this divine aura? This is the proper speech of the righteous law, mostly to leave a back door for the enactor." The words were barely out of my mouth. He found that the person had disappeared as the scene changed. The goddess of love has been tied to a rooftop, and that big man asked with a sinister gaze, "What is the purpose of your deities coming to Earth?" This man cast a Junfa spell casually. Could cover the entire galaxy and such an awesome array formation. The materials are just some fruits. The core of the array formation is even a walnut. But this walnut was discarded by a big man as trash. At this moment, Love asked, "What's your name, you bastard?" "I'm Henry." Hearing this, he was directly scared to cry loudly. Then, a light ball appeared in his hand. The Earth is not a place for these gods. The next moment, Cupid was sucked in. When Yensen arrived here, it was already empty. Interesting. At this time, Henry was asking the elder for directions. "Where can I sign up for the Superhero Academy?" "There are people actually signing up for the Superhero Academy these days?" "Go straight and turn right. The trash heap is right next to it." Hearing this, Henry was stunned. After arriving here, he found everything in ruins. It didn't differ much from the garbage dump. "Hello, I'd like to apply for a teaching position." Hearing this, he was completely thrown off. And this person turned out to be the former class president of Superhero Academy? He was extremely excited seeing someone come to apply. It's all about serving tea and fetching water again. Then, grabbing his arm, pulling him to the riverside shore. That's right. Seeing everything turn out as expected, he revealed that perverted smile of his. "Starting from today, you are part of the Superhero Academy now." Hearing these words, Henry was stunned. "Isn't it supposed to be an assessment first?" "What assessment?" "It's clearly written in black and white. Your regrets won't count after you put your fingerprint." He was then overwhelmed with tears. 600 years have passed. The Superhero Academy has finally recruited someone. On the other side, the students were playing poker. Ghost King forcibly stops Demon King Renzi Zhao. He just didn't agree at the scene. "How could you, Demon King, possibly overpower me, Demon King?" So they did this. The two of them started arguing directly about who was stronger. At this time, the referee stated that if they fought, it would destroy the world. So all effects were cancelled. Henry appears and says, "I'm the new teacher. What are you guys playing around with?" These days, even Superhero Academy can have teachers? I haven't taught for 2 years already. Then everyone just turns around and leaves. It's because there are no classes here. That I came to study here. Lagged. There are many interesting things with superpowers. Don't you want to know more about it? How much fun? Henry heard this and smiled slightly. Then the entire classroom suddenly experienced intense vibrations. In the next second, everyone actually found themselves in space. Following that, he pointed with his finger. The moon surprisingly moved. Everyone was now scared by what happened just now, shivering violently. Then quickly and hastily prostrated before the master. "Please allow your disciple to bow." Don't look at this messy old man, yet his strength is overwhelmingly powerful. Can appear in space with everyone in an instant. Even a flick of the finger could change the trajectory of a planet. The lessons were beyond what the little friends could comprehend. Everyone has more than one superpower. As long as you work hard, you can have multiple superpowers. After saying this, he demonstrated to the little friends. He holds fire in one hand and water in the other. The little friends were all stunned by this scene. It turned out to be two opposing attributes, and like this, Henry's strength directly conquered all his fellow friends. Even the college dean was shocked upon hearing this. At this moment, Yensen was hailing a taxi by the roadside. When the driver saw it was Yensen, he was startled. "Such an awesome person like you actually takes a taxi? Don't you guys usually just fly over?" But Yensen indicated that this was impolite. At this time, Athena was looking for Eros. No one responded to his calls. Just then, he suddenly heard the voice of Eros. "I was locked in the 12-dimensional space by Henry." Hearing this, he was shocked and disoriented. "What did you just say?" "Henry, don't let your clan members come to Earth. Now, the Earth is a mix of all sorts of people. There's also an incredibly deep creature. He is likely stronger than Henry." Athena was shocked upon hearing that. "There's actually such a thing?" "Yes, the Earth is very scary now. Hurry and notify them not to come over." Athena quickly ran towards the telephone booth in classical Chinese. Then she swiftly dialed the phone. "Hello, this is the deity hotline. May I ask how I can assist you?" "Screw your service. I am from Athens. Don't let them come to Earth." "It seems like you're a bit late with that. The previous two unlucky guys underwent mind reading, and they already knew the man in black is not Henry. So, they are already on their way to Earth." On the other side, Sol is making a phone call. "I am Sol. Earth is now very dangerous. Do not let them come over under any circumstances." The people on that side got worried immediately. "Master, it seems you were a bit late. They have already left." At this moment, a big man found Yi Dun. Bendy had been jumping for a week without paying. "Do you want to jump to the Benny Boom dance?" "Didn't we give you gold already? What era is this where gold is still used? We now use snacks instead." "I think you're tired of living. Don't you know who's protecting this place?" So on, he was assigned to the Cultivation Academy as a janitor. "From now on, you'll be working here as a cleaner to pay off your debt. Don't move any of the seals inside." In the Heavens prison of the Cultivation Academy, surprisingly, it is locked above two poorly dressed rooms. This is either the extinction of humanity or the downfall of morality. Athena is paying off her debt, assigned to clean in the heavenly prison. As soon as she went in, she heard crying coming from inside. This really scared him badly. There must not be any ghosts here, right? A closer look revealed that they were actually two teenage girls dressed immodestly, cried so bitterly. Isn't Master Li locking up someone who is not a terribly wicked person today? How can there be two women? Is that woman crying even louder now? We were kidnapped. We were originally picking mushrooms on the mountain. The black part ends here. And not only that, they also made us their wives. Hearing those words, Athena was extremely angry. A respectable academy actually engages in such underhanded dealings? Even I, this god, can't stand it anymore. Can you help us remove that seal? While Athena didn't pay much attention to the words on the seal as she looked at it, just as he was about to tear it off, he felt something off in his heart. But right then, those two girls cried even harder. We're so miserable. Even picking mushrooms can get you sold. Athena heard this and didn't think much about it, just started tearing into each other immediately. The next second, a large hand directly pinched his face. We are finally free. You're too easy to fool, huh? Originally, these two girls were impersonating Ran Zihao and Lan Bing. The next moment, he was locked in by the two of them. I really have no idea where they found such idiots. In Yansen's room, Sun Xiaolu appears in front of the hyper-ancient Mecca at this time. In the far outer space, a group of people are heading to Earth. They are more aware than they were back then. The god is 100 times stronger, so I need your help. Where is our teacher? Yansen? He is searching for the limit of his own power, so now we can only rely on us. After a century of study, we transformed ourselves. Now the spirit energy and nuclear power can be mixed for propulsion. The Alliance has also learned of this news. Back up all Earth's data and hide it away. Meanwhile, in the Chaos world, the three kings are playing poker. Have you noticed any movements inside the Earth? Our golden dad hasn't spoken yet. At this moment, he received a call from the black and white mage. Are you still playing cards? Do you know that the Earth is our home? The Cultivation Academy has been around for a century, finally welcoming a powerhouse of Yuan Ying period. Suddenly, dark clouds gathered over one mountain peak. Then, one by one, lightning bolts form. A giant dragon was circling in the sky. They kept circling and intertwining each other. Slowly, a figure began to form. And this person is actually Wu Mengqi, only to see him suspended in the sky. Surrounding there are thunderclaps echoing. Even this huge mountain have all been split in two by this sword energy. The two were even more affected by this wave, shaking in the face of powerful pressure. Distant, Ran Zihao and the other two could sense it at this moment. The class president broke through to the reason stage. But we're not far behind. Sun Xiaolu looked over and smiled slightly at one side. Did he break through to the reason phantom stage? Seems like the class president is still faster. Listen up, all heroes. Gather all living animals to the Cultivation Academy. Even a mosquito should be driven away. Hearing this, that person was stunned. It's not like there's no room to squeeze in. Know nothing about it. They can't even fit several galactic systems where they are. Question. At this time, the forces of both sides were getting closer and closer to Earth. Then Poseidon said, a planet that relies on the sun for survival. Let my eldest nephew go then. And his eldest nephew is none other than Apollo, one of the 12 principal gods of sun. The scene shifts. On Odin's side, his wife Frigg directly issued an order. Isn't your son trapped on Earth? Let your daughter-in-law's fortune deity inside and out work in harmony. While on this side of Westlake, he looked down on the sun god without a second glance. Just a tiny sun god, no need to bother with it. On this side of Earth, Thor and the two of them were hiding in fear. Ming and Anan, on the other hand, were frantically searching for them. Dared to enter our sect gate, and I'll make sure to cut him into 7 pieces. The solar god has already arrived at the Milky Way galaxy. Suddenly, he stretched out his hand. The sun was actually sucked right in front of him. Following that, he clenched his fist. The entire sun instantly vanished. The whole universe immediately plunged into darkness. Bro, look, you're glowing. He took a closer look and was completely shocked. Why would it be like this? It seems this is not just about the sun disappearing. At this moment, Sun Xiaolu made his move. He only kept up with his hands and recited magical incantations. A small sun actually condensed in front of me. He then threw it with all her strength. Instantly, another sun appeared in space. The sun god, who was just about to leave, also froze in place. Since you're here, why not leave with at least one arm? This man just waved his hand casually. The entire sun actually vanished right there. And he just made a hand seal. Yet he was able to create a sun. Moreover, it wasn't just that. In that instant alone, he actually created an entirely new world. Ran Zhaohao was both stunned and speechless. We can't create a world in 1 second. But appearing in the world in 1 second isn't a problem. Sun God's sword boosts spirit directly becomes furious. A tiny creator dares to challenge the gods. It's simply arrogant. But in the next moment, Sun Xiaolu actually appeared before him and then directly pushed him into the water he created himself. Aren't you the sun god? Just give you some water to cool down a bit. This really got the solar artifact upset. Instantly released his aura from his body, pushed Sun Xiaolu away. I am fully leveled, Master God. Surprisingly, a tiny creator forced me to use my power. At this moment, Ran Zihao unconsciously arrived behind him. The next second, he tightly confined him. Lan Bing, holding the whip, said, We are not the creators you talk about. We are Golden Core Great Immortals of the Earth Cultivation Academy. All the little brothers watching on were stunned. Fuck, did I see that wrong? One of the main gods, Apollo, was actually suppressed by 3 creators. The man in suit is making a serious call on his phone. They are not ordinary creators at all. Take a closer look at the one locking the sun god. The sun god's usual temperature is at least tens of thousands of degrees Celsius. Don't casually release a bit of warmth. Can melt a group of creators yet. So long, hasn't it? But a man didn't have any trouble at all. You look at his hand more carefully. It's obvious that you've suffered serious injuries. His ability is very clear. The worse the wound, the better it works. The higher the strength, and of unlimited type. In this case, we can use level suppression. But the other person doesn't know what ability it is. At Superhero Academy. Even if the world was about to end, the students are still having classes. Just then, Henry said it's time for recess. Everyone left upon hearing this. This is when a fellow classmate was a bit puzzled. Isn't it still before the end of class time? Why has class suddenly ended? What happened in the next second shocked all the classmates, only to see that Yen Sen actually arrived at the classroom without noticing. One is Henry, who can kill all gods with one punch. The other is Principal Yen Sen, who can create everything with a single wall. The great battle between both sides will spark what kind of fireworks? We can see Henry say apologetically with a faint expression. You've been waiting long enough. It's fine. You're in class. You took my righteous words. Now that the righteous way cannot be used, I specially came to claim it. I thought it was just an ordinary walnut, so I threw it away. Since that's the case, I'll take my leave first. Wait, didn't you come here for something else? Of course not. Then does that mean you want to have a fight? Hearing those words, everyone was shocked. I've read your story on the stone wall. You and I have had the same experiences. Now it's hard to come by a true opponent after all these years, so I want to unleash my talents and indulge myself a bit. I feel the same way. Throughout this journey, I've never encountered a genuine rival. At this moment, the friends can't help but feel uneasy. They're frantically trying to rush outside. Several people are in the midst of battle. Something seemed off then. As Henry landed a punch, the entire earth was altered by this massive impact. And the punch heavily struck Yen Sen, but did not cause any harm to Yen Sen. The force was good. Henry was initially surprised after seeing it. He became excited again instantly. This is really great. The teacher's side has already started. Hurry up and get these two stinky gods out of the Milky Way. Ran Zihao and Lan Bing. Classical Chinese suddenly unleashed its full mission, and the suit-clad man on the sidelines was stunned. They are actually two semi-gods. Just as he was about to call for reinforcements, a sword pointed right at him. You're no match for me. I warn you not to move a muscle. The younger brothers here are in a panic. While far away on the battlefield of gods, both sides have already engaged in fierce combat. At this moment, Peleus quickly called everyone to stop fighting. Everyone, stop immediately! Something big is happening. The earth has several halves. And Henry appeared as well. Peleus was shocked upon hearing this, so he immediately had everyone leave here, headed towards the Milky Way galaxy. Odin received the same news on his end as well. Full army advancing towards the Milky Way galaxy. At this time, Yen Sen and Henry fought fiercely in the sky. Both sides exchanged blows in the air, but they could not determine a winner. This man only punched once. The powerful force was even enough to deviate Earth's trajectory, and he only needed one palm. It hits with the power of a wallet. They exchanged blows on Earth back and forth, but they could never determine a winner. At this moment, both of their hearts were extremely excited. Finally, encountering an opponent who could allow them to unleash their authority. Your strength shouldn't just be limited to this, right? Hearing these words, Henry's aura suddenly changed. His battle armor instantly covered his entire body. Yen Senjen's physique is robust, and he gives a slight smile. He also took off his Taoist robe. Let's reveal the venerable one now. The moment he finished speaking, a terrifying micro-pressure erupted instantaneously. Endless lightning flashed around him. Seeing Henry's expression become even more agitated, "My lord, this is just my ice tip of the iceberg." Then the great battle between the two sides began again. Henry initiates the attack first. He punches Yen Sen hard, but unexpectedly, this punch was actually blocked by an invisible force. Following which, Yen Sen points with his finger. Henry's face instantly received an attack, but for him, it was like a mild scraping. At this moment, he became increasingly agitated, so he began to launch frenzied attacks. Yet each attack was dodged by Yen Sen, as his fist went down. The space in front seemed to shatter like a mirror. At this moment, in the Cultivation Academy, Chen Kasan was refining elixirs. One could see countless vital energies converging on the elixir, and what he was refining was none other than the legendary Heavenly Yin Pill, an elixir that could boost cultivators' ranks. At this time, even the young apprentice was stunned. Master, when did you become so powerful? In space, at the same time, Poseidon led the army of gods has arrived. Looking at this creator of Earth, yet their power as semi-gods surprised him a bit. When did Earth produce such powerful individuals? So he said to his sidekick nearby, notify all 12 battle lords to mobilize. The suit was very awkward at the moment. Originally thought of coming to Earth for a show-off. The result was that I actually became a hostage. Just as this moment, the god of light, Balder, arrived on the scene. Seeing who came over, Shifu hurriedly pleaded for help to his brother-in-law. Come quickly and save me! While Wu Mengqi immediately realized something was wrong, at this time Balder rushed towards him quickly. The spaceship was directly pierced through by him, and he also tightly choked Wu Mengqi's neck. I finally got saved, but the next second, Wu Mengqi actually appeared behind him, and he was holding a sword to his neck. My brother-in-law is saving me. At this moment, Balder was a bit confused. He clearly had me in a chokehold. This left both of them bewildered. What's going on here? From the aura, it's clearly the same person, and also the real deal. True God. Do you know? How freaking powerful can a cultivator be when playing with transformations? The body is wrapped in cool armor. Even their strength has improved by several levels. We should start from just now. He originally planned to invade Earth just to show off a bit, but in the end, Wu Mengqi caught him and held him hostage. This made him feel very awkward. However, his brother-in-law Balder appeared at this moment. He suddenly grabbed Wu Mengqi's neck. Shifei thought he was finally saved at that moment. But right then, Wu Mengqi appeared behind him, and she placed her sword against his neck. This suddenly left the two of them confused. How can there be two exactly alike people? This is called an external manifestation of appearance. You bunch of hicks. At this moment, Balder got kicked directly. Like you guys, trash. I can take on 10 by myself. Everyone else was shocked upon seeing this. Is it necessary to have such a powerful origin first? At this moment, another god, clad in armor, appeared. He is Ares, the war god. Apollo, step back. Let me handle this. Apollo showed extreme disdain and said, I haven't lost yet. Just then, a powerful aura burst from Ares' body. Everyone could only struggle to resist this aura. He's much stronger than the sun god. At this moment, Superman in his 60s was teaching them how to transform. Brothers, it's our turn next. They quickly flew into space afterwards. As they flew into several people's bodies afterward, several people instantly felt a powerful force. Following immediately, a series of stylish armor enveloped them. Each piece of armor had its own unique features. The sun god, upon seeing this scene, was utterly shocked, swearing loudly. What the hell is this? Earth's onlookers also used their telescopes to watch everything. Someone couldn't bear to watch anymore. I want to watch in high definition. Where did the reporter go? Back then, that reporter had already become very old and feeble. Since there's nothing wrong, give me as much as possible. He held his cane tremblingly and asked, Are they still fighting after 600 years? And those few who put on armor also felt the leap in their body's power. Superman in his 60s. They are wearing what looks like the battle attire of the female Ming system. What do you have to say about this? No telltale action before transformation. I give this a bad review. At this moment, Ares flew swiftly towards several people. Following that, a powerful punch was thrown towards several people, but it was easily intercepted by Lan Bing's palm. Sun Xiaolu took out a card at this moment, then inserted it into her belt. As the sworn brothers' hands moved, a giant sword hovered in the universe. Countless giant swords were arranged to form an array. Seeing this scene, the sun, the direct revelation of national treasures. When cultivators start transforming bodies, that has nothing to do with the gods. After transformation, Sun Xiaolu is a beast, directly trapping the solar god in his own witness. However, I'm not done yet. At that moment, countless giant swords hovered in space. Following that, all the giant swords simultaneously pierced towards the solar god. Ares was shocked after seeing it. However, the next second he was trapped by the witness. See Ares trying to break free. Blue Eyes saw it and went in with a punch. This entire body is engulfed in flames. The giant from the package appears. He is none other than the fire god Hephaestus, only to see him strike with one palm. A huge fireball hurtled towards the earth, but Renzi Hao effortlessly caught it. I'm a professional when it comes to playing with fire. Saying that, he pulled out his cards. Then he inserted them into his belt. In an instant, a Ju Da sword appeared in his hand. This giant sword was surrounded by raging flames. Poseidon Winter immediately noticed the unusual nature of this weapon, so he rushed forward, wanting to help. But in the next second, his body was actually surrounded by ice. In no time at all, he was completely frozen inside a huge ice block. And this is precisely Blue Ice's ability. Playing with water. In front of me, you're giving me a heads up. Seeing my teammates transform. They're all so busy now. Wu Mengqi's eyes were filled with envy, and Odin was constantly keeping an eye on him. Just as Odin was about to make his move, but was blocked by the welfare family. You should save your peak condition for Henry. I'll take care of this little brat. The scene changes. The core suddenly appeared beside Wu Mengqi. Want to play transformation? I can help you with that. This dark thing, are you for real? Now it's out of Cow's control. Look over there. Sure enough, Fu Li family has already appeared not far away. Although I don't want to discourage you, but with your current strength, you would just go down easily. His strength in terms of cultivation, it's a transcendent immortal after formation body. Hearing these words, Wu Mengqi immediately summoned her sword spirit. However, Welfare House merely flicked its finger lightly. The sword spirit was directly dispersed. In space, it was even depicted as a spatial rift by him. A warning strike left Wu Mengqi severely injured. He was directly sent into the spatial rift. Even the distant Earth trembled violently due to this strike. After cultivators learned transformation techniques, although their strength is incredibly formidable, but they are still not enough in front of absolute power. Odin's wife Fertility, Hall only made a light stroke. Powerful strength directly in the universe drew a giant spatial rift. Wu Mengqi was severely injured in the attack. Even the Earth in the distance, all were affected by this. Everyone was shocked after seeing it. This is the power of the transcendent immortal? Profound Tao realm? Previously, the class monitor could handle challenges across levels with ease. Now, even being just one level higher, they can only manage it barely. It's actually defeated in a single exchange like this now. Just as everyone was about to offer help, fire god Hephaestus appeared again and stopped them. Although that group of Nordic gods really annoys me, but I'm still willing to drain you guys. Wu Mengqi at this moment was severely injured in the spatial rift, while everyone faced Freyja, hindered by Hek Vistos. They couldn't pass for a while. Just as everyone didn't know what to do, the core stepped forward. Earth is my mother. I won't allow anyone to hurt her. I will defend my mother with my life and consciousness. After she finished speaking, her entire body actually began to melt. The melted body flowed onto Wu Mengqi's body. Just as the orphanage was preparing to leave, she suddenly sensed a powerful aura behind her. At this moment, he was shocked. What's going on here? Only to see Wu Mengqi fully enveloped by the war armor. Not only did all her injuries recover, but her strength even took a significant leap. Friends see this later also had expressions of bewilderment. Following, he pulled out a card and used divine techniques to appear unexpectedly. In the next moment, the boundary of space, all the tiny particles had changed. Each one turned into a splash. The welfare home staff saw this and wanted to use the same method, but was easily pushed aside by Wu Mengqi. As Wu Mengqi clenched his fist, blood in Frisia's body actually evolved into countless sharp swords. Countless swords instantly pierced through his body. Frigga was severely injured on the spot. Odin's face showed utter disbelief at this scene. How is this possible? The strongest decorator in the immortal realm encounters the ancestor of abilities. What kind of sparks will they ignite together? The battle of the strongest often employs the most primitive methods. Every punch lands with force, fought to satisfaction. Even the entire Earth was affected by their battle and directly broke through the world's barrier, arriving in another world. The two were evenly matched, fighting to a standstill. Although their fists landed solidly on each other's bodies, they did not actually cause any real harm to each other. And the commotion of the two had already been noticed by the other world. The strongest warrior noticed. He had intended to come and end the battle for the two of them. At this moment, Henry unleashed a punch towards Yansen. The punch produced a loud explosion upon impact. The terrifying energy directly surged towards Yansen. Just the wave of energy alone could send the strongest from another world flying away. The entire other world was shaken by Henry's single punch, became shattered, and Yansen bore the impact starkly. Remarkably, not a hair was harmed. Don't you have any more power? Henry smiled slightly. The next second, an even more terrifying aura erupted. I haven't put in any effort yet. Then he flashed forward and stood in front of Yansen. Facing Yansen, he charged another punch. The entire alternate world couldn't withstand this force. It broke on the spot. At this moment, red light shot out from Henry's hand, enveloping everyone in the alternate world. I'm sorry. After I finish fighting, I'll come back to fix it for you. And so, they began fighting again. At the same time in the galaxy, a space crack appeared in the galaxy. Two God Kings sensed the aura. As soon as Henry appeared, we can see a figure directly fly out from the crack. With a loud boom, it heavily struck Pluto. The entire Pluto was immediately crushed into a deep pit. At this moment, Yansen's Tao robe had already been torn to pieces. Seeing this scene, everyone instantly dropped their jaws. Someone actually managed to make teacher Yansen fall like that. Just then, Yansen waved his hand. Terrifying energy forced Pluto to start compressing, and Henry only pushed with all his might. The entire Pluto was directly torn in half. When the others saw Henry's action, the eyeballs popped out. Damn it, it's actually the legendary Henry. Audience friends, today you get to celebrate Origin of Superpowers Zhu Ran Zhu and Hei Pao Yansen fought. Looks like I'm getting old still. Back in my youth, one punch could at least knock you out cold. See Yansen's Wenyan give a slight smile. Then what are you going to do about it? Just return to the pinnacle then. Following that, a roar echoed out. The surging power burst forth instantly, only to see Henry at this moment. Surprisingly, turned into a young, handsome guy. Everyone present was left speechless upon seeing this scene. Ran Zihao and the others dropped their jaws in shock. Not only did he become younger, his entire aura had changed. Even Yansen was taken aback. There's actually such a thing. What's going on, brother? Doesn't your world have this ability? Of course not. If everyone in the heavenly realm could return to youth, then nobody would pursue the great way. However, we value reciprocity in etiquette. Afterwards, an even more terrifying aura was emitted. Must first.